Welcome everyone to the PJ's Cast. I'm your host Pierce alongside my usual co-host Schmitty, but we have a very special guest today. The runner of Sheet Liga, Jacob. How's it going, Jacob? Better known as
Hi.
Canadian Jesus 99.
Everything's good. Today was a good day. How are you two doing?
Good. Ready to talk about some good old-fashioned hockey trades here with you.
Oh God.
Um, Before we get into any of that, it's so funny that the trade deadline is 4 days away. And we've seen a few trades here and there. We're going to get into them, but it's still getting way overshadowed by other sports. You just see football, all these big signings, all these big trades. What was the big trade that just happened like a few months
Devontae
ago?
Adams to Vegas.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Yeah.
Every hour on the hour, there's something crazy happening. In
Something
the NFL.
crazy going on.
Someone getting cut, someone getting traded. It's why the league has as much money as it does, and it's why they have like a $300 million salary.
God, I wish hockey could be half of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only
Even a
thing with
quarter.
hockey is they have fully guaranteed contracts, which the NFL doesn't have, unless you're Kirk
True.
Cousins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's your Kirk Cousins, yeah.
Dude, Kirk Cousins' agent
somehow.
is going to the Hall of Fame. Like I'm so serious.
He is the goat.
Not
$250
Kirk Cousins.
million for a 500 record.
Not
Insane.
Kirk Cousins, his agent should be in the Hall of
Exactly.
Fame. If there's
That's
ever
what I
an
said.
agent
His
Hall of
agent should be
Fame.
in the Hall of
Oh, okay, yeah. I
Like
didn't
Hall
know
of
that
Fame
part.
agent. Like Pat Brisson, step aside. You don't even hold a candle.
No, it's this
to
guy. Whoever
Alan
this guy
Walsh,
is.
who?
I'm serious, dude.
Oh, man.
The fact that like he's got those last 3 contracts fully guaranteed in the NFL is freaking insane. Where you see guys who will sign a contract and in 2 years get cut. It's like it's wild. Like I'm looking at all these long-term deals. Like I know you're a Bills fan, Jacob. I was looking at the Von Miller contract and I'm like,
Oh.
okay, well he's either gonna make it through that contract or he's getting cut year 4. So
Oh, I don't think he plays past year 4, but God, that's the one nice thing about not guaranteed money is like if you mess up badly, just sweep it aside. They're not going to notice. The guy's gone now.
Oh yeah, or you can be like Ryan Pace and just push the cap space back every year until you get fired. So now we have to go full nuclear with the roster.
Well, that's the difference between good and bad.
Yeah, that's the difference between and that's why I love like with like the Pagulas. It's like this is why they should go with that approach with the Sabres because look at how well it's worked with the Bills. Don't touch what they're doing. And it works out well because the Bills are now probably in championship contention going forward for a long time. Like they got Allen locked up, they got Diggs locked up, they got everyone in the secondary locked up, they got the pass rusher now, they got the coaching.
It's going to be so fun. This year I'm so stoked for the Bills. Everything's in the right place. For like 10 years, everything was trending down, and now everything's trending up with like the 2 teams I love. So, knock on wood, they're going to absolutely blow it up though. It's going to go. Tuck's going to die somehow, and everything's going to go wrong.
Let's relax. I mean, did you not hear Jason Demers? Owen Power could give you guys 15 points in the standings right now.
I thought you were just about to be like, Owen Power could give you 15 points.
No, that's what I thought it was too originally.
If he stepped in the NHL right now, he could
great?
probably get you 15 points. He's not that bad, first overall pick.
But,
and not only that, like baseball, you just see Chris Bryant getting like 7 years. What was it, 26 or 27 million per?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like 26.1, and the Freeman one. God, dude, baseball's so fun in the off season.
And what was
which is crazy?
Like the Braves lose Freeman, and then they just go trade for Matt Olson, and it's just like that's why baseball is fun because it's just like people will lose, like they can replace a star so quick. Like the one thing with the baseball right now is where's Carlos Correa gonna go? Like, hockey hasn't had a free agent like that since Tavares. Like,
no.
And the Tavares one lasted like 4 days.
Like that and Stamkos didn't even make it to free agency, basically.
Yeah.
So
Panarin, I guess, but I feel like we knew Panarin. Like, there's no intrigue. Like, once these big guys make it to the free agent, like Tavares, in fairness, like they're like as soon as he hit the free agent, you knew he was gonna. Yeah, he was gonna. Yeah, you knew he was gonna go to Toronto. Like, I think San Jose pitched an offer, but it was like really San Jose and Toronto. It wasn't like 5 teams. It's like, holy shoot, we actually have no idea where this guy's gonna go. And the same with Panarin. I think it was like either Florida or New York.
Mm-hmm. I think it was both New York teams. Yeah,
it was both. Yeah, it was like 3 for Panarin, and then like I think 5 teams asked on Tavares, and like obviously there's the whole joke about how he just kind of like said screw you, Montreal, never even went.
That was funny.
God, anything to own Montreal.
I think like Boston and Dallas asked. I want to say LA asked too. I think like LA was an odd one though. I don't know why.
LA was an odd one because I think they had either just signed Kopitar or like they just signed Doughty, and it's like I don't know where you're getting the money for this guy.
I guess they did make the playoffs that year. They got swept by Vegas, so
it doesn't count then.
Exactly, fraudulent. It's like the Hawks making the bubble playoffs. It's fraudulent. We don't count that.
Asterisks.
Unless you talk to Oilers fans, and yes, we absolutely count that Connor McDavid's owned by Jonathan Taves.
Oh my god.
Or not Jonathan Taves.
No, Ole Mata and Slater Cuckoo.
Oh yeah, Ole Mata, second coming of Bobby Orr. Yes.
Jesus.
Oh man.
Is Mata even playing? I know he's on LA. Is he even playing, or is he still hurt?
I think he might be still hurt. I have no
might be
idea.
back now. But I saw something that Edler might be back for him soon, which would be good for them.
I did see that. Yeah.
Like Edler was a great pickup for them, but he's been hurt. I mean, he is older though.
He's an older fella.
He is old as he is old. There's a lot of words you could use for that, but we'll just call him old to be nice.
Yeah.
Senile.
He's a good veteran presence.
A good Swedish defenseman.
Oh, God,
Speaking of good veteran presences, Pierce.
As a defenseman,
let's talk about a good old hockey trade.
a good old-fashioned hockey trade. Not just making a trade deadline deal, but a good old-fashioned hockey trade.
Oh, God.
So, the big, and this is why the NHL will never be as big as those other sports. Ben Sherratt, it was the biggest name out there, and he got traded already for a first-round pick.
God.
And he's going to be a great defenseman because Florida turns everyone into good somehow. They turn all the red into blue.
Yeah,
well, isn't he getting isn't he playing like number 1 minutes right now?
Yeah, he's definitely playing like top tier minutes in Montreal.
He was Montreal's number 1. He's going to be Florida's, I think, third left-hand or third pair.
I don't think he's playing on the top 4 pair.
Not a chance.
Like, he's probably going to be
Not
a bottom
chance.
pairing guy.
No, because you got Uyghur, you've got
I think Forsling
obviously.
Got hurt, so
Lucas Carlson.
When Forsling's not hurt, he's really good. And then they have Montour. That's their top 4.
Mm-hmm. And then they got
Scooter
Sherratt. Just run it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Man. They have to give it to us one game.
World's most annoying pairing when they play the Leafs.
4 suspensions, 3 goals against. It's going to be great.
But don't worry, they'll both get in fights, so it'll be fine.
Yeah. I remember in our group chat, you were like, "Oh, it's going to cause teams a headache," and I'm like, "It quite literally will. They will be like cross-checking people in the back of the head."
It's going to cause their own team a headache, man. They're going to be 5-on-3 all the time.
Andrew Burnett's going to be pissed on the bench half the time.
I forget Andrew Burnett's the head coach of Florida.
He should win the Jack Adams this year, for being honest. But Daryl Sutter's going to run away with it. But he's kept Florida's team very steady since Quenneville had to go.
Yeah, I remember the first couple games he took over. There was I think they won 2 and 3, and all Florida fans just threw their arms up. They're like, "We're done, it's over." And then they won 7 straight. And it's like, oh, I liked it before.
I liked it when you guys were losing. Yeah, Florida's gonna with this trade for Florida. I didn't know it was next year's first when I initially heard the trade. Mm-hmm. Because I forgot the Sam Reinhart
traded it for
Sam
Reinhart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I love how they looked at the circumstances of that pick and they were like, "Yeah, that's top 10 protected. We're still gonna trade it. I don't care. Nothing's gonna happen."
I just love the difference. So they're like, Levi and a first for Reinhart. This is perfect. And then they look at Sherratt and they're like, "We're gonna give more for him. He's better."
Yeah.
How?
I don't. And I feel like it's just because of the market. Because I know I don't know if you guys heard, but they want a first and a blue chip for Hampus Lindholm. They're not getting that first of all, and that makes sense why Sherratt's worth the first.
Yeah, I mean, go back to last year with Ristolainen. He got a first, a second, and Hag, and it was ever since then they're just if you're over 6'3" and you hit, you're worth the first.
If you're right at a shot,
never trust the good old hockey man.
Pierce, that's even funnier because Sherratt's left-handed, so it's how did he's even more of an anomaly. He's not right-handed. He's just big.
He's literally just big, and he scores goals occasionally. That's about it.
That's all he does.
And the thing that I thought was the most interesting was I know they're still in on Giroux, but
yep.
They have no first-round pick the next 2 years put in that trade. I know Owen Tippett's a piece, but I don't think Owen Tippett is alone what's gonna make the trade happen.
Yeah, I know in the group chat we're in, one of the guys was going on how it was gonna be Denisenko and Tippett, and I was like, dude, you're giving up the guy you just drafted for sure, and I think it's Schwint who's doing good. You're not just giving them crap for Giroux. It's not gonna work, especially if there's no first.
Yeah, and I gotta think maybe it's a roster player too. I don't know. I know Charles, our friend Charles said maybe Lucas Carlson goes the other way because they kind of
Rasmus Ristolainen.
You're gonna see all that nice growth he had just plummet.
Yeah, he's gonna turn from blue to red.
It's gonna be bad.
From water to wine.
Oh man.
Jeez. But I just don't see how a Giroux trade still works there. Like without a first round pick, I don't unless we're getting like a 2024 first, which is just absurd.
So you're gonna trade.
This is NHL 22 at this point.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's
like,
so risky, man. What if like
just go like years down the road?
You don't have Huberdeau locked up in 2 years. You don't know what's gonna happen.
Exactly.
Like,
Huberdeau might not be back. All it takes is one injury. Bobrovsky has a bad season. Then you've just given the first overall pick away, and it's like, why?
I just don't trust giving away your first round pick a year in advance. Blackhawks, but and like Senators and Sharks, and literally there's a handful of examples over the last 5 years.
You can go back to 10 years examples. And when the Maple Leafs like gave away 2 firsts for Phil Kessel, I'm pretty sure those picks were Sagan and Hagen. Yeah.
Yep. It's bad.
My God. That.
There's a lot of examples.
That's the perfect example. Don't trade your picks. Yeah. Well, trade them to win, but if you lose, then it's your fault.
Yeah, but just win. There's even like examples that aren't that even extreme and are bad. Like where the Leafs had to trade a first to get rid of Marlowe's contract, got bounced in the first round again. That pick was like pick 19 for the Canes or something, and they probably I don't even know who they drafted. Probably got someone good.
It was Seth Jarvis, who's been amazing.
Of course, it was Seth Jarvis.
But then another perfect example is like they got a first for Kapanen. It was like, why did you trade a first for Kapanen? There's so many.
That trade has not turned out well for.
It's
Pittsburgh.
like you could have done so many things, and like. Unfortunately, the prospect they got was Amirov, and God bless him. Hopefully, he recovers perfectly fine.
Speed.
That's
that's out of his control.
That's not their fault.
God forbid.
But why would you give up that for Kapanen ever?
Makes no sense. And
I
feel like that's just like there's trades like that every year at the deadline. Where you're just like, are we throwing first round picks around like it's chump change now?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. And I feel like I think we talked about it in the group chat one time, Jacob, like how many late firsts end up being really, really good hockey players. And throw that pick away like it's nothing.
Yeah, it's like even in the last draft, because I still have it up, you had Wallstedt go 20th, you had Lambos go 26. Like there's a lot of players.
There's guys that always fall.
In that 30 to 20 range that are going to be really good. Like that was where Pasternak went. That's where Besser went. If you like hit on that, you're in a good spot. But instead, you're giving it away for
Jake Muzzin.
Jake Muzzin, who can't stay healthy now.
Oh, jeez.
God.
And then you got Sean Dursey just like being apparently like a saver on the blue line, according to Kings beat writers. Like,
and now he's great. So it's like, man, we lost twice.
Hey, I sit and point and laugh when I see Leafs mess up. It's always fun.
It's good for the agenda.
It is
always good for the agenda. Pierce,
Leafs losing is just good for everybody.
Don't worry, this Calvin DeHaan for a first round pick is going to be real spicy.
I don't know what you're talking about. I think Nick Robertson's part of the deal.
Excuse me? No, I've heard from my my chatter that it's Matthew Knies.
Not bad. Not bad. Toby
Niembla as well. Boils right now.
Perfect.
But don't worry, we'll take Justin Hall. You'll be fine.
Former Blackhawks draft pick Justin Hall.
Hell, give him Lankin. We'll take Mrazek.
Oh God.
No, but they have their savior already, Eric Shalgren.
Oh God. I saw people that were like, "Do they need to fix the defense now that they got a shutout in one game?" And I'm just like, "I love Toronto, man.
Dude,
I love Toronto."
It's the highs and lows. It's all they know. It's they lose the Heritage Class, and it's like that's it. We're tanking. They shut out the next team. They're like, that's it. We're winning the cup. It's like middle ground.
We don't need Austin Matthews. We can win this.
Funny. They're so like, it is the best like adrenaline rush you'll ever have watching that team from an outside perspective. Just watching them go up and down.
It's that picture of the cat. What the fuck they doing over there in Toronto?
Exactly.
And I bet as a Sabres fan, you're loving it right now.
Oh, I love it. Listen, we've had a decade of failure, but like we've still somehow won a playoff round before them. So as long as that holds up, it's all that matters.
Ryan Miller.
Oh God.
Oh jeez. Oh my God. Like just
that does put a smile on my face.
I just can't wait to see Toronto waste so much talent on nothing.
God,
it's gonna be great. Like Nick Ritchie's already back at the forward.
He's so good. It's like what happened?
He's point per game in Arizona. I'm pretty sure.
I just don't get it.
I love it. It's because he's playing with former Leaf Alex Galchenyuk. Come on now.
Isn't he playing a whole line like Travis
Boyd? Oh my God, that's perfect. I need them to lose this one more year though, because this is the year they're really gonna say screw it and just trade somebody like super valuable.
Nylander.
Like Marner and Nylander is just gone. Somebody's got to fall, and I need to see the meltdown for that.
Matthews to Arizona, where he can play in a 3,000 seat arena. Book it. What's that? What's a sim? Sim 10.
Oh my god.
Did you see that Arizona's like putting ticket prices at minimum 160 for that place too? Like, yep, way to price out the college kids. Like, you fucking
What?
idiots.
I mean, like,
160
okay,
minimum.
in fairness, you kind of have to upsell because, like, if there's only that many, but like, at the same time though, it's like now you're not going to get anybody.
See, but it's going to work out in the kids' favor though, because I bet that's like what the Coyotes are trying to sell, and the resale market's going to be like, fuck that. They're not going for that much.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
But that's how you price out the young audience, you idiots.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You have a bad team, and then you sell tickets for way too high, and then no one goes.
Yeah. How is anyone going to see the greatness that is Nick Schmaltz when you have to pay $160?
Oh god, man.
Bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off.
Seriously. And then from like, I just want to say one more thing about that trade though. From like Montreal's perspective, great start for Kent Hughes.
They have two first-round picks this year and two first-round picks next year, and was supposed to be a super deep draft.
What is it, like 6 picks in Browns 3 and 4 this year? Like,
The draft's in Montreal this year, so.
Who's their second first this year? Because I know they had Carolina's
Calgary.
from. Is it for? Did they get a first for Toffoli? Oh, okay, good. So yeah, they could have had 3 if they didn't do that terrible Dvorak trade, but different.
They might even get a
they
first
still
round
get
pick
3.
back
They're
for
trying
him
to trade
anyway.
Petrie apparently. I can imagine Petrie getting a first.
Probably,
But, even with the down year he's had, I still can imagine because like the contract.
Somebody's gonna look at what he's done and be like, "We can fix him." That's the NHL motto. He's fixable.
Could be
Give
fun
him a
to
long
fix.
offseason, he'll be fine.
Yeah,
But,
I nothing but praise for Kent Hughes because he also picked up Pitlick was like one of his first pickups, and he's done so good there. It's just he's done really good, and this is like Bill Zito's first L. So again, if you hate the Panthers, it's a great week.
Oh yeah. And
He
the Panthers
also hired
done.
Martin St. Louis, I'm pretty sure. So
Martin St. Louis.
and
fixed
Cole
fucking
Caulfield is.
That's not
going
even
off on
Caulfield.
him.
That's St. Louis playing right now. It's actually a ruse. Caulfield's the coach.
They're like, hey, Cole,
Just
we're gonna dye your hair
switch,
gray
please.
real quick.
Did
Sit on the
Dominic
bench,
Ducharme-
put a mask on, it'll be fine.
Did
Be
Dominic
perfectly
Ducharme rob Cole Caulfield of a Calder trophy?
Oh my gosh.
Oh wait, never mind. Michael Bunting's gonna win it anyway.
Oh my.
I heard someone say the finalists are going to be Sider and Bunting. I'm like, you guys are all dumb. Most Sider's going to run away with this.
He's already run away with it. It's what he's doing is crazy.
Kaiser, like, come on.
Who's he even playing with now? Because the Kaiser got
Mark
sent down
Stahl.
the line. Mark Stahl.
And he's played better with Mark Stahl. Like,
That's
the analytics
that's
are
funny.
extremely better.
Imagine when he gets like a decent defenseman to play.
Wait till like William Wallander gets up there in a few
Oh my
years.
God.
No, Simon.
I was
gonna say
Yeah.
Edmondson, dude, that's gonna be amazing.
Dude, yeah.
Oh.
Eiserman's got the right idea there. They can lose
He knows-
9-5
he
to
knows
Arizona or whatever it is. Like, they'll be fine.
Yeah, they don't care. This year's just all about development. You get another high pick, you just roll with it.
Wonder if they trade Bertuzzi. Like, I know that's like been floating around, but they can definitely.
You
get a
know
haul
they're
for
gonna
it.
do it. Eiserman's gonna trade Bertuzzi like he did with Mantha last year, like right at the last minute to be like, oh, see if Eiserman's not doing anything, and then he's gonna get like a first round pick and another big guy back.
Oh my god.
What's the team that does it though?
It's gotta be Washington.
Oh my
man.
God.
They're gonna get Mantha back.
They go right back
They're
into
gonna
the
get
Connor
Mantha
Shearer.
back.
You are Detroit Red Wing.
Oh god.
Oh man,
I'm trying to think who would be on their team. Carl Hagelin.
It's
You're
such a
going to
Nashville
Detroit.
move.
They're gonna get
Like,
Hagelin and McMichael, and that's it. And it's gonna be spectacular when that team is great again.
No, oh, in Nashville, Eli Tolvanen.
Oh,
That's what it'd
Or
be. Eli
Tomasino.
Tolvanen in a first. Yeah, Thomasino.
Oh
Whichever one works. And
Oh
for
my
Bertuzzi.
God.
And then
It's
they'll
like-
lose in the first round.
I can see St. Louis doing it too because I know I still think St. Louis really wanted Chikrin, and Chikrin getting hurt
Yeah.
kind of put a wrench in their plans, and then they didn't get Sherrod. So like, I'm curious to see if St. Louis overpays for a D man.
Calvin DeHaan for a first round pick. Woo!
They don't want the Han. They're smart.
yeah.
They're
They're smarter.
Wait
I
a
wonder
minute,
if
how
they
does
try to
this
get
happen? What's
Lindholm
smarter
or
than
somebody.
this?
Oh, that would be the team to overpay for Lindholm. I think.
Yeah.
Because they got
I
every
don't-
piece. Like their top 9 set.
Yeah, their top 9 set. God, I always forget how like nasty that team is because I just never get to see them.
I think every player is over 40 points in that top 9. Like you
that's-
should not remove a single player from that top 9.
No.
You do prospects and picks, and you just go for
Absolutely.
it. And they got 2 goalies now because I think Bennington's been better lately. So
And one, Billy Husso's just been incredible. He's going to get paid. Some team's going to be dumb and pay him in the offseason.
is it Buffalo?
I was going to say it's going to be Buffalo or
They've done that with
Toronto. one,
Carter
of,
Hutton, so.
one of them is going to go
Nah, Buffalo's gonna sign Jack.
$5 million a year, and he's going to. I remember when he was that, and I'm like, I can't wait to see him in a Sabres jersey. Now I'm a little hesitant, but we'll still take it.
We'll see how it plays out.
We'll see what happens. If he flops in the first round, we're still interested.
Oh yeah.
God. Oh.
And then the draft. Like, apparently, we're just giving away draft picks like it's cotton candy this year because
Absolutely.
Kelly Yarncroke got second and a third, which I still can't believe. Like,
yeah, when I saw that, it was a couple picks. Oh, sorry, Pierce, you can go first.
Oh, I was gonna say, did you see the Chris Johnson tweet where he's going to Calgary? I think he's like cousins with Elias Lindholm.
Yep.
Jacob Markstrom, Elias Lindholm, and Kelly Yarncroke are from the same city. I have no idea how to pronounce it. It's like Gavle, Sweden, something like that.
Oh my God, that
is so cool.
That is amazing. I think that was the same tweet where it was like, yeah, he's going for multiple picks. And I was like, oh, cool. It's gonna be like a third and a fifth. That's pretty good. And it's like, hey, it's a second, third, and fifth. I was like, that's a pretty big gamble, but Calgary's also like really good. So if this is the piece they need, yeah,
I think it's them and Colorado that are the two top. I'm really convinced by Calgary. Daryl Sutter's got them going.
Yeah, which 100%. Is why they're going to lose in the first round.
Oh,
to Nashville.
I literally was just going to say Nashville. It's Nashville or Dallas. Like, they're just going to lose to one. Oh my God, it's Dallas again.
Yeah,
it's Dallas again.
Oh my God.
Or it's Vegas when they get healthy. It's one of the two. Like, because Vegas will squeak in the final round. Or it's Bruce, there it is with Vancouver. JT Miller.
Oh, Vancouver, Calgary, that would be low-key.
That would be great because it's basically Vancouver, because it's like half the team's former Canucks at this point.
Oh, yeah. They just love swapping players. Like Travis Hamonic.
Oh, my God.
I want to see Calgary, Edmonton. I want to see that happen with them.
Oh, man. Require Ken Holland to choose it to go for it this year, Pearson.
That's never happening.
I don't think it's a year to be choosing to get to.
I don't think so. Connor McDavid's not on a 182-point pace, Pierce.
He's not. And they already got Evander Kane, so like, what else do you want?
They're all set. Yeah,
they're all set.
We already got two pieces of shit in the offseason. We can't get a third. Sorry.
They filled their quota, and they also have great goaltending.
Oh God, yeah. Koskinen is back, guys. They're fine.
Oh yeah, exactly.
They're just like Toronto. It's hilarious. Also, I just love how Fleury's giving all these teams the finger in trades right now. He's like, no, definitely no. Screw you, Toronto. Screw you, Edmonton. Definitely screw you, Washington.
Do you think he's not looking at Vegas right now? He's like,
I literally walk into Kyle's office and be like, listen, go get Brendan Broussard and I'll go back to Vegas.
Oh man, that would actually be great.
Just the biggest fleece of all time by Chicago. And that's how Kyle Davidson starts off. But in reality, Fleury's going to stay and they're going to lose him for nothing.
I mean, hey, they did get to him for nothing. So
oh, I know, but if they're going to keep him...
That's worst case scenario.
If they're going to keep him, I still think you sign him for like a year or two and just give him a bunch of money.
Give him a no-movement clause.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, like, that's not going to happen. So, I'm not going to get my hopes up. I'd rather they just trade him. But I respect his right to not get traded and not get stabbed in the back like Alan Walsh. Yeah. I don't need another Alan Walsh graphic, man.
Oh my God, no! I need another one. We need two swords in the back right now.
Damn.
God.
At the Bean, because everyone loves to make fun of the Bean when Chicago loses, like Arizona.
That would be great.
Just jinx them. But like Seattle needs, like, if that's what Seattle can get for Yarncroke, they're definitely getting a first for Gio. I don't know.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. As somebody's gonna, again, it's the defenseman. Although Giordano's actually like, he's been pretty good this year, so I think he might be worth that first, but we'll see. All I've seen though is Leaf fans who are like, I don't want Gio. He's really old, and I'm like, yeah, but he's really good.
He's good though.
Yeah. But no,
take Justin Hall into the playoffs one more time. Take Timothy Liljegren into the playoffs.
But they're not getting Giordano. They're getting Chara apparently. Freeman.
Please get Chara.
Please get Chara.
No. Chara to Florida, and you just put Chara and Chara together.
Or Gudas
just have those three. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hornqvist and March Mintz.
It's the greatest line of all time.
Chara, Bennett, and Hornqvist.
Oh, I forgot about Bennett. Oh my God, that's actual nightmare fuel.
That's terrible. And then Tampa's just going to drop 5 on them.
Tampa's going to somehow get Giroux and score 15, and everyone's going to be like,
don't speak that into existence, man.
Somebody already did. I already had to see like 6 tweets of this, and I'm like, if it happens, I'm crying.
No, my favorite Tampa fans, my mentions being like, yeah, we're so getting Brandon Hagel, buddy. I was like, you have nothing to offer for Hagel. Yeah. Back off. Unless you're giving us like Anthony Cirelli, back the fuck off. It's not happening.
I remember
No, that's gonna cost you one Mikhail Sergachev there. So.
Yeah, there it is. That's the one.
there was the Toronto fans talking about it, and they're like, I wouldn't even get a first. And then one of them was like, they can have a first and Nimala and this, and it's like, okay, you guys are like maybe on 2 hours. Come in the middle, please. Give him a first and a nice prospect.
I mean, they're
everyone
not
can be
wrong,
happy.
but
Give me
like,
Matthew Nyes in the first. I don't care if it's an over.
There you go.
It's Kyle Davidson. I almost said Kyle Davidson. Yeah, Kyle Davidson's gonna be known for fleecing the other Kyle. That's what I want.
the best Kyle D in the league, I reckon.
That's what I'm saying, brother. I bet Kyle Davidson doesn't put his cat-friendly charts on a whiteboard.
Oh yeah, I bet he has a
Oh,
better
no.
looking office than Kyle Dubas
Oh,
does.
God. That All or Nothing series came out. They're like, I don't like Kyle Dubas' office. He needs his freaking designer. I'm like, can y'all shut the hell up? Jesus.
This-
That might
not
be the
what the
most
point of it
Toronto
was.
thing ever.
They need to do that documentary with more teams, though, because like the Leafs were perfect last year for that.
Absolutely. There's so many teams I'd love to see the insight on.
Vegas, man. Like
Mhm.
Vegas would be the one, I think. Like, especially this year with all the stuff that's happened. Like, I think
Oh yeah, I'd love to see the back.
Montreal maybe.
Montreal would have been a good one last year when they went to the Cup Finals just to see that run. I think
Mhm.
Vegas would be the perfect one this year because, like, if they make it and they flop out, there's so much juicy stuff. The injuries, getting Eichel.
Juicy stuff.
Oh man, there'd be so much to talk about.
See Pete DeBoer calling. Who are they playing tonight? Are they playing the Panthers? Is it a David
Yeah.
versus Goliath matchup?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, pity me, Pete. Jesus.
God, I know.
Yeah, you guys are totally David in the David and Goliath scenario, Mr.
Absolutely.
Deadline every year in summer. Like, shut up. And I can't wait till they try to bring Mark Stone back and blast Riley Smith into the sun. It's going to be
Oh,
so
God.
fun.
I don't know what they're gonna do to get like. I know they have what Mark Stone and Martinez off right now, so they
Yeah.
have to shed like 10 million to bring them
I
back.
feel like half their team has been out on the LTIR at least like once in the
Mhm.
season.
Would Nolan
Crazy.
Patrick's played more games than like Max Pacioretty? That's
Really?
I
Oh
think
my
so.
God,
That's a
that's
concerning
perfect.
factor.
That's perfect.
And then like Robin Leonard's out till probably the playoffs. That's really
Yeah, yeah,
unfortunate.
That's really gonna hurt if they don't get a goalie. I don't know if they can squeak in. Like
No.
they're gonna lose games because Leonard's sick. I just don't know
Mhm.
if they're gonna be able.
They're
to
gonna have to
keep
call
up.
up Dylan Ferguson again to
They
lead them to
have
the
already.
promised
He
land.
played a couple
Oh,
nights
God.
ago.
Did he actually?
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Like they had a back-to-back and he had
They
to
also
play.
need Oscar Dance because they just got to sign
Oscar
him.
so
wherever
They
you
he
gotta
can-
is.
you
bring him
dance.
back, please.
Bring him from like Sweden wherever he's hiding and just get him to play.
I think
Oh,
they need to
man.
go trade for Malcolm Subban. I don't know. guys.
Noel Subban's out the whole
Ooh.
season.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
no, just put him on
yeah.
the sideline, bro. Put him on the bench. He's a motivator.
Get
Um,
40-year-old Craig Anderson.
Mm.
I wonder if
We're gonna
Craig's
get
got
next
him
year's
on, dude.
first two.
Hi, Steve.
Oh my God, 40-year-old Craig Anderson. If 40-year-old Craig Anderson hauls anything more than the fifth, that's such a win for Buffalo.
Oh,
It's not
dude,
even
even-
funny.
Like we're gonna take Riley Smith back to help them with the cap and give them Anderson, and we're gonna get the next 7 first because we saved their franchise.
Oh God, Vegas is just so dumb, and it's great too because they're not healthy enough to score out of their problems right now. It's
Mhm.
like if they were healthy, they probably could. But
Oh, absolutely.
man, this is just too good. Why
It's
is
what
it-
happens when you play a dangerous game, though. You go over the cap. Like Tampa could do it with Kucherov because they were a complete team, and they also
Indeed.
didn't get completely screwed by everybody else getting hurt.
They didn't have any other injuries really that year. At least not like.
Well,
major
Hedman
ones.
was banged up the whole year. I know that. So like
Yeah.
that's definitely a
But,
lingering
you know,
factor.
even
But,
if
like
Victor
Vasilevsky
Hedman-
never went down. That's the difference.
Yeah,
Like
losing your number one and not having like a Fleury as the backup, it's just you're kind of screwed.
Exactly. Like I promise you, if the Lightning didn't have Vasilevsky, they would probably be.
Curtis McElhaney trying to lead them back to the
Oh
promised
God,
land.
Brian Elliott
Brian
this
Elliott
year.
this year.
Brian
Yeah.
Elliott, yeah.
Oh,
And like
man.
Tampa's just, I hate Tampa. Like Corey Perry's on like a 50 point pace this year. And no one's talking about it.
Corey Perry's back, and he's like the fucking like 8th best player on the team. It's
You're
great.
getting
Also,
It's
away
so
we're
with
gonna plot like
this.
12 to 15 on the fourth line. It's just like, okay, that's cool. Then Jan Root is still in the top pair just to fucking give the Hawks the finger because he's like, I love when everyone's like, Tampa doesn't have a bum on their team. I'm like, they literally put him with Victor Hedman every single night. His name is
He
Jan
is
Rutta.
he is the biggest bum. If
He is
wasn't
the
with
reason
Hedman-
guys like Brent
Yeah.
Sherrod still get jobs.
Oh man,
I don't know what you're talking about. Back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Jan Rutta.
you're talking about giving up a first for a defenseman, and they gave up one last year for Savard, and then this year he's just been like extremely mediocre, not worth it at all.
He had injury
Mediocre.
problems too, but like
He
Yeah,
did
he
have
played
an,
on
but like that
Montreal.
contract is still like,
not good.
yeah.
I don't know why Montreal signed that and the Hoffman one. Like,
Well, they made the playoffs and then they lose. What was it? They lost Kotkaniemi
Deneau.
and Deneau and Tatar, and they were like, we have to do something. So let's do the stupidest possible things.
Let's sign a defenseman and a winger to help combat the 2 centers we lost.
and like to be fair with the Habs, like if Price and Weber are healthy, I feel like it's a different team. Clearly, like they lost their entire leadership in one offseason.
Oh yeah,
That's
There-
tough.
yeah. There's a lot of what ifs.
Leadership, heart, grit, but no.
It matters, damn it! It matters.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, they had no answer in net this year, and like it was gonna work out fine for them.
No.
It's
Yeah,
just
don't,
like
don't
they
sleep
did
on the
not make-
Hamburglar. Even though
They don't have Mark
preseason's good for the
Bergevin
rest
there
of
to
the
make some
season.
stupid signings on July 15th,
Oh,
or
God.
whatever day it is.
Yeah.
That
I think they're in good hands going forward.
Mhm. Jeff Gordon's gonna oversee that well.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
Another
then,
Jeff Gordon masterclass.
what else is new?
It's gonna get all the first round picks, and they're not gonna develop Ranger style.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's gonna get first overall, and Shane Wright's just not gonna do anything.
Can we not
Oh,
speak
man.
that into existence, please?
Well,
Oh,
I don't
everyone's
want I don't want him to flop because I like Shane Wright, but I do want the Canadians to flop. So like,
well, then
maybe.
here's how we do this: Canadians don't get the number 1 pick.
There you go.
Ari-
He goes to Chicago. Woo!
Yeah, of course. Come on now. No, he'll go to he'll go to Columbus just to piss us off.
Oh my
But,
god.
He'll go play with Ken Johnson for the next couple of decades.
And then Cole Sillinger will be the second line center.
Got a hat trick, Cole Sillinger, by the way.
That's right.
So,
Have you
Love
seen?
that.
I saw the 18-year-olds that scored hat tricks in the past decade. It was Patrick Laine, and then Cole Sillinger.
3 straight times.
Oh, it's perfect.
Patrick Laine is going to get the bag this offseason,
Oh,
and I still don't know if it's from Columbus. I don't.
He's still
I
an
don't know
RFA,
if it's
I'm
from
pretty sure.
Columbus, but I mean, someone will probably trade for his rights or something, or they'll do a sign and trade. But he's gonna
Pony
get
up the money for
paid.
him.
He's going to get like a
Absolutely.
9x8. He can easily
Yeah.
get a 9x8, I think.
Absolutely.
Hurdle can get an 8x8. He's going to get an 8x8.
I feel like that Hurdle contract really broke the market because there's so many players now. Like, what do you give Goudreau? What do you give JT Miller? They just like
I didn't even put that in the notes. I wanted to bring that up. I don't like that. I love Thomas Hurdle as a player. I really thought him going to Boston would be the
Mhm.
perfect fit. But like, I saw
Yeah.
a tweet from the Cap Friendly. They have Eric Carlson making 11.5. You have Brent Burns making 8 million. You have Vlasic making 7 million. You have Couture making 8 million, and it's like all over for 5 years. And then you
Yeah,
sign
it's-
Thomas Hurdle. Like you have so many of these players that are going to be on the wrong side of 30, making over 7
Yeah.
and $8 million, and they're not going to like. You could have easily got first for Hurdle and a good
Yeah.
prospect.
they're in a really tough spot because you're kind of in that like purgatory of we have so many bad contracts that are still pretty good players that we're never going to tank out, but you're always going to get like the 10th and 9th pick. And as good as William Eklund looked in his 9 games and is probably going to be, I don't know if you're going to get that guy at 9 or 8 or 10 every single year. And you're not getting value for any of them. Now you could have got value for Hurdle and you probably could have got value for Meyer, but like,
Could still get something from LeBanc, maybe. But, like,
yeah.
it's not – nothing's going to get you what you need as San Jose.
Yeah.
And
They
that's
got a rough 5 years to go through. And-
Man, you know who would look
Yeah.
really good on that team right now? Tim Stützle and Josh Norris. Oh, my God. Too bad those guys are on the party.
And $11.5 million
God.
off the books for the next 7 or 6
Exactly.
years
Yeah.
or whatever.
They should have, one of the biggest things no one talks about is they should have just re-signed Pavelski that offseason instead of
Absolutely.
going for Carlson. It made no sense. Like,
Mhm.
you lose your captain, and then, like, the room
They haven't
kinda
been the
got
same
recovered.
since.
Yeah, no. I mean, injuries have derailed the team completely. Like, we can't ignore that.
Yeah,
And Mark
absolutely.
Edward Vlasic fell off a cliff, too. Like, that's one of the worst
Yeah.
contracts in hockey, and no one talks
Yeah.
about it.
100%.
And
But that's
it
the-
was
that-
when
yeah.
he signed it, too.
Mhm.
Like, he signed at
That's-
30.
That's the risk you run though when you sign those guys all going late into 30s. They can fall off anytime. Now, they're not all going to fall off at 31,
Yeah.
but like Pavelski's
The
good
style
at
of
38.
Vlasic plays.
Still going. Like,
Yeah, you just pick the wrong ones all the time.
yep. And, like, I'm a firm believer that you don't pay the core if they haven't won. And, like, the only
Mm-hmm.
team that did it and it worked is Tampa.
Mhm.
And they got lucky, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Because
the
they
first
should have won the cup like 2 other years.
Yeah,
so.
come on now. But, like, that's
Yeah.
different. That's
That
different.
was a-
But,
yeah,
like,
that was a
team
cr-
like San
crazy
Jose,
team.
where they got close twice. The closest they got was a conference final and a cup final.
Yeah,
They paid everyone because of that. And I just don't
Yeah.
think that's the way you go about it, honestly. And also, like, the one thing that never gets talked about with San Jose is, like, the worst betting on yourself case ever is Kevin LeBanc. Holy shit.
What was it? 1 year, $1 million?
He could have had a
Yeah.
6x6, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
and
oh my
I
god.
don't
And
know
then
if he's ever doing that now.
And then they fumbled the bag again. Well, San Jose did this time because when he had that contract, they could have got a first for him at the deadline, but they didn't trade him. So it's like,
Didn't they get one for Goudreau?
yeah. Well, okay.
So
So
they got-
I guess they won.
Yeah.
But
So they got one for
it's
Goudreau.
picked those two.
You could have had that. Could have been the start of a great rebuild there. You get one for him, one for him. You trade Hurdle. You trade Meyer. You got like 5 picks in the next like 3 years. Just do that. Instead, they kept keeping everybody trying to like finish eighth in the Div Conference. It's just not going to work.
Mediocrity.
Yep. They
Mediocre.
want to beat Minnesota so bad. Man, they should just go get Chuck Fletcher and double down.
Yeah, go from Doug Wilson to Chuck Fletcher. They're having a mid-off right now.
No, it's like what's the picture of like Anthony Adams where he like gets a haircut and he's like, I look completely different. And he looks exactly the same. That's exactly what happened.
Oh, it's perfect. Oh man.
Oh man, it's just San Jose is like you said, they're in purgatory. It's not going to be fun for a while. And they didn't take the approach like the Kings did, and the Kings they kept some
The
of their
Kings
guys, but
are
not
the
all of them.
blueprint.
Traded off the right pieces, like they traded the Toffoli, they traded Muzzin, they traded Pearson.
Yep.
I think I'm missing someone, but they traded like the right pieces when they needed to.
Jeff Carter.
Jeff Carter, there's another one. Got the prospects they needed, retained salary when they needed to, and now they have a boatload of prospects. They made the right signings, and they look fine.
They are the blueprint.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
That's what I want the Blackhawks to follow in terms of rebuilds. Like that's how you should go about it. How most teams should, but they won't. So
No.
Carolina did that way too. They just got lucky and lucked into Svechnikov, which kind of sped up the process. Which no one really talks about. They were like 13th, I think, that year. Got Svechnikov, which is kind of nuts.
Isn't that who went third that year?
Kotkaniemi.
You're all Mike.
That's the Quinn Hughes year. That's the Joel Farabee year. That's the Brady Tkachuk.
The Nicholas Bowden year.
Oh, God. Rasmus Sandin, who would have been a top 10 pick in a redraft according to
what do you think? Top 3 pick.
Yeah, come on now. Ugh. And then, that Rasmus Dahlin chestnut went number 1, too. He turned out pretty all right.
I've never heard of him.
Father of Austin Matthews, Rasmus Dahlin.
I could go on about that one game where that one sequence for like 5 hours. Anyway.
I love how even Leaf fans are just like, even if Matthews got in a fight, it would have just been like, it's fucking Dahlin. Why are you going to get a fight with Dahlin?
They're like, he would have kicked his ass. It's like, okay, he's the same height and 40 pounds heavier. Are you really proud of that?
Oh, it's like looking at UFC when like someone beats someone who goes up 2 weight classes. It's like the guy had to put on weight to fight you, buddy. Come on, like he's not gonna be the same.
It's crazy.
Man. Yeah, and then I'm glad Anaheim's not taking. Oh, shit, there goes Pierce.
Pierce died.
Hopefully he comes back. But I feel like that's why Anaheim's taking the LA approach now, which I kind of like.
They're doing it right because now if they trade Lindholm and if they get rid of something for Raquel, I think they're doing a great job there. They got what they get from Manson was the second and Hellison.
Yeah, Hellison. And they just signed him to his ELC. So
it's like
Hellison, but
I don't. You got a computer. You have to take.
But I gotta think they're gonna get a first for Lindholm. They're not gonna get what they want as an asking price, I would think, but they're gonna.
Yeah.
Here's what I don't get about the Ducks, though, because what I'm hearing from Hawks beat writers is that like they're the number one team in on Kubalik right now. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, I saw Edmonton made sense because you're making a push.
And Winnipeg even makes sense, but like,
I don't know what Anaheim plans to get.
I think it's like Pierce and I both think it's a comptoir for Kubalik.
Kind of like a change of scenery kind of thing. That would make sense.
Because the Hawks will then get like a cheaper guy with term, and then they get a goal scorer who they probably throw at Zegras. Like, I just love when like all the advanced stats guys show Kuberleak's micro stats, and they're all terrible because he doesn't do anything without.
There's somewhere it's like you see the court or the war, and it's like 16. You're like, oh, this is nice. He's pretty good. And then you see the micro stats. You're like, how? What does he do?
Literally, like Kalle Yarncroke's micro stats were super interesting when I saw him because it's like he's really good defensively. He's good in the neutral zone, and then he just like pots a couple goals a year, like 12 to 15. So,
but he doesn't really bring much else. But hey, listen, on Calgary, he's behind Toffoli, he's behind Mangiapane, Gaudreau, Tkachuk. He doesn't have to be the guy. If he's just the good defensive forward, Potts 12 on the third line, you're laughing.
And anyway, he's gonna fit like a glove in Sutter's system.
Oh,
I 100% think so. Like, that's the one thing I will give. Brad Treliving's still the GM there, right? I have to think.
Yeah, it is Treliving.
Surprisingly, he's still there, but like he's having a great
somehow.
season.
Oh, he's back.
He's having a great
missed
season.
You.
Yeah, there he is. But he's having a great year with just getting guys who fit his coach. Because like I feel like that's one thing that doesn't get overstated or doesn't get stated enough in trades. Like the guys who are going to fit the scheme. And I feel like that's why the Lightning succeeded so well with getting guys like Blake Coleman and Barclay Goodrow, because that's what they needed.
Exactly.
Taylor Hall in Boston's another good one. Like that's exactly what they needed for their system at the time.
And the exact opposite is Nick Foligno going to Toronto. I was like,
yes, who went for more than Taylor Hall. Everyone's favorite.
Everyone's favorite.
But like, you can't fit a square peg in a round hole in the NHL, and I feel like that tries to happen way too much.
That's like I was gonna say. That's like the NHL GM thing. This thing? It's great. It's good. It's not gonna fit here, but I'm gonna make it fit, and I'm gonna look like a genius. And it's like, why? Some coaches are like that too. They're so stubborn.
Tortorella.
Yeah.
Literally.
Kruger on Buffalo. You had Jack Eichel and Jeff Skinner. Skinner scores 40. What do you do next year? You put Skinner on the fourth line. You don't play him with Eichel. It's like,
yeah, that made no sense to me.
I
never got why they were like, Skinner can produce on his own line now. It's like, why do you think he got 40 in the first place?
Yeah.
Oh,
and Pierce is gone again. It's okay.
That's fine.
He'll be back.
But I just don't understand the thought process behind that. Like, that's why I think I always forget that Don Granato is the head coach in Buffalo now, but I feel like he's a good communicator with the players, which it seems like.
I don't know if he's going to be the guy they keep when they want to compete, because he's a really good locker room guy. He's really good at getting everything out of the player, but I could see it wearing off in like 4 years. And by the time you have like whoever comes in this year and the prospects and all that, I just don't know if it'll work. But things happen. It's been light years better than the last three coaches they've had, so I'm not going to complain in the slightest.
Like, honestly, with the roster he was giving, he's getting the most out of his players, which, like the fact that he's made Tage Thompson what he's become. Like, it's incredible what Tage Thompson's done over the last 18 months. Amazing. Rasmus Dahlin's back into form, it seems like, this year. You got Alex Tuch and Peyton Krebs playing well after the trade. Like, he's getting all the guys to play well, and this was with a goaltending tandem that, like, I thought was going to be sub 800 all year.
I thought, when they announced the goalies to start this season, and it was like Anderson and Tokarski, and then Arizona's was like Fishmalka and Hutton, I was like, dude, I don't know which one's
They're having a mid-off.
It was worse than a mid-off. They were having
it's like the two trash cans racing down the street.
Exactly. And I feel so bad for underestimating Craig Anderson, because he's been incredible. I mean, so has Fishmalka for Arizona. I mean, Hutton's been terrible though. I think they like basically retired him, or no, they traded him to Toronto.
Yeah,
that one.
Now, I think
that was crazy.
For sure. Like, just I'm very curious to see where Buffalo goes this offseason with their moves. Like obviously the people they drafted are doing well, and like Jack Quinn's doing well in the AHL. So
I'm really worried that they do the same thing that they did when they got Eichel, and that they take the two extra picks they have. Because when they got Eichel, they went out and they got O'Reilly, Leonard, and Kane. It wasn't the wrong thing, but then they signed off Pozo, and they kind of took all this nice stuff they had for the future, and they said, we're going to win now. And they weren't ready. And I just don't want them to do that now and go like, okay, Malkin's a free agent, give him 10. Letang's a free agent, give him 2 years at 8. It's like,
let's bring Marc-Andre Fleury here. Reunite all the Penguins in Buffalo.
Yeah, they can get, like, I feel like if they can get the guys who are like on the right side of 30, got some turn. Like, I feel like I don't know about you, but like I feel like maybe like an Andre Burakovsky would be a good signing there this offseason.
Something like that helps solidify like the middle six, because right now it was funny because Buffalo went from having no center prospects to now on the team all they have is prospects that are like centers. I'm just like, please, anything for a right winger. I know Burakovsky's left, but like anything, I will give you my grandma's ashes. Just get me a right winger, please. I need something.
I'm begging you. I'm desperate.
I'm begging you. Yeah, it's But
Because wasn't Tate supposed to be a right winger, but then he switched to center this year?
So we got Thompson as a right winger, and he was terrible. And then they converted Olofsson from the left side to the right side, and he was good under Eichel. And now he sucks because he was carried by a guy who passed him the puck. So now we have it's Tuck.
Sounds like someone I know.
But yeah, that's I have hopes. I don't know about high hopes yet, but we have hopes for that team.
Had to have high hopes.
Oh yeah, like there's definitely it's not like they're from ground zero again. Like they're definitely past
that's something to work with.
Exactly. Because Pierce, you got to spend something to get something.
Did you guys talk about the Jack Eichel comments while I was gone, or
we talked.
Oh, perfect.
We talked about Manson though, and I wanted to just touch on this. So we're talking about Helleson. I didn't know he was a second round pick 3 years ago.
Yeah, I really like Drew Helleson. I think
he's a second round pick.
Yeah,
6'3" in the NCAA. He had 25 points this year. I think he
played for the U.S. at the Olympics. I really like Drew Helleson.
That was like, okay, so it's just a dude and a second, but no, that could actually be pretty good.
No, Drew Helleson could probably he could be their second right-handed guy behind Drysdale. I think.
Yeah.
I really like that trade for Colorado. It's not a bad trade for Colorado. But I specifically like it for Anaheim. And we've seen the two trades, like the defensemen like Manson and Sherrod, and I don't think Calvin DeHaan's going to get quite that much, but if he doesn't get a third, if he doesn't get at least a second round pick, I think it's kind of a failure if you don't get that.
It sounds like they're throwing the picks around this year.
Yeah. So it feels like the market for those guys is either a second or a third and a decent prospect. So if you don't walk out with something like that, I don't know if it's bad if you would have lost them anyways, but it's not good.
Gotta get something.
Yeah, and I wonder if the Blackhawks try to target 2023 picks because that draft is really good, or they just try to go for this year. It's going to be kind of an interesting dynamic. I feel like the defensive market is it's a sellers for the defensive market, but I feel like for forwards it might be more of a buyer's market. I'm not sure yet, but just seeing Frank Vatrano go for fourth, I know he hasn't had a great year and is I think making $2.5 million, but
you say that, but then Kelly Yarncroke just got 3 picks.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We only have 4 picks in the prospects.
That's true.
The market's definitely there. You just have to put the right guys on the market.
That's the thing. I think the defensive market has more quantity right now. The forward one seems like there's a couple high-end ones that might be available, but it's really just Giroux, and then who knows?
What the hell's going on with Forsberg? They're doing the classic David Boyle where he's probably going to get extended in 2 days.
He's absolutely. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to lose in the second round to somebody who's far better.
Round 1. Come on.
Wow.
They're going to get spanked by Colorado.
Oh, okay. Well, if they play Colorado, they're screwed.
Well, they're in a wild card right now, or are they 3? They might be 3. But
I don't know. It changes so much. Unless it's Colorado or Calgary, it's moving all over the place.
Let's put it this way. I'll take Colorado, I'll take Calgary, I'll take St. Louis, and I probably would take Minnesota if they could figure out their goaltending over Nashville.
Yeah, Minnesota's
unless UC Saros goes God mode, which he very well can.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, he almost did against Carolina last year.
Yeah. So currently it's Avs with 91 points. It's incredible.
Jesus,
oh my God. Blues are second in the Central with 76. Wild have 74, and the Preds have 74. So
you know what the funny thing about the Avs having? You know what the funny thing about the Avs having 91 points? I'm pretty sure when they made the playoffs back in 2019, I don't think they had 91 points to get in, and they already have 91. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy. That's a team that I don't want to say luck. But dude, they got incredibly lucky. Makar 4th, Ranton in 10th. In redrafts, they might.
What's the saying? You got to be good to be lucky.
Exactly.
The reason they got there because Joe Sakic's a fucking god. Him and Eisman are the 2 best GMs in the NHL.
You talk to anyone 5 years ago when they traded Duchesne, no one thinks Colorado's where they are right now. No one.
And that trade turned out to be incredible.
That turned their whole franchise around.
At least 2 different franchises. They got Sam Girard for some fucking reason in that trade too. I still don't know why they got Sam Girard.
I remember when that happened.
Turns was a part of that trade. It made no sense.
He might not even be the best defenseman from that trade if Bowen Byram can just stay healthy.
They got Byram and Girard, and they picked Makar the year before. That's insane. That's a whole defense core.
So good. And their forwards don't have to be top end quality when they come in the league because they basically just need bottom 6 guys right now.
Absolutely.
And Logan O'Connor's been good for them. They've made they got Darren Helm, and he's worked out for
Yeah.
them. Like, come on, man.
Didn't
Like-
they pick Valerie Nichushkin up off the trash? Like, he got bought out by Dallas.
And
That's
he's been
insane.
amazing.
And he's been
And he's better
like,
than Leon Draisaitl.
exactly. He's
Uh,
better than the the third best player on Edmonton.
JT Confer's been very steady his whole career. Like,
I
that's
hate
good
JT
depth there.
Confer. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, Buffalo.
They're really
Ryan
they're
O'Reilly
really
trade.
Yeah, I always
that's
forget
right,
about
that's
that
right.
one.
They're really disappointed Tyson Jost's gone though.
How did they get Nico Sturm for Tyson Jost? Like, I feel like that doesn't get talked about enough. Is like, I feel like the Avs just kind of like got Nico Sturm for nothing, which is pretty good for them.
There's a lot of that's a really polarizing trade because I've talked to a couple Wild fans that
I
are
don't
like,
think it's that
"Dude,
bad
we
of a
st-
trade."
We stole Jost, and I'm like, okay, Jost has kind
No.
of been like meh, and then a couple Avs fans are like, dude, we stole Sturm, and I'm like, okay, so if they both stole the guy, maybe it was just a good trade.
Maybe it's just a good trade.
And everyone's
Good-
like, no.
a good old fashioned hockey trade.
I just really like Nico Sturm on Colorado's fourth line. I feel
Mhm.
like that's the kind of guy they needed for that.
He
team.
fits that need perfectly, and Jost finally gets a chance to play in the top six because Minnesota has no center outside of
He might
Eriksson
play with
Ek.
freaking Kaprizov, dude.
I was
They're
gonna say
putting
like
Hartman at center. Like, come on.
yeah, so he might get a chance with like some really skilled players, and he might bloom. But for Colorado, this is a slam dunk win for them because it doesn't matter what he becomes. If you go farther because of Sturm, you're happy.
And you open up cap space to get someone else. Like if you win the
Yeah,
cup
that doesn't
after doing this, who cares?
Exactly. Speaking of opening up cap space, we forgot to talk about it. The Vetrano to the Rangers one.
Yeah, for like a
So-
fourth, right?
I had
Mhm.
two Florida fans. One that told me Rangers overpaid, and then one that told me the Rangers underpaid. As like, so what's he worth? And one of them was like, he was worth a second, and then I was like, we could have got like a sixth. I was like,
Oh, so right in the middle.
So this is
Yeah.
what
right?
it's worth, in
It
other
was
words.
perfect. I was like, thanks guys. But yeah, that's a good one for the Rangers because like they have the top end
Do
talent.
you think how
They-
that's the trade? How the trade went out like that? Flair's like, I want a second round pick for him, and then New York's like, Nah, buddy, you're getting a sixth round pick. How about a fourth round pick? Yeah, that works for us. Good trade.
Deal.
Good. Flair's are doing business
Send
with
it
him,
in.
huh, now.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Yeah, if they get rid of him and they're talking about getting rid of Achari, they have to get something. Like they just got the defenseman, and we just talked about the forward market's kind of bare. And if they don't get Giroux, I feel like they kind of just traded those two guys for nothing.
If they don't get Giroux, they're gonna overpay someone. They're
Oh,
gonna go get
absolutely.
a forward no matter
They
what.
have
And I
have
just-
to, but I
Mhm.
just yeah.
But like
That's
you
it,
said,
that's-
the forward's like so top heavy. Like
Exactly.
I don't know who. Oh my god, overpay for Dominic Kubalik, cowards. Do it.
That's
Yeah,
it.
who did Florida draft with their first? Mackie.
Oh, it's,
Sam.
Samskovic.
I know. I said his name all the time, and I can't remember how to
Yeah,
say it. I know
it's,
exactly. He played with the
Pierce,
Chicago
you're
Steel.
overthinking this one. Just give us Spencer Knight, buddy. Come on.
That works too?
You're
Perfect.
overthinking this one, buddy. Come
Oh
on.
man. Yeah, their first round pick was is Matthew, but he goes by Mackie Samskovic.
Yeah,
I heard he's
I
doing
can't
really
say it.
good, and they had a guy from
Chicago
last
Steel
year.
kid.
Yeah,
We're Chicago Steelers.
I don't have a lot of issues
But
with
same point.
Florida drafting. They're pretty good, but last year's second round pick, I heard nothing but complaints about him, and I think he's got like 13 points this season. So, side note, screw you, Patrick. That's what you get.
Yeah, no, Patrick fucking up the sim still pisses me off. Like I can't stand that shit. Oh, I'm gonna give
man.
Rass $6 million when he's worth like $2.
Oh,
God.
and it
Cheat
started
League
with,
of podcast incoming.
started with MP giving Giordano's 13.
Oh,
Oh, I need Arizona to do that in real life now. Bring
The
him back
highest
for one
played
more
player in
season.
the
I
NHL,
was
Mark
at- I
Giordano.
was at the airport at like 6 in the morning, and I get like
Oh.
I check my phone and I just see you sending all like the complaint tweets from the teams where it's like he's clearly not happy here. He's gonna get
I
out
was-
for a first
Oh
right now.
man.
Basically,
that
like
was-
you're getting rid of Jacob Chikrin in a week. Or
Oh, it was. Oh, speaking of Chikrin, am I crazy for think they're massively overvaluing him? They're talking about getting like more than an Eichel return. I know he's good, but like that seems crazy high.
Well, that's their thing. They don't have to trade him, and if they can get
That's
him
the
all
thing.
for him, why
I
not?
understand that. That's the one thing they have, but like they wanted like a first, a second, a Tuck like player, and a Krebs like prospect. And I was like,
I don't
That's-
want to be
that's-
that guy, but Seth Jones kind of got all of that.
Seth
And
Jones
he's
got
3
that,
years
but-
older,
but he's
so-
right-handed, and he scores
Yes,
points.
But Jacob Chikrin's 23, and he's
Yeah,
got term.
and he's got a
really
nice
good term.
deal. Yeah.
4.6, I think.
for like
yeah.
3 more years, I think, or 2 more years. Like
four.
that's a
That is
huge
fair.
deal.
That term does really help. And if a
That's
contender
why I
wants
feel
to
like
go
the
all
price
in,
is so high. Which
That
is why
could
I
be
think
true.
St. Louis should just pony up and fucking pay it.
yeah, but they don't want to trade neighbors. Isn't that? Is that
That's what I think.
Go
they should just
Edmonton
do.
Oil Cake. Check
Go
me out.
trade neighbors. Go trade your first. Go trade your second. And then I said go give them like Sunquist to make the cap work. or
Yeah,
something.
just do something like that. It would be.
You gotta try because like that team is ready to go for it, and there's no way you're beating Colorado.
that would actually be like a really sneakily good top 3 like defenseman with Chychrun, Parayko, and Krug.
And Falk's been really good in the last few years. Like
If he's been good, there, I know he was really mediocre in Carolina the last couple of years, but
trust me, Jacob, I thought so too. And then I saw his advanced stats the last few years in St. Louis, and I was like, oh, Justin Falk's a defensive defenseman for some
You
reason.
should have traded
When
Brandon.
the hell did this?
That's
Should have
amazing.
traded. For
Now they're on the
Slavin
same
here.
team.
I love that.
God.
Oh god.
And then they got Buchnevich for nothing, which is just hilarious.
That still does not get enough shit.
One of the worst
That's
trades of the
a
offseason.
trade.
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
coming from the Rasmus Ristolainen and Seth Jones realm.
Oh god,
Yeah.
this was the offseason of just terrible trades. There was like 4 or 5 that were just like
There's probably
How?
somewhere missing.
Just mind-boggling.
absolutely.
Like the Dvorak trade doesn't get nearly enough shit. Oh my
I don't
God.
know.
The funny thing is Montreal's going to trade him again and get another first round pick. So
I mean, absolutely, but like I don't know how they gave up a first, even a pick swap. Imagine if it was Montreal's first they gave it because they thought they were going to be good. They got so gifted that they said, "You get the worst of them."
I remember that condition popping out, and I was just like, they got spared.
Oh, man.
Holy shit, that could have been bad.
That would have been funny though.
that could have been Chicago territory, man.
Hey, listen. We're giving up like the 8th pick this year. It's fine.
Yeah,
We've done that
it's not
before.
the first.
Don't worry, they're just gonna go draft like Simon Nemec with the pick or something because he's gonna fall all the way down. Like, trust me, they're gonna like
No, Brad
whoever.
Lambert's
If the
Brad
Hawks don't
Lambert.
win the lottery, Columbus
gonna be
is
Lambert.
picking like the next Trevor Zegers with their pick.
Oh,
Yeah,
Like,
Brad
I
Lambert.
promise you. Like,
It's gonna-
'cause
yeah.
Look at who they picked last year: Kent Johnson, Cole Sillinger, and then who did they pick with their third first round? pick? Who am I missing?
Carson Coolmans, I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
it was Corson
come on.
Coolmans, yeah.
Yeah, come on, man. Like they hit on all 3 of their firsts last year.
Yeah.
And then they got Jake Bean with one of their seconds, which
Yeah.
is like basically a fully developed prospect.
Mm.
Like, man, like Columbus is
Yeah,
gonna be
they're-
like when Ken Johnson gets to the league, Columbus is gonna be fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
If you keep Line, like, oh man,
Oh man, that would actually be like a fun team. Like when they went all in, they got Duchesne, they had Panarin, and they had that. That's going to be back to those kind of levels, but
oh yeah,
you're not actually going to like lose them in a year.
because they have good pieces in Columbus. Like Oliver Bjorkstrand's hella under.
They just got to keep him there is the big problem.
That's the
Well,
big
Bjorkstrand just got the extension, so he's there. Werenski's locked up.
Werenski, yeah.
They got Boquist needs an extension this offseason. I can't
I think
imagine.
Jenner's got
No.
Jenner's got like
Jenner
3 years
locked
left.
up. Yeah, he got
Yeah.
locked up. Voracek, I think, is a free agent, maybe, or like he's got 1 or 2 more years.
I think he's got a
I
couple
think he's got
more
1
years.
year left. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they got like Roslovic and Tessier, who are good pieces. I think Liam Foodie's still in their system. I don't know where.
Yeah,
he is
Liam Foodie I
exactly,
think still is. Yeah.
but I know he was fun to watch back in junior. I don't know how his trajectory's gone.
I
yet, but-
have no idea. All I remember is
Mhm.
both Foodies were sick, and then now the one Colorado has kind of taken the downswing a bit. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping this one keeps it up.
100%. And then they got the goalies in the system. Like I think they're
Yeah.
gonna rock with Elvis. So
And
I wouldn't.
yeah,
wonder if Corpusalo gets traded at the deadline. That might be. Is he hurt? Because that might change things. But
I don't know if he is. Even if he's hurt, if he comes back before the playoffs, I could see a team still doing it. Because they don't need to keep him.
Vegas?
Is that the move?
Vegas-
Vegas.
Vegas.
Oh, I guess he's
Keeps him,
injured
man.
if he can't go.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah, it would be somebody like an Edmonton, maybe. I don't know if he has a trade clause, but he could make sense. Like if you're gonna rock Koskinen and not Skinner,
The 2 Finns?
Smith,
Mhm.
and then come the playoffs, you just say Smith, you're old, sit down, and you rock the. 2
We're going to start you in game 1
The
anyways.
future is now, old man.
Sit down.
Oh man. Yeah, I agree. Like it's just, Edmonton makes a lot of sense for that one. Like
The
I
goalie
just-
of any of kind.
honestly, like I just don't. The goalie market's so interesting right now because everyone says Flurry, but I'm like, besides that, there's really nothing. Like
There
there's
is- yeah,
Reimer,
there's-
maybe.
Dallas is keeping Holtby now.
Yeah.
I would
Well,
keep
now
him
that
if I
now
was
that
Because
they're
Kudobin,
close, yeah.
Kudoban's out for the rest of the year.
Well, not
Oh,
just that
yeah.
though. They're close, so I don't see unless they get like a crazy good offer. Like the Stars are a point out of from Vegas, and they got 4 games in hand.
Yeah.
There's
I
no
always
point-
kind of
there's no-
thought they were. I always kind of thought they were going to trade Klingberg for Giordano just because, like, they want to still go for it, but then they got to get something for Klingberg.
They could trade for
Yeah.
Giordano and just keep both.
Just double down. Yeah, they
Could,
just
yeah.
put Sekera on waivers, so that's like
Yeah,
What's
you
that,
could
like-
do that.
mil off the cap or something when he gets buried.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Dallas is interesting. Like they got
Yeah.
all pieces. Jason Robertson's
Yeah.
contract's going to be held this offseason.
Oh my God,
So
Jason
I
Robertson.
want more than Jamie Benn.
So, oh my, yeah. That's
I was
gonna
looking at
gonna be
Jason
so tough.
Robertson.
Yeah.
Back-to-back years, 2016, 2017. The 39th overall picks were Alex DeBrincat and Jason Robertson.
Jesus Christ. That's it.
Gotta
The
love
39th pick is always going to be good.
Who's the 3? Yeah, like that's amazing.
But will the Blackhawks get the 39th overall pick this year and just get someone else?
They're gonna take the
I wish
best
I could do
player.
the rock eyebrow because that's what I want to do right now.
I can't even do it.
Oh,
That would
man.
be perfect.
Yeah, but it'll just be interesting to see where they go with that, like for goalies on the market. Because like I feel like Washington still needs one. Minnesota definitely still needs one. if
Oh
they
my
wanna
God,
compete.
dude.
Yeah,
Like,
Washington's
holy
in that
crap.
really tough spot where like they have two young kids because they just got Vitek back and they got Samsonov, and I think they're both RFAs at the end of the season. So like if you get a goalie, you kind of have to move one of them out. You're not going to sit one of them.
Yep.
So you see like a three-way trade where like they get somebody gets like Samsonov, and then the other team gets that goalie. But that's the only way I see Washington getting one because I don't see them really spending to sit one of those two.
Yeah, that's true. It's just like the only reason I say that though is because like they've been calling on Fleury all year, so like they're definitely
Yeah.
looking. I just
They
don't
are.
know. I don't know what goalies to answer. Like if LA sucked right now, I bet Jonathan Quick would be all over the market. But they're good.
Yeah,
Apparently Varlamov's actually been getting some like calls.
yeah, because they want to
Bro, he didn't
go with
wanna go to
Sorokin next
Edmonton.
year. Yeah.
Well, Lou's gonna get a first from Varlamov, so it's gonna be dumb. Or,
Yep.
or he's gonna get a fourth, and then he's gonna get a third for Kevin Clutterbuck, and nothing's gonna make sense ever. Because that's how.
A first for
That's-
Chara.
Oh, they're gonna get a first from Martin and Chara. That's it.
Oh,
It's all coming
God.
together.
The whole identity line: Martin, Cizikas,
Oh.
and Clutterbuck.
I remember I was
Just-
like, Cizikas would be cool on the Hawks, and he signs that giant ass extension in New York.
That's
And I
just
was
like,
like,
they got, like,
Cizikas
6
is fine in
years.
New York.
Yeah, you know what? He looks good there. I thought it could have been cool, but 6 years is a little much.
If the Blackhawks sign him, he'd be like other than Seth Jones, he'd be like the longest tenure. Like he'd have the longest contract of any.
The
on
second
that
longest
team.
contract on the Hawks right now is Tyler Johnson.
God.
Yeah, it's fun.
Wow.
times over here. It's a lot of nothing.
So back to Giroux. He plays his 1,000th.
No, yeah, I wanted to bring that. 'Cause it's his 1,000th game today.
Yeah,
At least he gets to play it on like Giordano, or like gets to be there for
that feels like okay. I get it for Giroux
Yeah,
because
what's up
he's a
with that?
flyer. He's gonna get to play all 1,000 games as a flyer. That's cool. Giordano isn't a Kraken. He was a Flame basically. So like,
He's not a crackhead.
yeah, exactly. So him playing the thousands game in Seattle doesn't really matter. But like, if you said to Drew now, you only play $9.99 here. That's kind of like that's just a dick move.
Yeah, I remember they were looking at that like over a month ago too. They were just like, they're not going to trade Giroux to like right before
No.
the deadline because of
Yeah.
that. And he deserves that, honestly. Like I don't know
He
how
does,
many Flyers
yeah.
have ever played 1,000 games. It can't be many for like the same
Question.
team.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it can't be that many. But like,
Oh, I can't think of anyone else. Like,
yeah. Then you got the
Bobby
Hawks,
Clark?
like 5 people did in the last couple of years. But like
Yeah.
Bobby Clark, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's because
Eric Lindros sure as
yeah,
hell didn't.
Yeah, no,
he
Jason
was
Hell.
out. That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't think there's. I don't know.
He's got to be
Philly's-
like right at the top. Like,
God, if I'm Philly, I go to Colorado and just try to get those picks and like a really prospect. I don't know why you would go to Florida at this point, unless you are in love with Owen Tippett for some godforsaken reason.
Apparently they are, but I just don't see the
Yeah,
appeal
that's
because
Chuck
like
don't
Fletcher
either.
for you.
I don't either.
Just-
I don't see
but,
the
yeah.
appeal at all. And Giroux
I have,
is having,
I have
I
heard
don't
that Giroux his no movement clause. He wants to stay in the East, so that's why they said that Florida and Carolina might be the two more desirable options.
Carolina makes more sense because they
Carolina
actually
can
have
give way
good
more up,
prospects,
that's for sure.
and they have a
They
first
have-
round
yeah.
pick.
Could you imagine Giroux on that team though, dude? What don't
Bro,
they have?
Kakaniemi would be on the fourth line at that point. Like
I
that's
think
so goofy.
they have too much. I just don't know how they do it.
Don
also,
Liddell is
I-
the man.
I completely forgot that
Eric
Kotkaniemi
Jones
signed an
has a
8-year
lot of
extension.
that too.
And that's going to be
Yeah.
a fine contract because Trocheck's going to leave this year, and
Yeah.
he'll just go one up in the roster. It's like next man
Like,
up.
Now that got swept under the rug
now
so
we're gonna put
quickly.
Nietzsche at center. Oh no!
Oh no!
Yeah.
Now we gotta go put Seth Jarvis on the third line. Oh no!
It's
We got
great.
Steven Lorentz on the fourth line. Fuck. Like, yeah, they're ridiculously like we joked about it for like over a year. They had like 9 NHL defensemen at one point. They were just chilling. Like Trevor Van Riemsdyk like was not playing hockey for like 2 years because he was just an extra. Now he's like playing top pair with the Capitals.
You know what's gonna happen? Don Waddell's gonna like step into like a president role, and then they're gonna get Eric Tulsky to be the GM, and it's gonna be they're not fair. Carolina's so
and they got everyone locked up on great contracts too. Like Aho's just gonna be interesting when he's up for sure. But like,
well, you still got 3 years left, man. They can win.
Exactly.
It's 3 years. 3 years is a lot.
They got like the fact that Pesci and Slavin are on the contracts they're on is amazing.
And they're that dude. They're so underrated. Like, I mean, people who follow it know how good they are, but like to the average fan, they just stand there like, I don't know who they are. It's like
I thought people would have known Jacob Slavin over the last couple playoffs because he was incredible last year and the year before and 2019.
Casuals are crazy, man.
But Dougie Hamilton does dance moves and goes to museums, so he must be the best defenseman.
He must be the best defenseman. I can't believe they got Tony DeAngelo and Ethan Bear to replace them.
Literally, Tony DeAngelo's exactly like I don't like Tony DeAngelo as a person, but that is exactly what they needed to replace Dougie Hamilton. Just a power play
for what was it like? It was like $1 million.
Yeah,
it's like it's crazy. You have $8 million now to do whatever.
And then they got rid of
Ethan Bear for Warren Fogle, like straight up. I'm pretty sure.
And Fogel's been
meh.
Yeah, he's been pretty meh.
Fogle is a bottom 6 forward. That is what he is.
Yeah,
and that's nothing against him. It's just he's not what
just sometimes you are what you are, yeah.
And like
this is
the fact
Ken
that they
Holland
replaced
who
Ethan
picked
Bear
up
with
Keith.
Cody Ceci.
Then they replaced Nedeljkovic with Frederick Anderson, who was having a Vezina caliber year.
And Nedeljkovic is move.
God,
He is terrible right now.
It's sometimes you just make all the right moves, and that's it's Carolina the last couple of years.
God, I just love dunking on Leaf fans with Frederick Anderson. Did you see his quote today?
We had Adam Wilde come on our podcast and say he was washed. It's so
great.
Man.
It's great. I have been a Frederick Anderson truther from the start. Unless he plays Jonathan Taves. Freddie Anderson's literally, I fear no man, but that man.
That thing scares me.
That thing scares me. Jonathan Taves coming down
the
ice.
It's that damn smile and just
or Teuvo Teravainen from an impossible angle in game 5.
Jonathan Taves from the goal. Hey, do you remember that goal?
He's done that multiple fucking times.
That's probably the most craziest goal I've ever seen, ever. That Taves shot from the goal line.
And then Kubelik batting one out of midair a couple years
Even though they lost that game, that was the seed of doubt planted in Anaheim.
Oh, I knew they were winning the cup after.
Yeah.
I knew they were winning the cup after Scott Darling fucking walked in and then
you're like, oh yeah.
Minnesota. I was like, yeah, this is not happening this year. And it was great too living in Tampa. I love saying it. I had bragging rights my entire senior year of high school.
Fun.
My friend had to wear Blackhawk flags on his car the first day of school.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That's amazing.
I got him Stanley Cup champion flags, and I was like, "Here you go, Nick."
What's good?
Enjoy this.
Exactly.
Since you guys are talking about the Hawks, what do you guys think about the Vlasic ECL or ELC?
I like how you're doing a better job of doing over the nose than I am.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I like.
Sometimes it just happens.
You're just so used to controlling Sheet League. You're like, yeah.
I'm so good at like we talk about the Hawks. We're going. I just learned that apparently he's related to Marc-Edouard Vlasic. I should have guessed that, but no, that's cool though.
He also has a sister that plays for the Connecticut Whale of the PHWA. Or
he is correct.
PHF.
That's very cool.
That's what it is now.
It is, yes. But yeah, I don't know much about him besides Sheet Liga, and I think we did top 4. So yeah, this is all your guys'. I don't.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a generous rating, but from what I've heard from Vlasic, they picked him 43rd in 2019, and he's wearing number 43, and I'm pretty sure.
Cool. Next one.
Yeah. Brandon Saad, just like Brandon Saad, also the 43rd overall pick. I'm pretty sure.
God, you are like an encyclopedia for draft picks. This is amazing. I love this.
It's only because I saw it on Twitter. Yeah, I remember stuff like that, but I can't rember other stuff that actually matters.
Studying for a math test? No. Knowing, oh my God, you're right. He was the 43rd. That's amazing.
Chris is on the computer with the draft picks.
God,
don't ask me what I ate earlier today.
You guys drafted Deneau, Saad, and Shaw in the same draft?
Yeah, Stan Bowman was really in his bag. He just sucked with second contracts. That was literally his kryptonite. Yeah. He didn't sign any of those guys.
You got Teravainen, you got Hinostroza. Oh my God.
Yep.
I'm learning so much about the Blackhawks.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost
You
like
mentioned-
that's how you get a dynasty. Is drafting really well.
You guys drafted Kevin Hayes?
Yeah,
Yep.
and then he did. No, the best part about Kevin Hayes is we won the cup in 2013, and he said, "No, I want to go play for the Rangers."
No, it was 2014,
Or it was
and then they ended up
2014.
and then they
And then
ended
the
up
Hawks
winning the
won the
cup
cup,
that year.
Dude, I'm
Like,
learning so
like he thought the
much. This is
Rangers would have a
amazing.
better chance at the cup instead of playing second line center with Patrick Kane and Patrick.
So
Kane.
funny. So, and
Oh
like
my
Patrick Kane was
God.
probably going to win MVP that year if he didn't break his clap.
Yeah, and
Like-
God bless Kevin Hayes. Good on him for getting that contract and all the stuff he's went through. But like, Jesus, man,
He's never been that guy.
you
You're not that
really
guy,
might have picked the
pal.
wrong
You have
team.
no
trust me,
chance.
you're not that guy.
But yeah,
Oh,
no, the
man.
Hawks had a really good hot streak of drafting in the early 2000s.
That's
2010s.
incredible.
Like, they had
Well,
that
like-
little cold streak for a little bit, like where they were picking like oh shit, who was the one guy they picked?
Yeah, 2009. You guys picked Olsen.
Olsen. That's
He was
one
the first.
Dylan
Yeah, Fury was
Olsen, that's
second.
right.
I was like, it's something. It
You
was
did.
like
You
around-
did
I
get
don't
Marcus
know.
Kruger in that draft in the 5th round, though. So gotta love him.
Oh yeah,
Unfortunately,
God.
2008 was
Kyle
Kyle
Beach,
Beach,
yeah.
and
Fuck.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I hate
just
it.
unfortunate. Fucking stupid.
yeah.
But they got like Jalmerson in the 4th round back in the day. I think Bufflin was an 8th round pick. Like
yeah, that doesn't even exist anymore.
yeah, Crawford was a second in like
Yeah.
2000. Like they got Crawford and Seabrook in the same draft. That's
You got
and I think
Crawford,
Bufflin.
Seabrook, and Bufflin in the same
Yeah,
draft.
that's
That's
really good.
insane.
That's really good. And then like
Keith
they
in the
lucked into
second.
Jonathan Taves.
Yeah.
Yeah, because St. St. Louis chose Eric Johnson, and then Pittsburgh chose Jordan Stahl.
Awesome. Gee, I wonder if they would redo that.
Okay, when was someone going to tell me Craig Anderson was drafted by the Hawks?
Yeah, I think in 1999.
What? Hawk legend Craig Anderson, baby. Let's go.
That's
He's from
incredible.
Illinois.
Was it Brock
What
Nelson
the-
drafted by the Hawks too? I think he was.
Oh,
No, he was. I think he was like the Blackhawks traded the pick that would have been Brock Nelson.
That's
I think
what
for
it
Kevin
was.
okay.
Hayes.
They drafted Nick Schmaltz.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
This is my boy.
They, more often than not, they did hit in the draft.
Yeah.
But like, these
And then
past-
like 20 after they won the last cup, they kind of started like Alex DeBrincat was their last good past first round pick.
yeah,
Kurashev's probably been their best since then, but even then,
Yeah,
that's
it's-
like not great. So, but that's not
Yeah, DeBrincat,
Kurashev.
Lucas Carlson was in the same draft.
Yeah, Lucas Carlson was a good
Mm.
pick. Forsling was like a 6th round pick, I think, at one.
I don't, they didn't even draft him. It was Vancouver.
Oh,
they
he was
traded Clem Benning
undrafted.
for
You're
him.
right. Shoot.
Yeah. You guys drafted
Forgot
Yoki
about
Haru and Mitchell in the same year.
Yeah, that's not bad. Like,
They could have had
Bogdan.
16 and picked Joel,
Yeah.
Bodan. That was fun.
Boakfist and Bowden, and then Kurashev, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, they
Who's
they
this
drafted all
Josiah
right.
Slavin?
that's not
Josiah
good.
Slavin's fine. AHL
That's
player.
not good enough. Yeah,
Yeah, he's a 7th round pick, though. You know, if you get any value,
Played
out of that,
NHL
it's-
games.
Yeah,
So
that's a win right there.
win
Exactly.
himself. And he's a good AHL player, so that's you need guys like that. Like
Yep.
Reese Johnson's another one. I don't think he was drafted, but like he's a
No.
good AHL player for them.
Yeah.
Like that's what you need,
Oh,
especially
yeah,
around guys
absolutely.
like Lucas Reichel when he's developing.
Mhm.
And like, but like with Vlasic, I think if Vlasic could I think he could be a good 4, like a 5 or 6. Like,
Yeah, he's
honestly.
a bottom pairing guy. He just doesn't bring much offense. Like, he's a very good skater. He's a
God.
tall guy. Like,
For
did you
someone
see-
that size,
Yeah,
he is a really good skater.
Did you
But,
see?
He
Did
is
you see that
6'6", yeah.
picture? Did you see that picture? It's like Patrick Kane, then Kirby Dach, then Alex Vlasic. It's like, oh, Patrick Kane is small. Oh, Kirby Dach's really tall. Oh, Alex Vlasic is very tall.
really tall?
He's like 6'6" or 6'7".
He's 6'6" and he's 199 pounds. Not a lot of weight,
He's
but
put some meat on those bones.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a slim boy.
That's one thing I will say with that I liked with
Yeah.
Doc. Doc put on like 20 pounds over the last couple of years in muscle, which is all he
Yeah.
needed. Like when Doc fills out his frame, he'll be fine. And that's the same thing.
Dude,
with
what he's gonna be
Vlasic.
like 200. I hope he's gonna be like 220 pounds or so.
Yeah, just a tank. Like I need him to start hitting
God.
the weights.
He's gotta be Ryan Getzlaff,
Honestly.
oh, that would be
or
really
even a
perfect.
quarter of Ryan Getzlaff, please. Like,
Like
Please.
I just want 15 and 30 on a Doc, and I want good defense. Like at this point,
Yeah.
that's what I want out of him. And if we get that out of him, I'll be happy. Most Hawks fans won't because he was a 3rd overall pick and they want Jonathan Taves. That's a different story.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that all the time, which is like,
It doesn't help that Zegras is going off either. That really doesn't help
Yeah.
Hawks' case. And Jack Hughes is taking a massive step, but Jack Hughes was always going to be good. We all knew
Yeah.
this. But then, like, at the same time, I could be like, well, Bowen Byram's had injury issues. He hasn't
yeah,
developed as
like
fast.
you
Campbell
look at
Cackrell.
the top 10. Kako hasn't been great. Byron's been
Turcotte.
hurt, unfortunately. Turco, like you could have had Cedar. Cousins
Cider
has been
stuff.
maybe a bit better, but you didn't take Broberg. Like there's
There's a
not
couple
many
on
guys
there.
that you look at
2019
and
was a
you
good
go,
draft, I feel like. Like, for who's played already, it's been pretty good. Like, Caulfield's in
Oh
there.
yeah,
They got
like
Spencer
so.
Knight.
Hughes has played 158, Kako 150, Doc 140, Cousins is almost at 100, and then there's a bunch of guys at 50. Caulfield, Newhook, Krebs is at 40.
think
Bjorn
Cam
Fort's
York's
at
getting in the lineup.
97. Wait, what?
I think Cam York's been starting to play for Philly lately.
Oh,
and he'll
yeah,
probably
Cam
get
York's
more
played
ice time.
19.
That's
Thomas Harley's played 21. Yeah, it's going to be a good draft. And obviously put Coles in, Zegers.
I love that Thomas Harley pick when the Stars made it. Like the Stars have
Yeah.
been really good at hitting on those mid first round picks.
Oh,
to just
yeah.
get, like, guys
That's how
that
you avoid mediocrity. You have to like when you're not picking 21st and you're not 31st and you're not picking the top 5, you have to hit on those mid picks to keep refreshing the guys that leave.
And that's why Boston, I feel like, had trouble for those years because they couldn't hit on those
they
picks.
whiffed
Well,
on
they got
those 3 in a
Pasternak, but
row.
then after that, it was like
They put all their eggs in Pasternak and then they
and
picked.
McAvoy. McAvoy was a good one too. I think they picked
That's
him, like,
fair, yeah.
13. McAvoy's been.
But yeah, I think the
very
team that's probably been the worst at that, and it's probably also because they haven't had picks, has been Pittsburgh. Because like I think their only first round pick in like 8 years has been
Sam Poulin.
it's Kapanen and it's Poulin, and it just doesn't scream a whole lot.
Well, and that's why, like, I feel like guys like Mike Sullivan should get a lot of credit because he really works with what he's got and he gets the most out of his players. Like the fact that Evan Rodriguez is probably going to get like 40, 50 points this year is stupid.
It's
Like,
incredible.
so stupid. Like Drew O'Connor's going off for them.
Yep.
Like they got Jeff Carter's found the fountain of youth on that team, which is hilarious. Crosby and Malkin are still Crosby and Malkin.
Yeah.
And like they've been injured. Like guys are on and off. And like
I know and like Chris Letang has like a sneaky like 50 points, and it's like
he's been amazing this year.
I was looking at the defensive points because everyone's talking about like the Matthewses and the McDavids and all that, and I saw like Yossi had like 60 points and like
Yossi's having the
Letang.
quietest
He has like 70
worst-
points, I think.
He has
Now.
the
Like,
quietest
I
worst season
was like,
ever.
what the heck, dude? This man's gonna run away with the Norris, and he's not being talked about as a good player at all this year.
Yep. This is like one of the highest. Like I feel like 2018-19 was high scoring like this too, where everyone was just.
there's been a lot of drunk games, like a lot of crazy
Oh
games.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
goaltending has taken the night off a couple times this year. Let's just put it
I'm pretty
that
sure
way.
like the NHL save percentage, like average save percentage, like it's been
It's gotta be
dipping
good.
month by month. Like it's like I think I saw it's like 902 or 903 or something. Like it's
Yeah, it's
getting
really
bad.
low.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised.
And it's crazy. Like you'll see all these guys that are having these like renaissance seasons. Like there's guys that you don't even talk about. Like he's cooled off, but Troy Terry still got like 48, 49 points this year, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's
like
I remember the start when it was like Troy Terry and Mangiapane, and everyone was like, "It's these two guys. They're the new best." And
They're going to the
He's got 30.
Olympics.
He's got 32 right now or something like
he
that.
has he has kept it up. He's been great, but like, I do remember when they were like, "He's got to be an Olympic roster."
Yeah, I remember
Like-
that. He's gonna get it over Huberdeau. Like, okay, guys. Wish I could have saw that so Alan Walsh could have went off on the Olympic
Oh.
committee.
God,
This
that
you?
would have been funny.
Oh, jeez. Like, and that's like the best part about this year, though, because like you can have a guy who's having like a tremendous season, and you're not even gonna hear about it, probably. Like,
Nope.
not even gonna hear about it. Like,
There's so many players popping off. McDavid could win the Art Ross, but there's also a bunch of other guys that could take over and win. And like I know Austin Matthews has 45 goals, but like I just saw Chris Kreider has 40. Like there's guys that could catch. Like nothing is.
Chris Kreider's gonna have more goals than his career high in points this year.
It's
Oh
insane.
my god.
Like he's very close to that, and it's kind of wild. Like one of my favorites that isn't like out of the water, but I've told Pierce this. Like Trevor Moore's got like 35 points in the Kings right now, and no one's talking about that. Like that line of him, Arvidsson, and Danault is like the best line in hockey. Quietly, like one of them.
Yeah.
Like I remember we've been watching the Hawks play Boston the last couple weeks. I'm like David Pasternak's having like the quietest 30-goal season I think I've ever seen in my life. Like
Kyle Connor has 38 goals.
Kyle Clark's been lighting it up this year. Lighting it up.
Dude,
5 on 5, 5 on 4,
What the?
4 on 5. Like
Yeah,
crazy.
you take a look at the points. You're like, oh, there's these guys on top. Okay, and you're like, oh wow, what? That guy's up there. What? Holy,
Yeah.
he's got that many. Yeah, it's
Pierce,
crazy.
you were right. Yossi's got 69 right now. He's got 17
Nice.
goals.
He's a beast.
Nice.
Beast.
What the hell?
And I remember when people were like, Carlson should win the Norris. And I'm like, well, Yossi actually plays defense, so let's give him the trophy.
give him the
Who
trophy. but everyone was
who's
like,
Yossi been playing with this year? Like,
Probably Carrier.
yeah.
he's been carrying him.
Carrier,
Oh.
Abel, or Myers? Which one is it? Because they got like 3 righties. And those
Either way, like,
Yeah,
he's
it's
been
Gary
carrying
Beaver
him out.
is.
And yeah, it's not like,
Yeah, it's not
Not
it's not
crazy.
Ryan Ellis anymore. That's for
No.
Yeah,
sure.
or PKC.
and it's not Jan Ruda. It's somewhere in the middle.
Jan Ruda.
It's not Eric Branson.
Actually, hasn't he been
Or
good this
big
year?
or big.
Yeah,
Ben
with your
Hartman.
buddy Nikita Zadorov.
God, dude, those two have been
Actually,
so good, and
I like
everyone
this
was like,
one.
everyone was like, analytically they're gonna suck, and now analytically they're good. And everyone's
The
like,
Daryl Sutter effect.
Literally. Like Daryl Sutter.
Daryl
love him or
Sutter is
hate him,
the
he works.
he's
He's
the
got a
coach
show
version
call,
of Bill Zito. He
honestly.
can acquire anyone, and just it goes from red to blue.
You
It's
guys will play my way, and we will win. And
We will
when
win,
they
and
have
you'll like
done.
it.
And when they're
Yeah.
doing well like this, it works for guys like Coleman who are having a down, like not like the year you would want Coleman to have off that contract, but
No.
he's going to be great for
Mhm.
the playoffs, so it won't matter.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
Sean Monahan's been better as of late. Not
dude.
great.
Colorado,
Mhm.
Colorado, Calgary conference final, please.
Yeah, I heard.
But that would
I
require
heard they're
Colorado
still
to get past the second round.
good point.
That's true.
I heard Calgary's trying to shop Monahan, which would be kind of crazy.
If they could somehow find a way to move that $6 million cap hit,
Mhm.
ooh,
I heard there was two
Monahan
teams
for-
like potentially interested. I know they're talking to the Sabres about it, but he has a 10-team no trade clause. So like that becomes hard. How do you get somebody who's not a bottom 10 team to take that? I just don't see it.
Monahan's tough because like
Yeah.
they signed to that extension when he had that big year with Gaudreau, and then
And
he's just kind of
he's fallen off.
regressed.
Lindholm has
I-
taken his
yeah.
spot completely.
I thought when they got
Oh,
Lindholm, that
jeez.
line was going to be so good. And
Kachuk's like, I'm taking that spot.
Remember
Sorry,
when
that's
it
my
was
spot now.
Gaudreau, Monahan, and Hoodler in like 2015?
oh my god, I forgot.
We talked about this,
Gary
Pierce.
Hubler.
2015 Flames are a fever dream. Like that
Yeah.
whole team.
That never
They
existed.
beat Vancouver.
Jonas Hiller in net, like that.
Yeah.
That did not happen. Red O'Bara
Hey,
as the backup. That did not happen.
Kerry Ramo.
Carry
Oh.
fucking Ramo. I
Oh
blocked
my
that
God.
out of my skull, and you just put it back in.
And then a Matt Stajan hat trick against Vancouver.
I do remember that. Matt Stadium. I was at.
God.
We were on like a newspaper field trip in high school, and like I didn't get to watch any of the games for Game 6. So I was like, oh shit, the Hawks won, and then like I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
that was the same night.
I was
it
like,
was
oh,
a
the
Friday.
Flames game's
I
on
remember
still.
it.
Let me
It was a
check that.
Friday.
It's 7-5. I'm just like, what the fuck just happened?
It's perfect.
Oh.
Oh,
And then they
man.
got fucking trounced by Anaheim.
Well,
And
yeah.
then Anaheim lost to Chicago.
Because no team
Yeah.
can stand that many hits, buddy.
That's
Best
God,
quarter
where
of
are
all
they
time.
on here?
One of the most underrated rivalries of all time is Taves versus Kessel. Or not Kessel, Kessler. One of the Ks.
There's too many of them now.
one of them damn Yankees.
Is Kessel going to get traded? Speaking of Kessel.
I forgot about
I don't.
Kessel,
I don't
honestly.
know. Arizona's a tough one because like they should
You can
move
get a
Kessel for
second,
any
right?
value, but like,
Dude, trade Kessel back to Pittsburgh.
do it, please.
Nah, send him to Toronto. I want Max Gas.
Oh my god.
Oh my god! And then it just adds to the flopping. It's great.
Could you imagine Kessel, Nylander, and Marner all at the on the ice? all
On
at
the
once?
same line. Oh my
Yeah.
Oh,
god.
Like a
that's
power play
that's
unit.
no defense.
Oh my god. Well, Marner would play defense, but the other two wouldn't. And
Yeah,
I
that's
just
right.
watched-
He's
I
a
watched-
two-way winger, don't you know? He's better than Patrick Kane.
Haven't you seen all that blue on his chart? Come on now. Just
I have
saying.
seen all the blue for pucks over the glass penalties.
100th percentile.
my favorite. My favorite.
It's
Oh,
the
yes,
only.
puck
It's
over
the only
glass.
analytic that matters.
Yeah, I'm into
man.
advanced stats.
Pucks over the glass for 60 and
penalty,
lakes for 60 are my only analytics. These are the only ones I go off of.
All right.
Who else do we got that's going to be traded this deadline? Because like I don't think Kessel could, but I just don't see it. Like
All right.
JT
So I
Miller's
don't-
not going to be traded. That's the
JT Miller's gonna get that. Like he's gonna get more than Hurdle. I don't know who's taking
Yeah,
him.
Vancouver's
and
gonna
then,
go
like,
in half times 8 with Miller because they're Vancouver.
Vancouver's gonna be like 8.5. He's like 12, and they're gonna be like deal. That's gonna be the shitty.
You
That's
know
gonna
what?
be the-
We'll even throw another $500,000 per year. We'll go 12 and a half. We'll give you the McDavid deal.
Give him McDavid. 'Cause he's
I don't
such
know
a
on-
walker room presence.
On the bottom teams, it's kind of hard because they're bottom teams for a reason. So I don't really know who they're gonna move. Like Montreal, now that Sherrod's gone, do they move Gallagher?
Who would want that contract though?
I don't know.
Ugh.
I still
and,
think
like, they're not-
Lekkonen's the most movable piece there right now.
Lekin is probably the best one. I don't know if they're gonna get the first they want for him, but who knows?
Yeah, they're stupid. Like I can't stand
Um,
that. They're like, look at his charts. He's got 13 goals, first round pick. I'm like,
13 goals and he's a defensive monster. And it's like, okay,
Kelly on
counter.
that, and he just got a second and a third. So there's your
Counter ratio.
a
Have you considered
ratio.
this?
Leave me
ratio by Kelly
Um,
Armcroach trade.
alone. Arizona's got like Kessel. I don't know who else. They already traded Labushkin. Do you try and flip Nick Ritchie now that he's playing good?
Can you imagine?
Oh,
They get like a
that-
second round pick for him.
That I can't think. Do you try and like trade one of these projects? Do you think Galchenyuk has any value? I just don't.
Retain half.
Yeah.
Someone wants Antoine Roussel for the playoffs.
Jay Beagle
Jay
and Louis Erickson.
It's got to be Jay Beagle.
Is he even playing right now? I don't
I
know.
don't know. I
have
think
no
one of
idea.
them's been hurt the whole season.
It's Arizona. Everything's just it just happens there. I don't even think they put it on. I don't even think they have an injury report. If people were hurt, they're just like, yeah.
Do we know the Coyotes even
They're
exist?
down
Do we have proof that they do?
I
don't
mean,
think
shit. They didn't have proof of like the rent or whatever.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
God.
Oh,
that happened this year, by the way.
Such a clown show of an organization.
one that might be interesting because I heard his name to Toronto. It was from Ottawa. I wonder what they do with Forsberg, the goalie.
Ooh. And that's
Former
a move.
Blackhawk, part of the Brandon Saad Artemi Panarin trade, and
'Cause, like,
Forsberg. So has a
he's-
920 save percentage this season, apparently.
He does have a 920. I have it up here. He's actually really good. He's got 284 goals against as well. So like they have Murray, can't get rid of him, and I think they have Sogard in the minors. So like they kind of have a
Yeah,
couple.
Phil
No, they,
Gustafson, yeah.
yeah. So like they kind of have a couple things. They move him.
You got to sell high. You got to sell
Yeah.
high on Forsberg. You
You gotta
got him
sell
for
high.
nothing. You got him off waivers, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, from Edmonton, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Couldn't
Oh, no
they
way.
use Forsberg right now?
Honestly, good for Forsberg because he got put on waivers during last year's COVID year like 3 times. So he
Yeah,
couldn't
like
play
I
hockey.
remember
yeah, he went
that.
from
I
like
remember
Carolina
that.
to Edmonton, and then I think he ended up in Ottawa. I think that's
Yeah, he
right.
couldn't play hockey for like 2 or 3 weeks or a month. I forget how long it was, but like he had to go through all the quarantine stuff. So I'm glad he's
Yeah.
doing great there. But like
Hmm.
that's the kind of guy Vegas should be all over. If they get
Yeah.
gold. Like,
You know who would be great? Because like I think Toronto would be a good one if they want to get rid of Mrazek, and Vegas. Those are the two that are the best. Because like if Leonard's out and you need someone to be there to play with Brossoit, it's those two teams.
and you could
it's-
tank
it's-
100%.
It's the only. And I think you could get like a decent bidding war, and you could actually get something for him.
Yeah,
But
I would think you could, and if you can't, then that's just bad asset
That-
management.
then you're just a bad GM. But then
Yeah,
again,
exactly.
it is Pierre Maguire, so who knows?
Oh God!
Get freaking Pierre.
I am
You've been
telling
sent.
you right now, Christopher Letang will be an Ottawa Senator come July 13th.
I
And
hope
Chris-
so.
Hey, and Christopher Pronger will come out of retirement. and play.
Christopher Pronger.
I need it. I need it.
Bro,
That
Chris
would be
Letang and
perfect.
Jake Sanderson's gonna be the pairing night 1.
Oh, it's gonna be
And
so
Scotty
good.
Niedermeyer too.
God, I
Because he
can't-
just loves it.
All the old guys.
Nah, dude, they're gonna go get Scott Stevens.
Oh,
Scotty Stevens.
Need
let's
more
do it.
size.
Wham!
Need more
bring
size.
everyone back.
Kabam! It's a double Dion.
It's
Yeah.
a double.
no! I forgot it was a Sen.
It's the Daily
He's coming
Double.
back to the Senators.
That's
Oh,
terrible.
God. Oh my jeez. Yeah, I agree though.
man.
Forsberg should be all over
Mhm.
goalie trade markets.
Yeah, the only other Sen I've heard on the move was like Nick Paul, maybe.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who else they move. Like I don't.
Nick Paul's the
maybe-
kind of guy Tampa goes and gets
Yeah.
and makes him way better.
I don't think
Like,
anyone's like really knocked. Maybe Ennis. He's having a decent year and he's cheap.
I always
I
thought
don't think
Tierney
anyone-
could get a pick, but like
Tierney maybe, but doesn't he get $4 million?
you retain half. I mean,
I guess
I'm
that's
pretty
fair.
sure he's
Yeah.
having a down year.
Yeah.
So
It's like maybe you move Connor Brown. They have a lot of like mediocre. I guess that's why they're in the bottom 5. So.
Yeah.
Mediocre.
Yeah.
they're only like Josh Norris is having a hell of a year, and that's about it.
Yeah, well, and Batherson
Rick
was
Batherson
before,
until he got it.
before
Yeah.
Aaron
That
That
Dell.
stupid play by Aaron. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
bad.
I was hoping he was like expelled from the league, but unfortunately, this league sucks at everything.
What was the
He
joke?
doesn't know
It'd be a
what
bigger
to give
punishment to
anyone
Buffalo
anything.
if they didn't suspend him.
God,
God.
I don't even know if it would, dude. He's such a bad goalie. He's so terrible.
I remember when he was the Leafs third goalie, and they were like, "We have goaltending."
We can't lose him on
Devils
waivers.
immediately picked him up on
Yeah.
waivers.
We have goaltending, not anymore.
Yeah. What is this goaltending you speak of?
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, we don't know. Come on now. I'm trying to I'm like going through the teams in my head right now.
That's
I'm like
the
trying to
NHL
think.
this year.
Like the Hawks are gonna trade like the 3 bombs, and they're gonna get nothing for them. Like we know that.
Yeah,
Anaheim's gonna trade their guys and get a bunch of picks.
it's gonna take overall.
Seattle, I still think has more than just Jared Allen to give if they're creative.
Yeah, well, like so they already got rid of Yarncroc. Do you think anyone calls on Treager?
I think people are gonna call in Johansson if anything.
Yeah.
It's just
Maybe
like a
Johansson, yeah.
cheap depth
Yeah.
pickup for the playoffs. Like,
They have. I mean, like, listen, they did draft like 17 defensemen. They could probably trade one of them.
The
Who
Rocky
knows?
Mountain defense, baby.
my favorite defense. Carson Soucy should be a guy everyone's looking at too. He's
Yes,
got 1 year
yes.
left. He's great.
Absolutely.
I think I'm trying to like think of the defense. They're not going to trade Adam Larson. He's got
And
time.
I don't
They're
think
not
they're
gonna
I
trade
think he has a
Siak,
movement clause as well, or like a no trade
Yeah,
clause. I could be
I'm pretty
wrong.
sure that it's either if it's not a full move, it's like a 16 team, and it kind of just it limits
Yeah.
it a little too much.
I'd love to see Seattle get creative with Vegas and try to like get one of their roster players to give them cap space because I feel like Vegas is going to need the cap space eventually. You could give them a cheap roster player with cap.
Absolutely, yeah.
I just don't see because like if I'm Seattle right now, I want picks and prospects because you got to fill out that prospect pool because besides
course,
Matty
yeah.
Beniers, it's pretty thin right now.
It's it's rough.
I mean, it's year one, so like I'll give them that.
Yeah,
but, like,
it's.
Yeah, they didn't have 3 first-round picks like Vegas had.
I was gonna say that's the
Yeah,
big
they-
downside where they just didn't get
didn't get a first round pick for not picking like what was it? Fucking
Anybody.
They didn't get a first in March show for not picking Mark Pissick or some shit or whatever.
No, it was
Oh,
Alex Petrovic, I think.
Whatever,
Oh,
some bummy
God.
defenseman.
Yeah,
God. And I know Mark Pissick's been fine this year in Buffalo, but like that's all.
I
he
mean,
is.
at the time it was not worth it.
Yeah,
it's
not
just-
a chance in hell.
No.
Marshall just got off 30-goal year. Like I remember that. Like
Yeah.
ugh.
And didn't they also get Riley Smith? It was like Smith and
Yeah.
Marchessault. And then they got a first
They
to
had
take
to pick Riley
Grabowski's
Smith.
contract.
Yeah,
They just got
and-
gifted everything. It was
It's
so
bullshit.
good.
It's
Yeah.
bullshit. And then everyone looked at Seattle and they were like, "Yeah, fuck you. We're not doing anything." And also, it's on Seattle because they could have had Vladimir Tarasenko. So
Absolutely, could have Tarasenko. Could have done a lot of cool things. Instead, they were like,
They could have done a lot of different things. Like they picked John Quenneville from Chicago. They picked who did they pick from Philadelphia? Carson
Carson
Twarynski or something.
They
like
picked
that.
like I don't like JVR, but like
Yeah.
I get that one. But like I don't get Tarasenko one bit. You
No,
could
the one that-
Vince
that-
Dunn's fine, but
the one that cracks me up the most was the Columbus pick where they picked Gavin Bayreuther and then didn't resign him.
Yeah,
And then
that's
2
right.
days later, he signed in Columbus, and it was like,
Welcome back to Columbus.
why?
and I love how everyone was like, "Don't worry, guys, we're gonna make all these trades." And they made 2 trades. They traded
They
Tyler
traded
Pitlick.
Pitlick.
for a
I think
fourth.
they traded Tyler Pickett
Vitek
and then they
Vanacek
traded
back to the
yeah.
Capitals.
Mhm.
God.
I just want to see Seattle
yeah.
develop well because I feel like they can. I want it like that's a good place. Like that town
Yeah.
is amazing when their team wins, and they're going to need a team to rally around. Now that the Seahawks should have sucked dick. So I really think
Seahawks
Seattle's
suck.
got to step on that one.
The Mariners suck, dude.
Seahawks.
The Kraken
Mariners-
could really take over. And
They
like,
should like it's just
Yeah.
them and the Sounders, literally. Like people are just
They
not going
have
to
the
Seahawks
Sounders?
games. That's for sure. Like I don't know, man.
Lucky.
Like there's a word, and like I love that they kept McCann. Like that's what you should do. He was their
Mhm.
leading goal
Yeah,
scorer.
that's a good extension.
That's a guy you keep.
Mhm.
I'm going through the roster like in my head right now. I just don't think because a lot of these guys have like a year or 2 or 3 left.
Yeah.
Like, it's
and a lot
probably
of them
not
are
the
young. You're not
Mhm.
going to trade Dunn. I mean, Eberle's not young, but I think he's like 3 years left. You're not trading
You're not going
Eberle.
to trade Gord. You're not going to trade
Yeah, it's-
like Donskoy maybe, but he sucked this year, so that's not happening.
Donskoy is like, yeah,
Mhm.
you're going to get like a 5th. So like
Yeah.
maybe you do it and you don't care if he doesn't resign, but like they don't have the knockout player to really get something. Which
I'm
is
not going to
unfortunate.
lie. I think Pierce, you've mentioned this before. They should be all in on Johnny Gaudreau this summer because they will have the cap
Absolutely.
space, and you need that top star. And like, dude, Gaudreau with Beniers when he comes up, come on.
It's going to
Come
suck when Giroux re-signs in Philly for like $4 million, and then they throw $12 million at Gaudreau, and everyone's gonna be like, "Yay, it's
No,
all
Yeah,
gonna
so
be
Al-
it's
We're
Kadri.
not-
It's Kadri. They need the toughness.
yeah."
They're gonna
but
throw 10 at Kadri.
Gaudreau's from Philly. It just works so perfectly.
Or you can go to New Jersey.
I have heard New Jersey too, but they just
Mhm.
spent on Hamilton. They only do that once a year or once every 10 years.
Yeah, and they got Bolts coming up and stuff. And man,
Well, and I think
I was a
Hughes'
Dawson Mercer
contract kicks
truther
in.
at the draft, and he's been amazing this year. Like,
God, he has been so good.
Lucas
I know people were like, I remember people were looking at his like junior analytics. And they were like, his analytics aren't that good. And I'm like, yeah, but Dawson Mercer does stuff that not a lot of NHLers do, which is go to the fucking net.
Yeah.
So,
Also, looking at junior analytics and like NHLE or all that,
Completely
it's just
different.
like it's a very flawed stuff for right now because you don't know how they're going to grow.
It's not complete. Like it's not
Yeah.
advanced that much.
It's also so hard because you can't project. Okay, so this guy's going to Pittsburgh where they have an elite staff for that, and this guy's going to Buffalo who doesn't. Which one's going to turn
Someone
out?
could have someone could have like an illness or injury. I remember Andreas Janssen went in the 7th round in 2013 because he had asthma problems. Like how do you account for that?
I was
He
gonna
was
say-
going to be a top 5 pick until he had pneumonia. Remember?
Yeah, I
Then
was
he
going
went
to say
15.
it's like yeah, that's the big one. I mean, he still sucks, so who cares? But
Yeah, Adam Boquist was supposed to be top 5. He went to 8 because of concussions. Like,
there's a lot of guys like that who like the whole year they're like, oh, this guy's going top 5, and then He doesn't. Who was
Hell,
the guy?
Morgan Riley played like what 10 games his draft year with an injury,
Yeah.
and he still went top 5.
Who was
I
the
don't
guy
think
that
he
went
played
last year?
I don't even think he played that. Like Brett
Sure,
Conley
last
didn't
year
play
was
at
hurt.
all his draft year.
No,
like,
he wasn't hurt, but he was went to Anaheim. Pastujov. He was like everyone was talking about how this guy's gonna be so good, and then he just kept falling, and
Of
he
course
ended
he
up
goes
going.
to Anaheim. Fucking
Anaheim's
hell.
got such a deep prospect pool. I need the Hawks to pry Sam Colangelo from their dead hands. I'm so serious.
He ended up
It's never
going
gonna happen.
66. He was in the 3rd round. That's insane.
But don't worry, we got Colton Dock, his brothers. Pierce.
He's not doing bad, but
I know Colton Dock's been doing fine. Since he's gotten traded, he's been great. But like,
It's a really nice sentimental
first-round
thing.
pick, man.
It's a nice sentimental thing, but like when you
And
look at
that's the
around,
thing. I said this. Like,
Yeah.
if Kirby is in the Blackhawks system, if he isn't in the Blackhawks system, do they draft Colton Dach? No.
probably not. But it's nice. It's like the Arizona Coyotes taking Josh Doan. It's a nice thing.
I forgot.
But
about
like,
that.
if that 2nd round pick doesn't turn out, and you look at who went right after it, like with Klimovic, who's on like Vancouver's AHL team and he's killing it. Stankoven was there, Chybrakov.
Oh my god.
There's some nice players, and it's like if you missed out on them just to take Doan's kid,
that's tough.
is it really worth it?
Yeah.
I'm harping on the Sabres this season in the 7th round. Take Middlestats brother because it's the 7th round. Who cares? What are the chances you hit? But like,
yeah, you don't do that with
do
a
it with
second.
don't do it with the 3rd
pick,
unless the guy's actually that good.
Yeah.
Which in this case, Doc, if he turns it around, he actually might end up being.
Yeah, Doc is
not
like
the
a
shot. He just has no
Yeah.
skating. I've known that since preseason. Like,
Well, you can work on skating a little bit. It's everything else. If he doesn't
thing-
have like,
my thing with skating is it's like Dylan Strom. Like, it's only going to get to a certain level, and it's never.
of
gonna get
course,
higher.
yeah. If you're not an elite skater, you're never going to become one. If you're a terrible skater, you can become a good skater. And it's if you
Yeah,
have the
Jonathan Harris
package,
is a perfect example of that.
Brian
Like, his
O'Reilly,
skill is
too.
never something to write home.
you have to
Yeah.
find the right skill set to play with that. You can't be McDavid with not McDavid speed. I mean, you could probably still be it, but you're not going to be able to do those flash in the pan things.
Yeah.
You have to kind of mold your game, like you said, around
Unless
the
you're
bars.
Patrick Kane. But that's why Patrick Kane's so good laterally to where
Yeah.
he doesn't have to move up and
Yeah.
down the ice to where he can do that. Like you said, though, you need a certain tool set to do that.
Yeah.
And
You also gotta like know where to be as well.
That's
Like,
you have to have
and
insane
kind of
hockey
conserve
IQ.
your energy.
You're always
yeah.
going. You're not going back and forth all the time. You're going to the right spot, and you're there whenever the play's happening.
Mhm. Another guy whose foot speed I wouldn't say is great is Shane Wright's coming out this year. Like, I wouldn't say Shane Wright's got elite skating, but
No.
he's got everything else to go with it to where it's going to
Yeah.
be fine.
Exactly.
And he works so well around the net. Like,
He's
I
a
don't
great
know
net-
who-
yeah.
yeah, I don't know who you guys would say would be the best skater in this upcoming draft.
Oh,
but,
man.
Oh,
like,
that's a tough one because there's some real burners, but like
Mm-hmm.
the burner's not always the best skater. Sometimes you
No.
want the guy who's got the
What
elite
is it?
edge work,
Kasperi
too.
Kapanen, and he's super fast, but he just skates himself in a corner.
skates to the
Exactly.
corner and does a little button.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah,
he does.
so like it's going to be tough because like you have to wait and see how they adapt to the NHL and which ones grow into it a bit. But
Mhm.
there's going to be a couple guys in the top 10 who are absolute burners.
I feel like Savoy could be a burner when he gets to the league. Just because, like,
I
his
don't
speed with the
understand
bar.
the hate for Savoy from some people.
I
Is
know
he
why.
deep
He's
in
under
this?
5'10". I think
I,
he's 5'9".
I get
Braden
that.
Point
He's-
is right there, guys.
he
They need
is
to get rid of
5'9".
that.
Dude, even Logan
Braden
Cooley
Point's
is like
5'9".
5'10".
Like, come on,
yeah.
guys. Like, ugh.
But like, I saw people who were like, "Yeah, I don't want Savoy. Give me Nemec, who's fair, right-handed defenseman,
Yeah.
big, whatever." And then
They
they're
had the
like,
Olympics.
Kemmel's
Cooley
another
and
one I
this
know.
and this, and they had like Savoy 12, and I was like, "Dude, are
Yeah,
you an
that's-
idiot?"
Savoy
He's
and
gonna-
Lambert are two guys who are someone's going to get really late, and it's going to be fine. Like,
It's
Brian
gonna be
Lambert hasn't
Columbus.
had a great year. And
I am
someone's gonna pick him up and
praying.
he's gonna be fine.
I'm praying
That's gonna be
Buffalo picks
Columbus
3 or
with our
4,
pick.
and we get Nemec because he falls, and then we get the 14th or 13th pick, and Savoy or Lambert falls, and I'm just going to be freaking out the whole time.
Dude, Lambert and Buffalo would be fucking chills.
Oh,
and
God.
then Nemec to put with
Scenes.
power for the next decade.
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
Oh, baby, that would be fun.
That would be,
like,
yeah.
This draft's gonna be interesting because, like, who's the oh man, Slavkovsky, isn't that his name?
Yeah.
The big power
Yeah.
forward.
The
Like, he's
Olympic
gonna- his
MVP.
stock's gone up.
Mhm.
Like, it's gonna be interesting. Like, obviously, he's not a foot speed player, but he's the kind of guy who, like, from the highlights I've seen, at least, like you said, he's got high hockey IQ. He
He's
goes
got a
in the
hell
right
of a shot.
areas.
He's got a
Yeah, when
great
you're that
shot.
big, come on now. Like, gotta love it. I'm just excited
Yeah.
for this draft that we don't have a first round pick.
Oh yeah,
Love it. Love it.
that's the worst part.
Like we had Scott Wheeler on the show. We were just like, so who can we get in the second round?
Yeah. Who could be the next 39th overall?
Which one of these
David
guys
Goyette
right
or
here is going to
43rd,
drop?
Yeah.
David Goyette truther. That'll be me.
Oh God, I love it.
My favorite game at the draft is who does the NHL video game highly overrate that's going to suck? Because I think this year it's Nathan Couture because he somehow has elite potential in that game.
Really?
God.
Yeah, Nathan Couture's got like elite potential. Or Gaucher. I don't know how to say his name.
I think it's either Gotcher or Gauthier because I don't know if he's French or not, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. But like he's got ridiculous potential in NHL 22, and I have no clue why.
It's insane. Where like who was it? It was Julius Honka. He went like the third round, and he was always meeting Melita Lowly, and it's like, why?
Joe Valeno.
What?
That's right.
Yes.
Joe Valeno always had like medium league. Remember Alexia Gravel had like medium starter potential?
Oh my God.
Alexia fucking Gravel. No, and then what was the other one a couple years ago? Nico Dawes, who's in the league now.
Oh,
Nico Dawes
yes.
had elite potential a couple years ago.
Dude, you can go so far back. Guys who were just like Hunter Shinkarik, way back.
Oh my
Sven
God.
Baertschi. Dude, you're going back to like 2012, and it was like they didn't even have elite. It was like 5 stars, and it was like,
No, it was like the letter.
was it the letters? Yeah, you're
potential.
right,
Like
because
A
it was the
plus,
stars.
B
Oh
minus,
my
whatever.
God, dude, that's crazy.
That was like
It's-
NHL 12.
That was.
The glory days before they went to
Good
next
days.
gen.
I am curious about because what's going on. What happens with some of the Russian kids?
Dude,
Like,
I'm
oh,
curious
did you
what the fuck's
see-
gonna happen to Michkov, man? Like his stock better not drop because of this.
I don't think so. That's a terrifying one because there's two. Obviously, you don't know what's going to happen, but he's also signed for so long. Isn't he signed for like 4 more years?
3 or 4 years, yeah.
I think he signed a 5-year deal last year, so he's got like 4 left. So you'd have 3 left when he's drafted, and that's.
You guys see the KHL is like promoting the war too? Like they
Yeah.
have to.
I mean,
Did you see what
it's
happened to
kinda
Ivan
have to.
Marashenko? Like he was supposed to be like maybe a guy.
That's
in the
okay.
top
So
10,
that's
but
why I have
think he has-
highlighted. That's why I've highlighted right here, and I see he's dropped from like 8 to 30.
Yeah, he's like in the 30s now, which really
And I was
sucks.
like, I feel
he's
so
supposed to
bad
miss
'cause
next year as well.
he's Russian and he has Hodgkin's lymphoma. So I'm
Mhm.
wondering who takes the shot on him. Does he drop a lot? Do you see him go in the second?
Yeah, someone who's gonna have multiple picks, definitely. Like,
Someone's
if
gonna- yeah.
You only have one first-round pick. You're not gonna
you're not going to do
spend it
no,
on
but
Marashenko.
Columbus. No, not that.
I could
late.
see Arizona doing it because they'll have their first, and then they also have
the Infinity Stones. Of
Yeah, they have like
picks.
5 second-round picks. So
they have Carolina and Colorado's first, and right now they're projected to be in the Cup Finals. So they would have the 31st and 32nd pick. So I could see them taking them there, or maybe like you said, one of the 7,000 seconds they have.
it's literally the Infinity Gauntlet with second-round picks.
It's so funny. That's the first time I've seen Cat Friendly's page actually have to like stretch.
Oh, it's amazing. Like, come on.
It's so
Like,
good. It's so
listen,
good.
that's how you do a rebuild if you're gonna do it. Just get all the picks. But now you gotta hit on the picks. That's the hard
That's
part.
the second
Now-
part.
Now the Magic
Don't take-
Beans got a
You
harvest.
stripped it all to the bones now. Like stripped it down to studs. Now you actually got to do the hard.
You got
part.
all the second round picks. Don't second kid.
Literally. Like,
Don't collect all of the Dones, please.
And like one thing I've talked with Pierce on the last couple shows, because like obviously like the Hawks are like entertaining the offer of Kane probably in the summer and stuff, and I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, we can go ground zero with this, but look at all these other teams.
Look
that
at
went
what
ground
LA did,
zero.
man. Like they didn't trade all their they
Yeah.
kept Kopitar, they kept Brown, they kept Doughty. That's gonna be
That's
the
not to
same-
say you build around Kane, but you just keep him and not unless like I say every time with these guys, unless there's an offer that rocks your socks off, you don't take the
Don't
trade.
do, yeah. You
an
don't
offer you
always
can
have
set
to
your
trade a
watch
player.
to.
It's crazy, right? You don't have to do that. You could take the freaking normal route and just keep your star player. But like obviously, if someone obviously I'm pissed off Ranger fans here, but if Alexi Lafreniere is on the table, you take that. Like there's
Yeah.
just no way around.
Now, in fairness, what they're going to offer you is their 17th best prospect and a 5th, and they're going to say, take it or don't talk to us.
We're gonna say
We're
Kraft's
gonna
on
get
the floor.
We're gonna get Lieber Hayek for Patrick Kane.
No, that's why I
That's
love when
if
they're
you're
like, yeah,
lucky.
Colorado wants Patrick Kane. I'm like, I am not going to the well of Joe Sakic in division nonetheless. to
Oh my
trade Patrick
God.
Kane.
Unless
Unless you're
Byram
getting Bowen
Newhook,
Byram and
yeah,
Alex
yeah.
Newhook. Get
I
the
was going to
fuck
say,
out of here.
Pierce, you just got to do what you did in 21 and get
Exactly.
Newhook and Byram for Kane.
That's what you did in 21.
Yeah, and a first round pick and Uniscon.
You got a
score.
I
first
feel
Newhook
like less
and
this year
Byram.
for Kane than the year before then. Because, like, what'd you get this year? Kako and
I
Lundgren?
got
Kako,
Kako, Lundqvist, and I think
Lundqvist.
a first. Yeah, not as
Yeah.
much, but still
Yeah.
pretty good.
I remember one
that
year.
I
that
remember
GM
one
was,
of the admins. Who was it? It said that trade was not good enough for me.
that was Kyle, I think, who told
Oh
me.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it was before you took over.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. I still can't believe. I'm like, I'm fleecing this guy. How did he agree to make the trade? I don't remember who it was, but
I want to say his
also
name
like
was
a year
Jack, and he quit.
yeah, I
2
think he
months
quit
later.
right after. He's like, "Fuck."
Yeah. I've made a grave error. Goodbye. Oh man.
I had, what was it, like, since the trade deadline's going on in Sheet League, I think Niels hit me up a couple days ago,
Oh, of course
and he's
he did.
like, let's make a hockey trade. And I was like, all right.
An
lay
old
your offer.
fashioned hockey trade.
I literally was like, lay your offer on me. And he goes like, all right, we're going to go Pacioretty and Pietrangelo for like Farabee, freaking like McCann and something else. And I was like,
So-
I literally just gave him the thumbs down. Didn't I was like,
So- He is the king. Niels, I want you to understand, if you ever see this, I love you. You're a great kid. You're still a kid.
Niels is great. It's just I
He-
accepted that trade.
In 21, he did the same thing where he was like, he had JVR and he wasn't producing, and he was like, I'm gonna do a sneaky, and he offered JVR, who was an 85, to anybody who had an 80 overall medium top 6 player, and he was like, hey, Jason Robertson for JVR, hey, Maxime Comtois for JVR, and he DM'd like 14 people, and we all sent it in the group chat at the same time. He's like, I thought someone might have said yes. And we were like, you're an idiot. Stop. I don't want your old shit for my young stuff.
Literally, like I've seen so many of those trades. Like, I think like I was talking to Mitch at one point about trying to do like a Gore trade, but now I'm with my team where I'm just like, I need Austin Matthews to stop sucking. That's what needs to happen because what's going on with my
He's
team?
so bad.
You know what? I need my
Jeff
team to
Carter's
not-
got like more points than him. Like, what the fuck?
Austin Matthews and Alex Barkov in this year's sim are so terrible. And you look in the NHL and you're like,
Yeah, that.
what the hell's
correlates.
going on?
Dominic Susan was onto something. No.
He was right.
Maybe Marner does stir the pot with Matthews. My
God.
God. Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah, like
I need my
Listen-
team to not be in the damn central. Like I'm in a wild card spot and I'm on
Oh
pace
my
for like
God.
almost 50 wins.
Pierce,
So-
trade spots.
you want to trade spots?
Let's put Toronto out west.
Oh, God.
Back like in the good old days.
Oh man.
Yeah, Pierce.
I love how like people who don't know that this is like a sim league are just probably like, what the hell is he talking
What
about?
what,
Matthews
what
has,
kind of
like,
alternate
25
reality
goals
are these
this
guys
year.
talking about? Yeah.
This is a great alternate reality where at the trade deadline, Winnipeg and Colorado have 90 plus points.
Bro, what is
Chicago's at
Winnipeg
7.
on this year in the sim?
I
Like
don't-
honestly.
Nikolai Ehlers is like gonna be a heart.
Nikolai Ehlers has like 100 points, and I traded Blake Wheeler and a first for Eberle to like handicap myself because like I was trying to like
Yeah.
whatever, and Eberle has 78 points. It's fucking hilarious.
Awesome.
What is
It's
the test?
good.
Test failed successfully.
Task failed.
Task failed successfully.
Me trying to make it so like players can demand a trade. Okay, I'm gonna screw myself so I can do this to other people. And Mitch was like, "I'm in," and then Eberle became the best player in the sim.
God damn it, man.
Poor
Like,
Mitch.
And then like my favorite's Patrick is always like posting his trade block, and I'm just like, buddy, no one wants your shit.
Buddy, please understand. No one wants Charlie Coyle. He's
No
making
one wants-
$5,000.
I gave him Charlie Coyle.
There was
for,
one
like-
point where I wanted someone from him, and it was when he was dangling Crosby for a bit, and he was like, "Well, they probably wouldn't even approve the trade." And I was like, "Whatever, bud. I'm not
Whatever,
making a trade for anything else."
Oh man.
Don't
It's,
worry, someone's gonna overpay someone this offseason.
it's
Jonathan
crazy.
Taves is getting 14 mil from someone.
Not if I offer him that first. Oh wait,
He's gonna
I
go to
do have
Boston.
him still. I was like
You
confusing
have,
him
I
and
was like, you
Kane.
do. I was so tempted to offer to go to you and be like, "Okay, you can have
It's fine.
Strome back. I want Jonathan Taves."
Hmm?
But
Pierce
So
is
we still,
here
we still
first
got a day
up.
to make things happen here. Hmm?
we
Welcome
do this
to
for
the
that
trade
got
deadline.
extended today.
Sheet League edition.
We break a sheet league trade on the podcast.
Oh my god.
Let's get the board in here to approve this real quick. Just like 8 people join the
We
call.
need,
guys,
we need to
guys,
fax this to the sheet league front office to make it go.
Oh
through.
man, it's
Oh,
perfect.
jeez. Oh, that's funny. Is Nashville still available though? Because I might dabble and pick up a second team. West.
So we have a
Someone
very
took Nashville.
interesting conundrum with Pat, where Pat was like, I had to go to him and be like, Pat, you have to do something. And then Pat was like, I do everything. And he's made 4 trades now, and they all suck. He picked up Shea Weber.
Yeah, that's right.
You can see his face where he was like, "You did what?"
Okay. Yeah.
It's a. I don't know if you want them. They're a travesty. He has
Okay.
ruined
Yeah.
them.
Never mind. I'm good.
Just wait until
You
Dallas
want
GM
trash,
stops
Will.
responding, and you can have them.
Word.
Oh my god, please
Okay.
give me Rupe hands, thank you.
He's trade for Tyler Seguin, 21 legend.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna make a blockbuster trade and trade Jamie Benn for conditional 7th.
For future considerations.
To Niels.
Man. Actually, Niels. Oh no. Okay, it was Vegas in the first sim, which was Mitch actually traded for Jamie Benn.
That's right. He traded for like Kachuk and everything.
He traded for Mitch is the craziest. Where like this time he was like, I'm not gonna make any blockbuster trades. I'm gonna have fun. And then
I joined
Tarasenko, Price.
Mitch hit my lineup immediately, and I was like, oh yeah, we're making this.
He wanted Patrick Kane too, but I don't think Kane would have waved to Seattle.
No.
I tried to get like really good defenseman from Carolina for Marner, but he was taking way too long to respond. So I know. I was just like, give me my guys.
Give me my guys.
I should have taken his first.
I want my phone call.
Next year, not this year.
I want my picks.
And of course, I have New Jersey's first, who's like amazing.
And now they're good. And
New Jersey's always good in like an NHL sim though, because all those prospects like pan out super well.
And Seattle is like 5th last. So when he traded that first to St. Louis for Tarasenko, he now has, and St. Louis is like 2nd last. So he might end up with Bedard and Mitchkov. It's crazy.
I picked the wrong fucking pick from him. I should have picked Seattle.
There's like 2 chances. So there's that the St. Louis one, and then Arizona's last, and Vegas is 8th right now. So, and they have their first because of the Chychrun trade.
No, we know what's happening, boys. I'm not making the playoffs, and my first round picks win the lottery, and I'm getting
Bedard. You imagine Toronto with Bedard and Matthews? I would actually cry. I would cry.
Tavares is on the market, boys.
No one wants him.
Hey. Johnny Toronto's a point a game right now in the sim. Put some
respect. You're not wrong.
Johnny Toronto's carrying.
Put some re 91 pecked on his name.
Oh God, no.
Geez, but enough about sim hockey. Let's get back to real hockey.
So
did we ever get to Jack Eichel?
We did not get to the Jack Eichel.
I really want to hear. That's the reason why I wanted you on. I'm like, I want to hear you talk about Buffalo, but we haven't even got to that yet.
We haven't done the Jack Eichel drama.
What'd you think about Eichel's return to Buffalo? His comments, and also who do you think Buffalo could sell for the trade deadline?
I am do all of these in 5 minutes. No, the return to Buffalo was great. Because like at first I was like, okay, let's see how he does. I want to root for him. You know, I don't hate him. I didn't like how it all went down, but it happens. Return's been great. I love Tuch. I love Krebs. The game was amazing.
You might get the 11th overall pick.
When Tuch stole it from Eichel to score the empty netter to seal it, I was screaming. That was the highlight of my that week. It was amazing. His comments after though were like, I think people started to see where the issues are coming from. And I don't mean like he's a locker room, but like he's a little bit of a bitch. Who comes out after the game and says, oh yeah, it took 7 years in them trading me to cheer.
He's got a little bit of an attitude to him. Yeah, definitely.
He does. I mean, listen, after getting booed, I can understand it. But then everyone was like, hey, Jack, remember the video when you like came here for the prospect tournament and it was 20,000 fans cheering for you? And then silence. But listen, you go to a new team and they're 4-9 since he started playing.
Ooh, they've lost 5 regulation games in a row for the first time in their history. That's crazy.
I can see the frustration.
So
yeah,
it is stupid. I can see the frustration mounting. You get geared up for this game against the team where you feel like they slighted you with the surgery. Whether you agree with the CB or not, I think they should have just let him get it. It doesn't, whatever.
And that's kind of the thing. You bring that up. Like I didn't even think about that. Like if Vegas is winning and like on a winning streak, and that's like they're coming off a 7-game winning streak and they lose that. Does he make those comments? I don't know because like
probably
that must be tough right there. In
like
Vegas
he's supposed to be the guy who came in and took them from contending team to like the best in the league. And he's done his job. I think he's like a point a game. He's got 5 goals.
He's not the problem right now.
No.
He hasn't been the problem, but there's been so many problems where like I can see the frustration. You go through all this, you get out of a bad situation, and you're immediately plunged into one where everyone's making fun of you. I can see the issue, and I can see where the comments come from, just anger of what's going on. As a Sabres fan, though, it's absolutely funny to hear them because like it's like, dude. You asked for a trade a year before you got hurt, a year or 2 into the whole like 8-year extension. Of course you're getting booed. You were here for 4 or 5 years. No one's going to be like, you weren't Ryan Miller. You weren't Hasek. You didn't take us anywhere. There's a lot of fans who are just going to be like, well, you just quit on the team. And they had the right to boo, and he has the right to be angry about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say one thing with Eichel is he's a very emotional person, and he's on and off the ice, and that's what makes him
Absolutely.
as good of a player as he is. So like that's why like when guys like him or McKinnon snap, sometimes I'm just kind of like, that's who they are. That's what makes them who they are.
That's
like,
nice seeing it too. Yeah,
like come on.
The thing that sucks is after that, if they had gone on, even if they had the 3-game losing streak and Buffalo was the 3rd game, he makes those comments. If they win the next 3, it doesn't matter. But when they keep losing, and if they lose the next one, and now there's like 3 teams behind them with like 2 or 3 games in hand and a point or 2 behind, and it's like
freaking Vancouver's on them.
Bruce, there it is.
Yeah, Bruce, there it is.
I can see where like everyone's just starting to laugh at them now, and it's like, we want you to fail. You make these stupid comments. This team has never seen any sort of struggle. Screw you guys and all that.
I get why the rest of the league's talking things. I'm on the side, like I get where you're coming from with your side, but from my side with Eichel, I just kind of feel bad at the moment because like we have not seen this Vegas roster 100% healthy. Probably won't till the playoffs.
No.
He doesn't have Mark Stone, who probably was the reason they got him to play with Mark Stone.
Absolutely.
When you're playing with Chandler Stevenson on the top power play, there's not going to be as much production as you would like.
Of course, and
but he should be used there.
He should be. I mean, fuck, he was playing with Reinhardt and Olofsson. Like, you can't tell me there weren't guys. Maybe not Reinhardt. That could be Stone, but like, you know, there's got to be like they have to do something. And I don't know if it's like they're in a tough spot. They're over the cap, and you can't go out and get players without dumping a load of cap to bring everyone back. So how do you get better? You really don't. You kind of just have to ride it out this year. It's super tough. Like if you move Riley Smith and Mark Stone comes back, you're now over the cap, and you haven't gotten better. Yeah. What do you do?
Shit happens in hockey.
Just to get under the cap. Like,
I don't know why they took that enough back. That didn't make any sense.
That made no sense. It made no sense at the time. It still
like they didn't give up a lot. I think it was a 3rd and Holden, but like
not
the cap space.
Add that to another offseason trade. This trade made this offseason that either sucked or didn't make any sense.
That's a trade that you would think would be the other way around. Where like they're getting rid of Dadonov and you get
getting rid of Dadonov and you get Holden, who's just cheap. Yeah, that made no sense. But hey, listen, that is what it is.
Kelly McCribben's the GM, right? So I guess Kelly McCribben's kind of going to the NHL GM or NHL 22 GM mindset to where you're just kind of going rapid fire with all your trades.
Just get good players.
Yeah. Just like who cares about chemistry? Who cares about like actually developing a coherent team? Like just give me names.
Yeah, much like with Toronto this offseason, if they don't make it, I don't know if they have to do a crazy move, like not like a Marner and Nylander, but I'm curious to see what they do to make the team better.
That might be a good thing for them though. Because they've played so much. They've played so much playoff hockey the past few years. Like they really haven't had an off season at all to kind of relax. Like,
I think
kind of get the team good back to health. Like back to health.
Conference finals lost to Montreal. Conference finals to
Montreal. That's so funny.
What was it? Was it San Jose? It was Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas. They lost to San Jose in the first round. And
they lost round one to the Sharks.
Yeah, the Cup final to Washington. Dude, it's just been nonstop playoffs. Maybe they need like a quick first round exit or to prioritize.
Dude, maybe like they just tank the rest of the season and get like a good prospect. You know what it reminds me of? The 2016-17 Tampa Bay Lightning where they were just injured to shit. Like I don't think they have that amount of injuries, but like when you look what Tampa did afterwards, conference final loss and then the President's Trophy win and then 2 Stanley Cups. You know, like that might just be the reset.
Sometimes, it's interesting. Anyway, but back to the Eichel thing. As a player, and for what he did in Buffalo, I still have fucking 4 of his jerseys, and I have a Vegas one. I love the guy. I love him as a player. He's so fun to watch. If you didn't have like McDavid and Matthews, he probably would be my favorite forward to watch because he just does stuff that makes you just go, how?
Wow.
I feel like one thing I don't mean to cut you off, and one thing we say a lot with Eichel is if McDavid was not number 1, he would be number 1 every other year.
Absolutely.
Every other year.
You like the only one you would make an argument for might be like the Matthews year, but like after that, the first round picks, is he better than Jack Hughes? Absolutely. Lafreniere, absolutely. Power and Dahlin, absolutely. This guy is like on his day, he's a top 5.
Nail Yakupov. No,
that's why I remember initially when the Vegas trade happened, I was surprised the return wasn't more. I thought you guys were going to maybe get another roster player with it.
I thought we might have got like another pick or a prospect. Like I thought they wanted to go 2-2 and a player. But I have no complaints because with the injury status, it's very hard to move a guy. And like, as long as the first is not like 31st, like the Reinhardt one's gonna be, I'm happy with it.
If it's a teens first, that's a great win. Like honestly,
For
which
sure.
it's looking to be right now. I don't unless Vegas goes on a heater the last 20 games and gets
Yeah.
placed.
I
Because
have
they
no
can.
complaints. I have no complaints about that offseason because we absolutely killed the Risto trade. That won't,
Yeah.
even if we just got second, that's crazy.
That's
Risto
worse-
fucking
that's
sucks.
That's worse than the Seth Jones trade for
That's
Philadelphia.
terrible. The Eichel trade I'm happy with. Even if it was just to reset everything, like just to say like, hey, we're moving on. You got the right player with Tuck because he looks to be like the next captain. It worked perfectly.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Tuck wants to be there. How
Tuck
many
and
people
Krebs,
want to play in Buffalo?
Tuck and Krebs both want to be there, and I'm so confused why Krebs does. But every interview he's like, "I want to play here," and I'm like, "Why?"
Isn't Tuck from
'Cause
Rochester? Isn't that why?
No, he was born in Calgary, which I just
What?
learned is pretty cool. Yeah,
Wait.
Okay, I thought he was from New York.
no, I'm pretty sure Krebs is.
Oh no,
no, not
yeah,
Krebs. I
Krebs
was
is
talking
from
Tuck. I was
Calgary.
talking
Yeah.
Oh, Tuck.
Tuck
Yeah,
is
sorry.
from-
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I was like,
Tuck's from-
I was like, Tuck's from. Yeah,
Tuck's from Rochester. Yeah, Krebs is from
that's what I
Calgary.
thought. Okay.
And Tuck's. I understand why Tuck wants to be here. Krebs, I don't. But every interview, he's like, "Yeah, dude, I want to win as a saver." I'm like, "Why? What are you doing?"
Win over the fans, baby.
Why?
I haven't heard this in years. Stop, please. You're scaring me.
Maybe it's because like Vegas never gave him a chance. Like they
Maybe.
never gave him a legitimate chance.
Yeah, maybe
they
he's
never gave
bitter
Cody
about
Glass a
Vegas.
chance. They never gave any of these guys a chance.
It's kind of funny. Vegas, their first four overall or first round picks they've traded now. Krebs, not Batherson, Brandstrom, same team.
Suzuki.
I mean, Cody Glass really should not a first round pick talent, but
He was
And
the
then
first one
Suzuki.
picked out of those three, by the way, which is
that's
hilarious.
so funny.
Like it was
like,
it was,
the other-
it was Glass, then Suzuki, then Brancham. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there could be two really good players there, and maybe three if Brandstrom ever gets a chance in Ottawa.
When he goes to
That's-
Chicago.
when- yeah, when he's
That's
a
a
Blackhawk,
guy. That's a
he's
guy I want to see get moved because he really deserves a chance somewhere. And they just now with Sanderson, he's not going to get one. And with
The
Shabbat,
coach hates him for some reason. I don't know why. Like, that, by the way, we talked about it on this show a lot. That Mark Stone trade does not get nearly enough shit. They didn't get a first
No.
with Mark Stone,
Yeah.
which is
That's
crazy.
No, Eric Brandstrom was the
Mhm.
prize prospect.
That's
coach, you know.
insane. I remember seeing that trade, and I was just like,
what was the
Doesn't make no
Pacioretty
sense.
one? It was Suzuki,
Pacioretty
Tatar.
was
Suzuki, yeah.
For
Was it
Tatar
Suzuki, Tatar in a
and-
third?
Mhm.
second. It was the second.
Oh, was it?
Because wasn't the
Suzuki,
second? I don't want to say the second was Romanoff because I think Romanoff was the pick that.
No, it's in the Blackhawks trade.
Yeah,
for the-
I know
for
Romanoff's
sure.
a part of some pick, some trade that I know, but it's that one. But they did get a second for him. I know that much.
Trade.
I don't know. I don't really know Montreal's picks that well, so I don't know. But
You are right. It was the second. Yeah, Suzuki second in 2019 and Tatar.
it's a good
That's
trade for
29.
Montreal, man. And they got far.
It's not bad for Vegas either. Petre's played his best hockey there, probably.
Patrick
Yeah,
just can't
Patrick's
stay
been
healthy.
really
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's like all of Vegas right now.
I know.
Let's see,
yeah.
2019 Montreal. See, Vegas had another second. They picked Caden
Brendan
Corbett.
Brisson, you're on the clock. They trade all their firsts. You're next, buddy.
He's coming to
Or
Chicago.
what's the Goldberg meme? You're next.
Yeah, I don't. Then Montreal might have flipped that pick unless they took this kid, but he hasn't played yet. But it's still 2019, so he's got.
Nick
a chance.
Suzuki's going to be a number one center for them. So like,
Oh yeah,
like,
that's
the way
that's,
Nick Suzuki's developed defensively has been amazing. Oh my gosh,
that's unlike the Stone one. That's a win-win, and I think the Eichel one, even if
it'll be a win.
Vegas wins the cup this year, which I don't think they will, but I think it's still a win-win because Buffalo got what they needed and they got out of that situation. But the Stone one's terrible, and I really wish they had gotten Carlson instead because it would have been funny.
Oh
But-
yeah, remember when Carlson
they-
almost went to the Lightning, bro? Like, oh my
He almost went
gosh,
to the
that was-
Lightning, he almost went to Vegas, and then he went to San Jose.
But yeah,
Yeah,
he
it's
went to
just-
San Jose.
Man,
Anyway.
imagine how different the Lightning look right now. if they
Then you
trade
were
for
talking
Erik Karlsson.
about who Buffalo might trade. Buffalo's got a lot of players who are kind of not great, who I think they move.
Vinny
No offense.
Hinostroza, welcome.
That's the
Hinnestro-
Blackhawks too.
Hinostroza's a big one. I think he gets the most, which is kind of well. Actually, no, sorry. I think Colin Miller gets the most because right-handed defensemen are stupidly overpriced.
Isn't Mark Pysyk a UFA?
He
Maybe
is.
he'll get something.
He
I
might
don't-
get.
I
the
think
most.
Buffalo holds on to Pysyk because they have
Really?
like Dick All for right-handed defenseman, and he
Owen
he has-
Powers, future defensive partner.
it's gonna be Darlene and
Jason
then,
Demers comes plays with him.
it's Darlene and Demers and then Power and Pysyk. It's perfect.
Oh man.
The PP pairing.
Like they might move Robert Haig. I don't know. I don't think they get a lot for him. Craig Anderson's the interesting one because like they've kind of given him the no trade clause kind of thing where they're like respecting it and they're like, hey, we're not going to trade you
gentleman's
anywhere you
agreement,
don't want to
yeah.
go. Yeah.
That's what the Blackhawks have done with Fleury.
I don't know if they do that with I don't know what they do with Olofsson. He's
Really, the
doing
Rangers were interested in him.
He's
I
doing
saw
nice
that.
pay raise. Well, maybe not a nice pay raise, but his qualifying offer is $4 million. So like, kind of turns a couple teams off because he's been pretty meh. He had that 40 game stretch where he scored 2 goals.
He's literally Kubalik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of the Rangers, real quick, Alexi Lafreniere just got his first career power play point. That is fucking.
That's hilarious. I was gonna mention earlier because I looked at my phone and I was like, oh, the Sabres game started, and then we were talking about something. I looked at my phone like, oh, it's 2-0 Edmonton. I'm not going.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, that's right.
McDavid
Like, my phone's been going off, and I'm like, oh, the Oilers scored, and I didn't even pick up the fact they're playing Buffalo.
Yeah, McDavid scored, and then Yamamoto scored for McDavid. And I was just like, you know what?
Future Blackhawk Taylor Yamamoto getting traded for Dominic Kubalik.
Yeah. The only other okay, this is one that might get traded, and it just doesn't make sense because it's Cody Eakin. I don't know who's going to give up assets for him, but someone's
going back to Vegas.
Yeah, I was going to say Vegas.
Please.
And then you get Riley Smith.
Yeah, we'll flip Smith for a third. Who cares?
It's like a 3-way trade. He just immediately leaves Buffalo.
It's perfect. They get Eakin, the Rangers get Smith, and we get Kravtsov. Perfect.
Fair trade. I see no problems.
It hurts Vegas. Let's go. Yeah, we were talking about how the free agency pool is a lot of nice top end talent. I feel like if you want a cheap depth piece, Buffalo's got enough in a couple spots where you could walk out with somebody, but they're not getting. Besides Miller, I don't think they're getting substantial picks, which is kind of what it is. I just want to see movement because then you can see Quinn come up, you can see Peterka come up. That's all I really want. But
I was gonna say they kind of made their big moves in the offseason too. They got their first round picks in the offseason. That was what they got. They have 2 firsts or 2 extra firsts this year, and they have 2 extra seconds next year. Yeah, that's gonna be nice.
Absolutely,
for sure. I was curious. I don't know if you saw that report that they're looking for a top 4 D-man in the market. I don't know exactly what that entails, but
so I read it and I was talking to my dad about it on the phone. So they mentioned Chychrun, and then they said the price for him would be Eichel. It was return. I was like, okay, well they're not going to do that. Mm-hmm. And then they said they might sign Chris Letang. And I was like, depends on how long. If you give him 2 years, maybe. But if you did stupid term, I'm not interested. And then the other one was Klingberg, because Klingberg played with Dahlin at the.
Ooh, sweet.
Klingberg is kind of nasty. I'm not gonna lie.
He played with him at the World Championship. They were the top pair for Sweden for something. So those are the 3 they shot. Yeah, those are the 3 they were talking about. They're not going to trade for Chychrun. It's just it doesn't make sense. They're not ready to win. Letang doesn't make sense. He's going to go to a team that's either Montreal because he lives there, or they're ready to win, or they're overpaying him. Exactly.
Christopher Letang to Ottawa with Christopher Pronger. Christopher squared.
It's all about the Christophers.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Other than that, though, I just don't see a right hand a defenseman out there that Buffalo's
how has Henry Jokiharju been?
Mm-hmm.
All right. First 2 years we had him, he was an actual really good top 4 defenseman. I think this year he's been terrible. And I'm talking dog water.
Damn.
They took him off of Dahlin's pairing because he's actually dragging him down defensively.
Wow.
I don't know what happened. He's been hurt twice too, though, so it could be that. But he did sign a nice deal, though. I think it's 3 years at 2.25, so they're not moving him. But I don't know. Jokiharju is kind of the guy that when you find the partner that works with them, maybe that's the guy that works with Owen Power next year. Who knows? He might work with Power, or he might work with somebody on the third pair. I'm not going to complain. Yeah. You think they keep Haig, a guy like that, or they bring up Fitzpatrick or someone? If they get Nemec and they bring in Power, and then you have Dahlin and Jokiharju, and then you have Samuelson is 22. They're going to have a defense core that's under 25. And I'm so scared because who's going to be the voice back there that's hey, stop fucking up, please. Maybe that's why they get a guy. They need somebody who's maybe. And again, if it's not for 10 million or something stupid, I'm not against it.
Like
Plus,
I feel like
I
Latang
like the way he
Dali
plays.
would be a hell of a pick.
Mm-hmm.
Like in terms of offensive talent, like Latang could quarterback a power play unit. He could do all that. Like,
Absolutely, yeah.
and
He brings 3 Stanley Cups to the room.
Klingberg age-wise, I think makes sense too because he's only
Klingberg,
like
I think, makes the most sense. It depends. I think someone's going to be stupid and give him like a stupid like 8x8 or 8x7, and I don't want anything.
He's gonna get the
to do with
Hamilton
that.
deal. He might get 9x7.
I just
I don't think he gets Hamilton.
I don't know if
his
he gets
point totals
9.
aren't that high.
Yeah, and Hamilton kind of had that pedigree because like I don't know why he just did. He was
Big.
He's a former first round
6'3",
pick.
right
he was the big. He was the big.
First round pick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the Luke Shen build.
The interesting one for me in the offseason is not so much defense; it's goaltending. Because like they're not going to play Levi in the NHL, that would be stupid, and they're not going to play Portillo, and like both of them are killing it in college. So they might go with like UPL, but like Anderson's 41.
Damn, they got some good goalie prospects.
Do you bring him back? Probably not. Tokarski's been pretty mid.
Oh my
Trying
god!
to do Georgia in the offseason?
Tokarski.
I don't know. If Fleury ever hit free agency, I would not be opposed to Buffalo like giving him like a lot for a 1 year or 2 year deal, just because like he would be the perfect stopgap. He's old.
That's what I want him to do.
He's older. He's experienced. He kind of like he can mentor the younger kids. It would be nice, but
and he's a great locker room presence. Like,
Yeah, he'll help Buffalo through a tough season.
yeah. I'm like trying to think of the goalies that are going to be available in free agency. Like a lot of them aren't on like the younger side, so I don't think it'd be like a bridge type situation.
Yeah, they're not. I don't think the only one that like I've heard of any like substantial length is Jack Campbell, and I don't know if the Sabres want to touch like a 5-year deal. Especially with what's coming.
Is the highest you go
with what's coming up to, like you're gonna have to make a decision. You have 3 young guys anyways. If you get somebody there for 5 years, you kind of just cap yourself into trading 2 of them for no reason.
Did
That's
Ronta
like
sign a
that's
1
like
year or
4.
2 year deal?
Who?
Antti Ranta, because I feel like maybe he could be a stopgap.
Oh, I thought he got 3 years in Carolina.
He got 3. I didn't know.
I thought he got 3x3.
I was gonna say like
that's good for him. I didn't know what his contract details were.
Buffalo can't do the same as Florida, where they signed Bobrovsky for 7 years when you drafted Spencer Knight. You cannot do that.
Yeah, that's I would don't want. Yeah, avoid that, please.
And yeah, I'm like maybe they trade for one of Seattle's goalies. Maybe like they get a Drieger.
Maybe.
Maybe they
that seems like a draft.
probably like one of Washington's goalies away. Like
maybe like Vidacek or Vidacek. I just call him
Vitamin. So you were right. Ranta got 2 years, so he has 1 more year after this one for $2 million.
So trade for him.
Yeah, stuff like that works, but have to wait and see.
Yeah. A name that might be interesting if the Hawks let him go, I think Kevin Lankinen might be a good option for y'all.
Yeah,
as like a stopgap because he hasn't really gotten a lot of starts this year. So.
Anyone who can play like a 1A, 1B, because I think they're going to want to go 40 and 40-ish kind of thing because they want to know what UPL is. He's I think 22 now, so they want to know. So they want somebody who's older, can kind of teach him a little bit, but isn't Craig Anderson old. Exactly.
I wonder if they trade for Hudobin when he's healthy.
Maybe. Would be interesting too.
Brain Holtby, maybe.
I think he has 1 year at 3.32.
And that's not bad. Like he would be that veteran presence. I don't know his injury history if that's maybe like the best move to make. But there's definitely options. Like let's just put it
absolutely.
There's definitely gonna be options this offseason.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The 3 first-round picks. It's going to be an interesting offseason for the Sabres, but
that's right. I think 3 of them.
I think it's going to be a boring deadline because once Miller goes, it's just going to be like, oh hey, we traded this guy for a 5th. Yeah, cool.
But like we said, like that's the offseason moves were the deadline.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless for some reason someone's willing to give up a first for Olofsson for some godforsaken reason, then you take that with open arms.
Speaking, I think you brought up the Rangers. I think the trade was like Olofsson for Georgiev, who's their backup goalie, and like some sort of prospect. So that might be their stopgap. They might go with those 2. But
I like Georgiev in Buffalo. I think that's a good fit.
Yeah.
Georgiev's going to go to some team and be a 1A.
He's going to go somewhere and play a little bit better because he's stuck behind Shesterkin. You're never beating that guy.
Like when Shesterkin's got the 3rd best season a goalie's ever had, basically.
He's insane, dude. It's crazy.
So goofy. Like that's the best part about this league this year. There's so many ridiculous
goofy stories that are they're nice.
Like Markstrom should easily be the Vezina front runner, but he's not, and he's got like 10 shutouts.
Yeah, he's got like 9 shutouts.
Does he have 9 shutouts? It's insane.
Freddie
crazy.
Anderson's having a career year. No one's talking about it.
And he's going to be like the 5th best goalie.
Yep. Thatcher Demko
God.
has been amazing, and no one's talking about that.
Hasn't
in
UC
Vancouver.
Saros been good? And like everyone's like,
Yeah.
he's just a dude.
UC Saros is the pot or the straw that serves the drink in Nashville, because literally, if he wasn't a 940 goalie down the stretch, they don't make the playoffs last year.
Absolutely.
Not a chance. Hey,
So Pierce, what was the last thing you had? Oh, the QMJHL
that's,
debut.
That's the last one thing I want to touch on because that's a good way to end it off.
oh, yeah.
Is it the 4th who's played in the juniors?
Yeah,
Or-
it's the fourth,
It's the fourth?
woman goalie to play in the CHL, I believe. It was Manon Rayom, and it was Charlene Labonte, I think that's how you say it. Then Shan Zabados, who played with Tri-City in the WHL, and then
Yes.
now I don't know how to say her name, like Eve Gascon, I think that's how you would say
Yeah,
it.
I think that you're on spot on there.
And yeah, she's playing for the Gatineau Olympiques of the QMJHL, which is pretty cool.
That's cool. It's because what is it? Goes back to the Tampa goalie who played in the it was the not the warm up. It was an exhibition.
Yeah, that was
game.
Manon Rayom.
Yeah, that's listen. It's cool if they can play, have them. I want to see the best players play. I don't care about gender, man.
Exactly.
They can if they can hang with the boys like they want to
Let him
say.
hang.
Let's do it. Put them in. I just want the best hockey on the ice. I don't care.
Yeah. We need to stop putting restrictions on putting the best players in the sport.
Absolutely.
Simple as that.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be restricted to one gender or one race or whatever. Just give me the best players, and I'm happy. I will root for whoever.
Support women in
hockey fans
hockey.
want that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
support women in hockey, support people of color in hockey, support people of any sexual orientation in hockey.
Absolutely. Go Luke
100%.
broke up. I hope he has such a great career. He seems like
Oh,
a
yeah.
wonderful kid. I want him to succeed so bad.
He's also based as fuck on Instagram.
Are you gay? No.
No.
And he plays for the Oil Kings. That team is
Oh,
stacked.
I love that.
Don't they have like 4
Yeah, they have
first-round picks or
Cooley,
something?
they have Kosa, they have
Gunther.
they have Gunter, they have
Oh god, dude, that team's so
they have a
good.
Blackhawks draft pick, Jalen Lupin. They have I know I'm missing some people.
Bring Tracy
Jake
on the team, or is
Neighbors.
that someone else?
That's
Yeah.
his Jake. That's the 4th. Yeah, dude, they have so many good players. If they don't win the Calder Cup, I don't know what's wrong with that team, man.
Pierce, you gotta go catch a game. You gotta go see.
Oh,
it.
I know.
That's gonna be
I
fun,
really do.
especially at playoff time.
I checked the tickets. They're like $50, and that's just
Yeah.
the regular season games. Like it's expensive, man.
I mean, that's Canada. Like, I wish the U.S. gave a shit about minor leagues. Like, okay, the Northeast gives a crap about college hockey, but that's about
Yeah.
Yeah,
like that's really about it here.
yeah,
I'd love to see I don't know. Like, I hope with this new I just need to see hockey in the U.S. grow, not just at
Mhm.
an NHL level,
Yeah.
but at a
Yeah.
systemic level. Like Tampa has actually grown a lot in the last 5 years in that regard.
Mhm.
They have 3 new rinks set up.
Yeah.
in the
That-
city.
that'll be great for the sport. Is always getting more people involved. So if you can get, not just the Northeast or not just the East, if you can get the Northwest and like even start getting the South, there's like 2 great players like Matthews and Thompson are both from Arizona. It's so cool. You can just have these storylines of people from like different places coming to play. It's awesome.
I'm very curious to see in 5 or 10 years who comes out of LA because of with the
Yes.
Kings winning those cups back
Yeah.
then. And
Yeah.
there's already people coming out of Chicago over the last
Mhm.
5-6 years because Chicago won
Yeah.
a bunch of cups, like Alex Turcotte,
Yeah.
Nick Schmaltz, all these guys.
Mhm.
That you need more systems like that around the U.S., not just Canada, so we can
Yeah.
get the most
Yeah,
It's a sport where we don't have enough.
Mhm.
There's a lot of sports where there's too much. Like basketball
Yeah.
is not enough roster spots and stuff, so you have
Mhm.
that problem a lot. Hockey,
Yeah.
there's still enough. There's still enough.
yeah. There's always enough, and because there's 20 kids on a team, if you run the 12 and the 6 too, you could always get more. I want to see it explode internationally. Have Sweden, have Norway, have Denmark. Just get these countries.
Finland,
Every year you're seeing new people drafted. It would be awesome.
Oh yeah, men and women too. Because I know
Yeah,
at least women's hockey overseas isn't developed as fast as it is in the North America right now. So I'd
Mhm.
love to see it kind of work both ways for
yeah, absolutely.
both genders because it deserves to be that way. Also, I don't know if this was on the list, Pierce, but I didn't forget to look too much into it. But they are joining leagues, or they're trying to now, right? For women's hockey?
Yeah, I can probably pull up the tweet because this is Jeff Merrick. Everyone was praising it, but then I saw some people I don't think this is a good thing because the NHL are they're gonna try. I don't know, but I'm just gonna read off what Jeff Merrick put.
Gotcha. Because like I remember when we were talking about this last show, and I was like, if they're gonna make a new league, that's great, but I just don't want the two leagues competing against each other.
Yeah. Sometimes competition isn't always the best, and especially in small sports or smaller marketed sports like that, where you start taking away from one, and then both of them aren't getting enough, and it kind of leads to failure. If you can get them together and you can get everyone supporting one cause, it's great.
I was gonna say this isn't like wrestling where you can have AEW and WWE. It's not the same.
You once you hit that level of popularity like wrestling, you can do it. But until then, it's you have to get there.
So this is what Jeff Merrick said. The NHL has asked the PHW, PA, and PHF to meet in an attempt to come to an arrangement that would bring the two leagues together. Details of the proposed meeting are now being worked on. Also, members of the PHW, PA were informed over the weekend of a substantial multi-million-dollar funding deal that would allow the proposed league to move forward. It sounds like an 8 to 10 year commitment. The PHF recently announced a $25 million investment in their league for the next 3 seasons, which includes not only salaries but also a health benefits package. The NHL has repeatedly said they are not in a position to support women's hockey while there are 2 competing leagues, and NHL teams themselves are hesitant to partner with any women's league without the blessing of NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman. Yeah.
Go fuck yourself, Bettman.
I hate hearing that.
All you gotta do is just support women's hockey.
Yeah.
It is the easiest publicity stunt if you really want to look at it like that. Because I know Bettman wants to look at it like that.
100%, it's an easy one, but like it's just I hate when we're not doing this because it's not only is it easy, it's just the right thing to do. It's not always about finances, and it's not always about it's not about the bottom dollar all the time. Sometimes it's about what's right. We all love hockey. If you wouldn't be the commissioner of hockey if you didn't at some point love it. So why don't you want to see it fucking grow?
I love how he's like, we're competing against each other. It's like, buddy, you're competing against yourself. That's all you're doing right now.
You're shooting yourself in the foot.
It's the wrong way to look at it because you're not competing against them. You should be competing with them. You should be together. How many more fans are going to start watching women's hockey and then they're going to start watching NHL hockey? How many young women are going to start watching that and then become hockey fans?
But I always told people to watch women's hockey.
Why do you think the women's national team gets so much attention in the U.S. and Canada? Mm-hmm. They get more attention than the men's teams, arguably, lately. Like, come on. There's a reason that rivalry is getting as much attention as it is. There's a reason some of these players
aren't they playing a whole rivalry series?
God, that's going to be so much fun if they are. I did not know that.
They played one game in Pittsburgh, and I think Marie Fleet scored those.
She did! I'm pretty
sure. She lives in my head. God!
I'm pretty sure they played they were supposed to play 7 games. I don't know how it went with COVID. But at one point, it was 3-1 Canada, and she had 2 OT winners before the Olympics. It was so good.
She's the good.
Oh, dude. And
it sucks because no one outside of Canada, unless you watch women's hockey, knows.
There's people in Canada who don't know, and it's so sad. It almost brings me back to when Canada was just starting to get good at soccer, and Christine Sinclair was one of the best players in the world. And you could talk to somebody who likes soccer, and they'd be like, "Who's that?
Who?
What? Huh? Come on, man." It's on the news every night. She's one of the greatest soccer players in the world.
3.5 million people watched the gold medal game in the U.S. And what is that what was it? 11 p.m. Eastern?
Yeah, on Wednesday.
It was the worst time to watch it, and people still watched it.
Yeah, but people don't watch women's hockey. 35,000. What were we saying last podcast? 35,000 viewers on a Twitch stream for hockey. Women's hockey.
People trying to tell me Twitch doesn't work and all that. Dude, you don't even have to use Twitch as the platform to do that. But there are so many options to push this sport, and you choose not to. And I feel like we say it all the time. I can't wait till the sport gets out of their own way. Oh my gosh.
I don't know when they're going to, because one of the things
as long as Gary Bettman's commissioner, they're not.
Even when Gary Bettman's not commissioner, I don't know if it's going to go away because there's so many people still in power who played it because they did stuff in the 80s and the 70s that was atrocious.
Back in the day when they gave each other
I can't remember if it was Gilmore or Clark who slept with a fucking teenager and it just got swept under the rug.
Gilmore.
And it's
literally
now he's one of the ambassadors, and it's you can't.
That was the Blackhawks with Bobby.
I was just said the Hawks just got rid of.
They finally
Bobby Hall.
Still got a statue, by the way,
how long has it been? It's not going to get out of its own way until it takes a deep look at itself, and it just purges 80% of the bad stuff. And I don't know if it ever could.
I hate being that guy, but like literally one of your best players in the fucking league got away with sexual assault. No one talks about it anymore. Like, I know everyone's talking about Deshaun Watson right now. That's exactly how Deshaun Watson's going to get treated in 3 years. No one's going to talk about that shit because that's how sports are, and it sucks.
It lasts for like a
3 weeks.
year, and then there's like the couple people on Twitter who joke about it, and that's it. It just becomes a joke, and it's so sad because like they don't care. He brings in more money playing, whether it's Deshaun Watson or whoever, then he brings in more money to the league than it would matter to get him out of the league for what he did.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Like if a fringe AHLer does this, they're out of the league.
Like, Evander Kane was bankrupt and somehow still got back in the league.
Didn't Austin Watson
look at Jake
the hell out of his wife?
Casey DeSmith, another one, still playing, still playing.
Simeon Varlamov, like there's the fact that you can name like 10 on a whole list
Slava
is
Voinov
disgusting.
is a classic one, fucking piece of shit.
That may be the one time.
That's the worst
where,
one.
like,
And then you try to make an NHL comeback. Piece of
I
shit. Looks good on you. Like
it's terrible, and that's what's always going to drag hockey down because it's not popular enough to overcome it. Football's at the point now where like they don't care. Deshaun Watson could come back and make them millions. No one, they're going to lose like 500,000 people because of it. They're going to gain that back in 5 minutes.
Won't matter.
Hockey's not at that point.
He'll be top 10 in jersey sales next year when he signs with them.
Exactly.
Tomorrow. Because, by the way, it's down to the Falcons and the Saints as of right now. So
I just saw that, yeah.
When he signs with one of those teams tomorrow, Deshaun Watson will be top 10 in jersey sales.
Yeah,
No one will care.
No. And in a year's time, people will be like, hey, you remember when that happened? They'll be like, didn't he get off? Who cares?
Look at this season he had where he had 4,000 yards. It's like, oh, remember when Patrick Kane did that? Yeah, but he won the MVP the year after. Like,
yeah,
just get swept. Like, that's why, like, I've told Pierce this many times, I'm so glad the Hawks sucked this year because if they were good, that shit would have got swept under the rug so fucking fast.
Yeah.
And it already kind of did,
already
which
is.
pisses me off. Yeah.
We still don't talk enough about it. Yeah.
No.
But it would have been
especially
more,
now that it's like come to the end where like now that Kyle Beach has come out and like I think they're giving help to John Doe too. It no one talks about it now. Like it was really just
everyone just thinks it's over now, but
like
really
Westhead was like banging the drum on it, and then once it all got done, it was over.
That's what I can't get over how like the NHL media for the most part was so fucking silent about it over the summer.
Because they're in the league's pocket, they get money from them, and they have connections, and they don't want to lose those connections.
It's incredibly embarrassing.
Lost a lot of respect for those.
Absolutely,
yeah.
If you were on but think of it. You're in Hockey Night in Canada, you're on the panel, you're on TSN, it doesn't matter. If you're the one talking about it, you're gone. They have that much control, they don't care. And that's disgusting.
The thing. If one person does it, they might get in trouble. What if everyone talks about it? Like, are you going to get rid of all of them?
You can't fire everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great in theory, but there's too many people who are going to think for themselves and say, I don't want to lose my career.
That's the thing.
And once you get 4 or 5 people doing that, the other 6 aren't going to do it because now now not everyone's doing it. And now you have one person doing it and they look like a dumbass. And
now he's xenophobic. Now he's xenophobic, so that's always fun.
I can't.
Rick West had the ultimate heel turn a couple months ago.
I can't believe what happened when he went from like hockey's hero almost and like one of the night, and then now he's agreeing with Dominic. I am one of the I have 2 Hasek jerseys. When I saw that quote, what he said about the Russian players, I was disgusted, and the fact that there were people agreeing had my stomach like. The kids aren't involved. It just because they were born there, it's not their fault.
No, none of them. I bet you none of them like want this to happen.
Do you think
now
Ovechkin's
players
in
players in the NHL that might be different, like Ovechkin, Malkin, but like that's a whole other separate issue we can get into.
But like imagine a guy like Vasily Podkolzin who just got to the NHL this year. He's probably scared shitless right now. Like imagine Artemi Panarin right now, who had to leave the country this year
to go get his family,
to make sure his family was safe because a news article was talking shit about Putin. Like, I don't think people realize how fucking serious this is right now. When it comes to if Russian players speak out, like they can lose their family.
I'm always scared that they're gonna ask like the wrong Russian kid who's a little cocky and just says something like fuck Putin, and then you hear on the story, oh, family of 5 dead and home, and you're like. That's terrible. How could this have happened? You wouldn't, but
swept under the rug.
In 5 years, you would. Something would come at some point.
When Putin's gone, but remember, he's going to live forever.
Gone.
So
he's like Queen Elizabeth, but in Russia.
He's Queen Elizabeth, but unbased.
Yeah, I do feel for Russian players right now though. It can't be
man,
easy, and like I gotta imagine the media is like it's gotta be super awkward every time you gotta do an interview because like you're like walking on eggshells the whole time.
You know it's coming, and
You're
have
trying not to
have it,
say
like,
the wrong thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Fuck,
You're trying
I
to
can't
say
imagine.
the not the wrong thing to the people who are listening, but you also don't want to piss off the fans. So you're trying to give like a politically
yeah.
correct
You're
answer
trying
that
to
isn't
like
going to get people
you're
killed.
trying to please both sides. You know,
And you
like,
can't in this.
No.
It's really hard.
You're trying to be a fence sitter, and you can't do that.
You can't. It sucks. It really is just an awful situation to be in general. Like I
Overall,
really feel for them. And I want to say one thing to the people in like Edmonton who were booing Ovechkin every time he touched the puck. Get a grip.
Not
Get a
not the right
fucking
thing.
grip. Are you kidding me right now? Like, come on.
I know Edmonton's got one of like the biggest Ukrainian populations.
Yeah,
in Canada. I want to
largest
say
in
they have like
Canada.
I don't know,
350,000 or 1
largest,
million.
Yeah.
But Ovechkin isn't the one you should be booing. He
No.
didn't do this. He's not over there killing.
He's not
people.
bombing Ukraine. He's not sending out the
No.
fucking planes.
Listen, jokingly booing Eichel because he
Completely.
backstabbed your team is one thing. It's funny, you know. You get a couple laughs out of it. I'm sure it's whatever. Booing a guy who's probably just against something as you are, or if not, he's at least against most of it, isn't the right. You just look like a jackass. You look like a dick. It's not his fault, and you're not helping anybody.
Like
doing
there's,
it.
I think there's
It doesn't
sense of
help the situation at all. Like,
No.
You're so right. Sorry, Chris, what?
I was just gonna say, like, I don't think it helps that he has Putin as his profile picture, but like, if you're like, I've seen
Yeah.
things where it's like, oh, Ovechkin's got like blood on his hands, like he's just no, I don't
No.
agree with that.
No.
like that,
But
he's not the one doing this.
he could also be so far in Putin's pocket. We don't know the deep political stuff. What if Putin has control over his family? What if
I feel he's
Ovechkin?
still in Russia, if I recall
What if-
correctly.
Like,
But you don't know what kind of deal Ovechkin could have made when he left the KHL or anything. There's so much shit we don't know that he
Yeah,
could be
that's
tied
the
to him
thing.
for life. And it's like, what? Do you want him
Something
to
you
just
can do.
publicly execute his family to make you happy?
Literally.
Is that what's gonna, like, you know? I don't know. It's
That side of the argument's only going to be happy when like Russian players get banned from the league or some shit, which is not how that should go.
and
What's so fucking bad?
Russian players are gonna get banned from the league, and we're not gonna support women's hockey. And then
Here's the
next
thing.
they're gonna
Just
get rid
become
of.
ultimate shitheads once again,
Yeah.
because like we're already
It's-
working towards that at this point.
Yeah,
we
it's-
cannot be xenophobic against Russian people because of the actions of one
Pisses me
egomaniac
off, man.
in charge.
Yeah.
Fucking off.
Absolutely. I mean, like, you know, it's the same from when World War II. You can't hold every German in contempt because of what
Exactly.
happened. It's
Yeah,
not
or Japanese people, you know.
or like, you know, even if they look at it us way or the other way around, you can't hold every American accountable for what might have happened for something else. Not
Yeah, in
everyone
Jap-
has the same political stance. Not everyone agrees, and even if they have the same stance, it doesn't mean they condemn what's happening.
Most people
could-
don't want like stuff like that to happen. Like
No.
the
No.
overwhelming majority.
Yeah.
It's just the people in charge that's what they want.
Well,
you know?
what
Like,
are
A
you
couple
gonna do?
people's decisions are going to hurt millions.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's sad. It's so sad.
Politics. That's how
Don't you
it
hate
is.
it?
The P
This
and
is why
P
we
just
do a
can't
sports
stand for
podcast.
politic.
Politics.
Political
is-
justice.
Where's Apollo when we need him, man?
Oh my god, dude! How you can have one person with the nuclear codes and be like, "That's it, I'm ending it right," and it's like, why? Have at least three, you know. Have a triangle, please. Do
Yeah.
something.
Fun times. But yeah,
Fun times.
Let's keep talking. I'd rather trust me. And as bad as it is, I'd much rather be talking about how shitty hockey is. Talking
Oh, yeah.
about well, shitty everything going on in Ukraine. Because every day
It's- yeah.
it's just something.
It's fun because with how crappy the world is, all you can do is post a podcast like this in hopes that someone watches it and makes their day better and it makes them forget. It's all you can do because like the world sucks and there's so much shit going on.
Everyone's got to have a form of escapism, and I really
Yeah.
and I remember when all the Kyle Beach stuff was initially going down. I had to really try to preach that on the podcast because like
Mhm.
We can get away
We
from
have
that
to talk
stuff. They
about it.
can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
there's you don't want to just make it doom and gloom and just,
Yeah. At
You
the end of the day, it's a hockey podcast, and you want to come on here. But I also, you have to take into account it's a hockey podcast, and hockey is a part of what? The world. And when shit's going on, sometimes you have to bring it up because it affects what you're talking about. If we talk hockey,
whether you like it or not, your sport is political, always.
Yep.
In 3 months' time, if every Russian player is banned, you're going to say, well, this is stupid. So now you want to talk about it because something happened? You should have been
only
up in arms before
only
when
if
people
it
were
fits
saying.
my agenda. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
kind
I
of
guess
like
if you were for that.
it goes back to like reporters not reporting on stuff when it needs to be reported. Like, you have a platform, use it, and that's just kind of
what we're doing.
Yep.
Moving
Looks
on
like the
to,
Oilers scored again.
I was gonna say, moving on to much happier news. Draisaitl just scored from high, man. That's his
number
40th.
40.
40? Damn.
Yeah.
40.
Draisaitl's a beast. Draisaitl is just so good.
I can't believe the hate he gets.
He gets the Malkin treatment, bro. I don't get it.
He gets
That's
worse
because
than
he doesn't play defense. If you
But
don't
he
play
gets
defense,
worse.
Dude, doesn't
you're
play
not
defense but
good.
gets 50 goals.
I guess once like Malkin won a cup and an MVP, everyone was like, okay, he's good. And like until Draisaitl, I guess, resurrects.
Even like
Jesus, people are
McDavid's
just
got
gonna
a bit of that right now.
Draisaitl had 110
I know.
points in 77 games. What
I
the
just
fuck do
don't
you
get it,
want him to
dude.
do?
He's so good. Like, okay, maybe he's not Matthews and McKinnon, but fuck, dude, he might be the 4th or 5th best player in the league. Why are you talking
He's
like
definitely
he's
in
like
the top 10. Yeah.
Why are you
Top
talking
5,
like
bro.
he's
You kidding
bad?
me?
I don't
I'd
know.
argue he's 3rd right now in my
It's
eyes.
it,
It's McDavid, Matthews, and Draisaitl.
The
It's-
Hertzer Ripper. He doesn't play
it's so
defense.
close though. Yeah, listen, he doesn't
It
play
is.
defense. So
The fact that
Nish-
McKinnon's taken a step back in like the ranking of best players should tell you how good those 3 have been this year.
oh yeah,
And like McKinnon hasn't even been bad. He's just had terrible puck luck. in
it's
terms of
funny
goals.
too because like at the beginning of this season, I was still unsold because of I know Matthews won the Rocket, but like it was the Canadian division, so everyone was like, so I was like, okay,
Mickey Mouse division.
I was like, okay, I have McKinnon second and Matthews third, and then after like 2 months, I was like, okay, I have Matthews way in second. People can change their opinion. You don't have to be stubborn
100%.
just because you don't. Listen, man, I hate Toronto. I hate everything. If you took Matthews out of a Leafs jersey right now, he'd probably be like my 3rd favorite player.
Literally, Matthews is my favorite player, not a Hawk.
So,
it's him and
like,
Pavelski, man. Like,
yeah,
there's the man. Oh, jeez. Like,
He's so good, and Draisaitl is maybe not
Just
just
as
as good, but like he is maybe like a millistep below him, and like treat him with like a little bit of respect.
Draisaitl's a way better playmaker than Matthews. I'll say that straight up. Like, his vision, I'd argue, is better than Matthews. His position, like, Draisaitl will make things happen with the puck that you just don't expect to happen. I saw him whip on a one-timer, and this thing still went top shelf.
That's amazing.
I'm
I
like,
love
this dude's a beast. Even when he fucks up, the puck goes in. He's a
He's
power
so
play
good.
menace. Like, oh my, you could put him anywhere in the power play. I've seen him play left circle. I've seen him play net front. I've seen him play right circle. I've seen him play top of the key. Like, he can play literally everywhere. And he can play center. Like, my favorite is people still gave him shit after he played a whole season without McDavid and led the league in scoring.
Yeah,
Like,
oh,
And I
he's a
can't
product
believe
of
Ken
McDavid,
Hogg's going to
and
waste their primes, McDavid and Draisaitl.
Yep.
It's
The
such
clock is
Hey, well,
ticking.
that year he got
travesty.
Athanasiou and Mike Green, though. And that was, like, kind of tough because Mike
Hey,
Green
they got
said, "Fuck
Dmitry
off."
Kulikov last year for a 4th-round pick or whatever.
It's actually funny how good some of those players became after they left. Like Athanasiou now is like, okay, he's okay,
Ryan
He said,
And-
"Athena, see you
and-
later."
and
Ryan
Kulikov,
Strome's pretty decent.
yeah, Kulikov's what like a pretty decent analytical defenseman for Minnesota. So like,
He's always been a defensive D-man. He's kind of like
Yeah.
Zadorov, where like the
I just like it. It brings me back to the if Pittsburgh didn't win the cup so early on, you would have had the same stuff on Twitter where people like, oh, they're wasting their primes, they're doing this and they're doing that, and they're terrible.
That was the discussion up until
That
they
was
won the
Ovechkin.
second one. Yeah, that was the same with
Yeah.
Ovechkin.
So like,
They were like Tampa Bay was getting that. Like, are they going to
Tampa was already
Yeah.
getting that with Stamkos 2016.
Mhm.
Like,
yeah, once they lost that cup final to Chicago, they just like.
which
Yeah,
by the way, if Tyler Johnson and Ben Bishop aren't hurt, they'd probably beat Chicago. Also, if Andre Vasilevsky's not 21, Andre Vasilevsky was 21 and let up 2 goals in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final.
That's pretty
like we knew he was the
That's
man
awesome.
back then.
That's
We
really
knew he
cool.
was the man back then. Like,
Not
Imagine
even-
a 20-year-old. That's awesome. I love that.
Like my
But
dad
that-
and I were like sitting at a bar in Tampa, right? And we're around all these Tampa fans, and Vasilevsky's going off. And I just like my dad goes over to the guy. He's like, "That's the guy you should have started the whole playoffs." And he was
I say this: if the Blackhawks don't get the performance they do from Darling in round 1, they might not even make it past
They
Nashville.
get beat
that
by
year.
Nashville
Yeah.
too. Because Crawford
guys
was
had-
not in his bag.
I loved like I listen. I hated the Kings, and I always like rooted for the. I don't know why. I just liked the Hawks better.
Good man.
Guys-
Well, before
guys-
all this shit, they were actually
Yeah.
fun to watch. You know,
You guys got some playoff performance from guys who were just like as a non-fan, you're like, who the fuck is Brian Bickle? And he had like what, like he just popped off on.
He was
Blauber,
Mark
like,
Donk before. It was cool.
He had
It was
8 goals
cool.
in back-to-back playoffs.
It was amazing though. You guys just like always pulled somebody out, and you always had the
Bickle,
mainstays. It was amazing.
Ben
I think
Stiller.
there's a debate for the best team in the salary cap area. Like you could say Pittsburgh is better than Chicago. You could even say Tampa Bay is better. I will die on this hill. The Blackhawks were the most clutchest team of the salary cap
Maybe
era.
you know what?
They-
Listen, I'll give you this.
Quinville never lost a game 5, 6, or 7 tied 2-2 until
That's
I
amazing.
think it was
Anaheim.
2016. Or no, it was
No, it
2016.
was Anaheim, which they won
Right.
anyways. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he lost one game in that era. Game
That's
5, 6,
amazing.
and 7 after tied 2-2. It's fucking
Uh,
nuts how close.
It's amazing though. Like that's
My favorite stat out of all that, they're 8-1 in in games that went past the first overtime.
That's
Yep.
so fucking cool. That's what I mean. Like, as someone who never had a team to cheer for, you just love these stories, and you looked at the Hawks as a team, and you're like, dude, Taves might not be the best player, but there's something about him that just you can't quantify. He's the man, and
I
it was
saw
awesome.
I saw someone say on the timeline yesterday, they were like, "Oshie over Taves." I was like, "You motherfucker!"
Oh, I think I saw that.
I'm like, I don't care if it's a troll, but like, I think you idiots forget how fucking cracked Taves was. From, like,
Yeah,
2009 to
2015,
2015.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was cracked.
There was,
it was
like-
nuts.
like don't
And,
get me
like,
wrong,
everyone's
Oshie's
like-
had a really good, consistent career.
Yeah.
He's never done what Taves has
And
done. He had that
everyone
cool
was-
Olympic moment.
Everyone was like, "Oh, Taves is overrated." That was all media push. Like no one, like we
The
all
media
knew.
Yeah.
wanted to say he was better than
Yeah.
Crosby. He was never on Crosby's
No, he
level.
wasn't.
No.
None of the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
I don't think any Blackhawks fans thought that.
Besides like the Homer fan, but every fan base has them, and fuck, that's like 90% of the Leaf.
It's
fan
probably
base.
Sabre fans that think Tuck's an 82-point player right now. Come on.
Yeah, there are people who genuinely think Tuck is better than Eichel. So like every fan base has idiots, and you can't judge the fan base by that. But like
They got
you
that.
also can't hate the
I
fan
can.
base because of
Toronto.
that.
No.
Yeah, I mean Toronto's the easy one though. Like I said, 90% of the fan base is a lot.
Yeah.
But like Taves was just like he was the dude. He did it. I don't know how, but he was fucking good, and you had to love him.
And Hossa was a fucking tank. Like
Patrick Sharp. Like,
Patrick
listen,
Sharp,
man.
Patrick Sharp might be the most underrated player, like more than Hjalmarsson. Because Hjalmarsson, I think's gotten his credit now, like after
think,
the last cup run. But like Patrick Sharp does not get credit for how important of a piece
He had,
he
like,
was.
10 goals
One
in
for
the
Patrick
2013
Kane's
run.
development. Because
Yeah.
like I bring up a lot on the show why I don't want to trade Kane is because I want the young guns to be with Kane while they're
And have
developing.
someone you can
'Cause-
learn from. I mean,
Because
Jesus
Kane had
Christ.
Sharp. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kane's not Kane without Sharp, honestly.
Yeah.
Because Sharp was playing center for him most of the time. It was either
That's
Sharp
crazy.
or Taves. They had Sharp, Taves, and Kane all in one line in like 09. It was cracked. Like, it was awesome.
I actually
And they
awesome.
said that's not good enough. We gotta get Marion Hossa.
Hey, yeah,
I
they're
love-
like, fuck Marty Hadley. Give us Hossa.
I love the
Fucking-
Hossa thing where he went from Detroit to Pittsburgh and then lost in Pittsburgh and then he goes to Chicago.
Oh, and
Literally,
two-
Corey Perry just did that.
Yeah.
Like, he went to Dallas
know.
to Montreal, and now he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to Tampa.
I'm going to Tampa. I'm
Yeah,
not. losing
Hossa went
this.
0-2 to Cup Finals to 3-2. Always love that.
Love it.
That's
Hossa was
awesome.
the man. Like, I love reminiscing about those Hawks teams. Like, they're
Mhm.
so good. Like, Marcus Kruger was such an important. Like, that's why I feel like the fourth line center is like so like prized in my mind. Because like, if we don't win a
Because
lot,
Marcus
of those cups
Kruger
without
played it
Marcus
so
Kruger.
well to a T. Like
Mhm.
You could
He
put
knew
him
his
against
role, which is
you
so
could-
huge on teams.
you could put him against any team in the NHL, and you would at least put like play them to a draw.
And David Kampf was like his replacement for a while, and like I'm glad he's
Oh.
getting a bigger role in Toronto because like
Yeah.
clearly it was there a little bit, but like
Mhm.
the puck
You were
was
just
never
playing
there
him
to
too
stop.
much.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Pierce. They were playing him like you can't play Camp in your top fucking six and expect production.
No, he is a perfect third line center who kills penalties, and he's
100%.
the best at it, maybe
Mhm.
right now. But like, yeah, I don't get what the Hawks did though, because you lost him and you lost Sutter in the same offseason.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't try.
I
to
think
keep
the
at least
thing
one
was,
of them.
we're gonna get Tyler Johnson and Hendrik Borgstrom. Kirby Duck's gonna take that. I think that's what they're banking on. And
They
Maybe.
were health was a big concern, like the big reason this team wasn't where they were this year.
Yeah.
Because like they went through that giant COVID
Yeah.
streak where everyone got COVID. Like Kane was out when they were
Mm-hmm.
sucking. Like Taves, I think everyone but DeBrincat got sick at some point this year.
Wow.
yeah,
So like and DeBrincat got sick in the first COVID year. So like everyone's gotten COVID on this team, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
They had injury trouble on the back end, like and the front
Yeah.
end. Like when Josiah Slavin's playing on your second line, that's a problem.
That's not
Like,
good.
No,
That's
it's
a-
not good.
Not
It's nothing
ideal.
against him.
Not gonna have a good time.
And like I remember Pierce and I were joking about it in the offseason. We were like, "Oh man, they probably got like 5 lines of forwards that can play," and that literally just evaporated within seconds. Like Jujhar Khaira, like God bless him, he had a good year before he got hurt because he had the worst injury luck. Tyler Johnson literally can't catch a break. He literally got a concussion off a puck to the face against Ottawa. Like that's
my
just
God,
you
man.
can't do anything about
You
that.
can't
feel like
quantify that.
I feel like that's been his career since like he started in Tampa. Is just terrible injury luck.
Since the wrist injury, literally, he can't catch
Yeah.
a break.
He
I
seems
feel-
to just always be out.
And I was a Tyler Johnson truther. I wanted him on the Hawks so bad. Like I was saying that before that trade even got made. I want
Bang
that
the
contract.
drum.
It makes too much sense. They get it. He hasn't been able to play, and
Yeah.
it just sucks. Because like when he plays the way that the Hawks need players to play. Because like the Hawks have too much finesse right now. As simple as that.
You need somebody, who, a
Hard
bit of a
nosed.
motor drives it, does everything else.
Like Tyler Johnson's always just been a crack Tyler Ennis to me. Like, like a Tyler Ennis could score at like a 40-point
The
pace.
lesser
That's Tyler
Tyler.
Johnson.
I love Tyler Ennis. He's great.
And we lost Hinostroza too. I honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of wanted to keep Vinny last year because he had.
Yeah, but there's just so many freaking forwards.
I know.
man,
I know. Trading for Gaudette didn't help. First of all, like
No.
Trading for Gaudette, I feel like you guys took a lot of cracks with Borgstrom, with Gaudette.
Mhm.
Kind of went in a little
Connolly.
unproven.
Bowman thought Connolly was a reclamation project.
Yeah.
By the way,
You guys kind of want like you let go of Kampf and Suter to keep these two guys, and even you lost to Nostroza too, and it was like maybe you made the wrong choice.
We could do a whole 3-hour podcast episode to Stambo and fuck ups. Over
Oh
the
yeah,
years.
and it's like contract negotiations too. I get that. Like they didn't think
Of
Suter
course,
was
yeah.
worth like 3.3, but like as of right now, I would say Suter at 3.3 would be fine on this team.
Suter at
But-
3.3 is better than whatever you're paying Brett Connolly. So maybe don't make that trade.
Paying him less than Brett fucking Connolly. So there you
So
go.
just
It
maybe
was in
don't do
Rockford.
that trade. Yeah, and didn't you guys lose Carlson in that one?
Let's just not
Yeah,
talk about that trade.
We
I
don't
know.
talk about that.
That's a
though.
that's a
Like,
yikes.
I don't know if you saw it in the chat like one time, Jacob, but I think one of the Florida fans brought that up, and I just got super pissed because they were just like, "Why did they take a flyer on Borgstrom?" I was like, "No, they thought Connolly and Borgstrom were going to be reclamation projects." And he was
God,
like,
that's so
"No,
crazy.
I think Borgstrom was the prospect." I was like, "Dude, Bowman was in the same league that Connolly was in when he was in junior. He wanted Connolly for
He wanted
that reason
Connolly, yeah.
alone. Like, come on. Like,
Sometimes
ugh.
GMs just do stuff like
They want their guys.
I'm
Like,
almost-
Kyle Dubas. Kyle
Yeah.
fucking Dubas. He wants his guys.
I'm almost happy that Adams on Buffalo came from nowhere. He wasn't a OHL or CHL one. He had nothing. He's just a guy because you don't have to worry about like, oh, is this guy a Sault Marie prospect?
Bias?
You just
Right.
don't have that. Oh, I played with that guy's dad. You ain't taking that. It's like,
Might
no,
be
please.
good. Question.
He might. This guy is good. This guy might be good, and I know his dad.
Exactly.
I'm gonna do him a
It's
favor.
like, should we get the guy who might top out as a top 6 forward, or do we get the guy who's going to be a 4 max on defense? Aha! I know who we get.
Haha.
Ceiling.
the AHL backup.
Yeah, literally. The Nolan Allen. God bless Nolan Allen. I hope he progresses, but like from what I've heard, he's been pretty mundane this season. So.
Yeah.
He's a defensive defenseman
Wait until they hit like 20.
that they shouldn't have picked at that
That's
spot.
true.
He might end up being a decent player that was just picked too high.
He might
It
play on
happens.
the third pairing, but I don't see him.
Mhm.
And that's the thing with the Hawks defense too. Like I think Davidson's got the right idea with how they're developing them right now. Like guys like Galvis and Phillips, I think are going to be legitimate pieces of this.
Dude,
team
Ian
going forward.
Mitchell's having a great year in Rockford. He might actually be a third.
I
pairing
did
guy.
not like that quote by Derek King saying that, like, oh, the guys have to be better. And then he had to catch himself because he put Mitchell in the group with Bodan and Kalanick, who were both soft.
Yeah,
in
like,
games.
Bodan has been rough. Ooh.
Bodan's a bust, plain and simple. Like, he has more game misconducts than he does goals. It's a
Jesus.
problem. It's a problem. It's a problem.
I wonder if
That's
they
fucked up.
trade him.
I think he's
I
a
don't know.
prime trade candidate in the offseason. Like, that's a prospect for prospect trade.
Yeah.
I don't know
Sometimes
which
you gotta
prospects.
make him. Yeah. Hey, listen, sometimes you just got to make those. And if he ends up going on to be something good, you can't look at it and say, we made the.
Oh, 4-0 Edmonton.
Hey, Darnell Nurse.
I like it
Nice.
because I have my thing on and it just keeps like putting the Oilers. phone
I
number.
have it on for every team so I can get the updates. And so,
Oh,
like,
that's
sometimes
too
they
much.
get.
I think I have it for Chicago, Edmonton,
It's gonna kill
Seattle.
your phone battery.
Yeah,
Oh, God, it does kill my phone battery. Like, I just like knowing what's going on.
I do it for the playoffs, but not for the regular season.
No,
I usually just like in the morning I go check all the scores and like watch the highlights and I'm like,
That's
all right, what's
way
going
too
on?
much effort. Just
That's
tell
what I
me who
did
scored
back
right
in the
now.
day.
Oh yeah, Well, like I usually have some time in the morning, so like I'll just like make breakfast and like turn on my TV and just be like, all right, let's go see what the good games were last night.
That's fair.
That's how I've been honestly catching a lot of Anaheim's highlights because like Anaheim's had some wild games the last few weeks. They've just all been so like no one's
Who is all crack?
Like nothing beats a good Anaheim San Jose game on like a Thursday night.
Dude,
It's always a crapshoot.
The California teams going against each other is cracked.
It's always a crapshoot. It's so always great hockey. I guess it's good bad hockey. Or it's just ugly hockey.
It's not good hockey, but it's good hockey to watch.
It's not like Hurricanes Panthers, which thank God they were smart enough to put that on national television, by the way. Because like, oh my gosh, they need to get better at the marketing with that. Stop putting Philly on national TV. Like, why is Philly Chicago on ABC
Philly Chicago. It isn't 2010 anymore.
God, so bad. And then I had to listen to Ray Ferraro talk about how, oh my God, what was Ray Ferraro talking about? He's talking about how much of a bust someone was. He was talking about Kirby Dach, and I was just like, shut up, Ray. You don't even watch the game.
I said that's not 2010 anymore when I said like Philly Chicago, and then I'm like the first thing I thought of, oh, am I Rocky Works now?
So glad I didn't shake that idiot's hand.
Oh,
plane.
Pierce, do you work early in the morning tomorrow?
No, I do not.
Oh.
Otherwise, I would not be up this late doing this podcast.
Do you
which, by the way,
do you want to perhaps partake in some Minecraft after?
That sounds like a fucking great idea.
If you want to play, yeah, it is on Xbox. Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, I want to play. Pierce knows. I go through like a once a year phase where I just build some crazy shit in Minecraft.
Yeah, that's me too. Yeah,
we have it's Pierce, me, Tanner, Connor, Mork, Patrick, Mitch.
Yeah, pretty much like a good like half Sheet League has joined.
Put it this way: anyone who's in the chat who's actually kind of cool, probably in there. Minus Spence. Spence is too young to be in there.
Fucking Spence. Spence is a good egg.
He's a young fella.
He's too young. He's so pure,
dude.
God,
dude, I know Spence since he was like 13, bro. It's weird.
Dude, that's like him and
you, bro. Fucking cute.
You're like younger than my brother. That's weird to me.
Yeah, I see Spence make a terrorist joke in the fucking group chat, and then I see him tweet on there. He's like, "I hope I do good on this test," and I'm like, "Who are you?"
I know. Just my math test.
There's like two phases of like young adults. There's Spence, and then there's Wally, and Wally's about as professional as an 18-year-old as you will ever see.
Dude, Wally's crazy. I love Wally so much.
This guy is a robot with his knowledge.
I have been trying to get Wally in this league for like a year and a half now. Anytime we have a spot, I'm like, hey, you want to join? Hey, Wally, come on. And he's like, I'm already in one. Hey, Wally, come on.
Wally's always like, come on, man, you got it.
Oh, God, he's so
Wally's
good.
always a fantasy god, too. Like, he always gets, like, the guy who, like, you don't think's going to go off, and he gets, like, 50 points that year.
Chris, have you checked fantasy in, like, the last 5 weeks?
Yeah, I have. I think I'm actually doing decent in our My other one is awful.
Dude, the one we have going with, like, the She-Liga one, I won last week.
Yeah, I'm 11-7. Or
I'm 8-10. This is great. I haven't updated my life. I don't even know who's on my team.
My one league that I play with all my
I
friends,
have Kaprizov.
Dude, Kaprizov's like low-key having a 106-point season, and no one's talking about it.
You know what? My
That's
greatest
how many
steal.
Freaking players are having good seasons this year.
Yeah.
My greatest steal from that thing was taking Jason Robertson in like the 14th round.
Wow.
Remember?
That was.
No, I think this was me and Schmitty would know it. Remember when I think it was last year, Jimmy took like Kucherov and Pasternak, and like both of them were injured for like most of it. Well, Kucherov the whole season, like Pasternak was injured, yeah.
Yeah, no, he took Kuch with the first pick, and then he took Vasilevsky with the second.
Yeah.
And it was a league where goalies don't get you a lot of points, so it's
you know how hard this hits home? You know who my first pick was? 4th overall? It was Kucherov, who's missed like the first 4 months of the season.
Yeah.
That's when I gave up. I was like, you know what?
Dude,
I had fun, Tanner.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
My team, I was like, all right, I'm going to build it around duos, right? So I'm going to have like, I had Pacioretty Stone, I had Ranson and Landeskog, and I had like Bergeron Marchand. I don't know if you guys have seen the injury history of those motherfuckers this season, but I don't think any of them have played over 50 games. I don't think a single one of them have played over 50 games this year. Like, Max Pacioretty's played 27 games, I think. It feels like it. Like, I have been rotating dudes on my IR forever. I had Ehlers too, IR. Like,
may God have mercy on your soul.
But I picked up Pierce's favorite player, Tanner Jeannot.
Oh, yeah. More like Tanner Jean. Yes.
Nice.
Oh,
anyways. Yeah, I think that's a good place to end the podcast.
I think so.
It's the Avengers Endgame of shows.
Fuck, dude.
3 hours.
I was kind of
like,
hoping that a trade would break, but
oh, dude, so was I. I have since this has started. I have 6 more Sheet League trades to announce.
Ooh, how
For the
fun!
podcast.
Let's announce them on the
Yeah, we
stream.
got a good one.
Let's go to 3 hours.
Well, hold on. So this was the one that happened in the group chat. This one's crazy. We were talking about this last night. So Tanner, Montreal trades Shea Weber and Ryan Poehling and a 2023 third to Nashville. So now Shea Weber retires. Nashville doesn't get hit with like the abundantly crazy
The $24 million cap hit.
for Mikael Granlund and Felipe Myers. And then LA acquired Scott Wedgwood. 2 equally crazy trades, in my opinion. Scott Wedgwood.
Bro, snuck Nebraska in there.
Scott Wedgwood, future Vezina winner. Keep in mind.
Future Wisdom.
Yeah, William and
That fourth
Jack
round-
Highly
Bader with
potential
Terrell
in the sim.
Visnoka.
I can let him know. Weber.
Doesn't Montreal have Newhook in that sim too? And like Newhook's got good potential.
Montreal
Oh
got
my
Newhook.
god.
So it was Newhook and Gerard for the 2 Suzuki brothers in a second. Because
That's a good
they got Ryan Suzuki for Jonathan Drouin. Oh, please tell
Really?
me that. Yeah.
That's a trade.
And then the best part about that one, Tanner traded some of the goats of the sim because Drouin scored 38 goals last season. And he had 8 assists.
That is the best season.
He's the
ever.
Cy
I love
Young
that.
winner.
He won
I
the
love
Cy
that.
Young. He killed it. And then Tanner also traded Tyler Toffoli, who's got 49 goals this season,
Not a two-way forward.
for
Tyler Toffoli.
Andrew Cobb.
What the fuck did you do to the Jets, bro? Like honestly, what did you do to the Jets?
I was like, I want these 4 or these 3 right wingers, and it was Eberle, Arvidsson, and Toffoli, and all 3 of them were point of game players, and it's so.
And I'm sitting over here and I'm like, I can't even get Matthews to get over 40.
And here's me
Austin
on pace
Matthews
for
can't
50
score.
win in a first wild card spot.
Oh man, Pierce is like, hey, Pierce, you've gotten fucked like every single year because you've had the Jets in your division, or you've had like who else was it? Colorado
I also
and Dallas
asked
were
in the
good.
first round when I was like in first in the West, I think. Or
Yeah, but you
second,
traded me
whatever.
Flurry. That's why.
That's true.
Yeah,
I did get
You did-
Grubauer. Grubauer's doing well for me, which is
you
good.
did kind of like half tank. I didn't get that one where you're like, all right, Flurry, see you later.
Yeah, I did
When
like
you
a bit
traded-
of a retool.
Yeah, it worked out.
And then meanwhile, I'm over here and I'm like, yeah, I made all these trades that look really good on paper, and then nothing fucking went to fruition. on
Yeah,
the
you know what's
ice.
great out of that trade, which was it? I think it was like Murphy for Lilligren and like Connor or Hagel was in there. Hagel's been the best player. I think he's got like
I knew
25
Hagel
goals.
was
He's
gonna
so
be,
good.
yeah. But like, that's why I wanted Hagel.
And I got forward
Pierce
Alexander
could-
Kerfoot.
Pierce could tell you the original time I went to him, I was like, "What do you want for Hagel?" And he was like, "Well, I can give you Hagel and Murphy." And I was like, "All right, we can work with that." And then I had because this is how the Nate Schmidt thing happened. Because I had
I
too
love-
many defensemen, and then all of them had fucking no moves, so I couldn't move anyone. So I was like,
I know.
Fuck, I gotta move Schmidt. And then everyone was being a dick to me and not picking him up. And then Patrick, I literally told Patrick I would take Tucker Pullman and like
Yeah.
I would give him a 4th or a 3rd to
Yeah.
take that contract.
I
He was like,
know.
"Nah, I'm good."
Yeah, and then he
Immediately
signed-
signs it.
Oh,
Like,
He
go
signed
fuck
him
yourself,
for
honestly.
more.
You're
I'm
getting
like,
some
so
behind the
fuck
scenes of
yourself.
Sheet Liga,
No.
folks.
The best part about that was so when you bought him out, he was making like 5.8. He signed him
Yep.
for 6.5. He signed him to more. It's so
Done.
fucking good.
That's like
I don't
I
get it.
gotta respect Dunaway. That's a huge fucking troll.
No, it's the biggest troll there is. He did it with Rask too. It's fucking
Oh, dude.
stupid.
It
And
was
Rask, I
so,
don't even think he knew he did it. Because like Pierce,
no. Rask had 5 offers, and they were all like $1 million. So it was like I think Columbus was one. I think you had one, and there's a couple other teams. And then he was like, right before I announced, he's like $6 million Rask. I was like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" He's like,
yeah.
"Yeah." Fuck you, Patrick.
And then Pierce and I both tried to fleece Corpusal for $1 million. He declined all of us. I
Dude, he's still-
texted Pierce. I texted Pierce and I was like, "Is Corpusal had an offer?" And you were like, "No, he doesn't." Pierce sends in an offer immediately.
Yeah, you're like, I'm like, that's interesting.
That shit was
Stroke
funny.
mustache.
I still
Sorry,
don't
I
think
brought
he's been
James
signed.
Reimer home.
I still don't think he's been signed either. I think he's still in free agency.
He's no James
So-
Reimer. I brought.
He
him
should have
home. I
taken
brought-
the
I
offer.
brought the goat
He should have.
home.
I got Brain Holtby. I got
My-
Grubauer and Holtby.
Dude, Holtby's been really good. My favorite thing from that offseason, though, was Florida's GM came in. They were like, okay, I want Niederreiter for like $800K.
Yeah,
And I was like, no. And then I put out a tweet saying Niederreiter has declined the offer and refuses to speak to Florida for the rest of the offseason. Because it was like an 82. He's like, $800K. It's like, go fuck yourself.
Bro, what the heck? Sorry.
Oh,
like,
So that's
Aaron
the
Dieter-
life of being a Sheet Liga general manager.
it's so
oh
good.
yeah. Do a
so
sheep,
fun.
do a sin league with your friends. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
That's what you all should gain out of this.
And if you don't have friends, join a
Go
random
fuck
one.
yourself.
You'll make friends.
that's how you make friends.
Mhm.
Just trust me, it is a blast. I did not think I was gonna have this much fun doing it.
Dude,
Yeah,
It's on my
Jimmy,
tongue.
you really missed out on that one.
I'm so sad Jimmy couldn't stay.
I know. I'm sad he's not in here. Hopefully he's good for the
Jimmy's
the
gonna be
deadline
good for the
stream.
deadline. I think he's gonna be here. He's gonna be with me, so he'll be. On
Oh,
my
is he
show.
actually?
Yeah. Well, no, because I have tickets to the Hawks game on Sunday. It's like I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
a ticket plan going into the season, so
Mhm.
we have tickets to the Jets game on Sunday night. So he'll be here, and then we'll just basically wake up on Monday and log on, and we'll be good to go.
Alrighty.
So he should be here for a little.
Did
bit.
you tell him that I'll be here for that too?
It's a surprise, actually.
Honestly, who cares?
I'm pretty
Last
sure I
year
put
we
it
had
in
my
the
friend
phone.
Connor on. He was a Cap fan right after the Mantha trade.
Oh
That
my
shit was
I
hilarious.
remember that. I remember
Oh
That shit
my
was so
God.
funny. He was not too thrilled about trading Toronto. Let's
No.
just put it that way. And Mantha's fine. It's just he.
Who's been better this year? Because hasn't Mantha missed like half the year?
Fuck,
He have a
Ron missed
shoulder?
fucking half the year too. He has 3 goals in 2 games though. Is that sustainable? Who knows?
I think it might be. He might be the next Ovechkin. Let's go.
What's the thing Jeff Merrick always tweets where he's just like Austin Matthews is on pace for 60-something goals. I say he does it. And it's like Jacob
that's
Martin's on pace for
I think that's
120
James
goals.
Myrtle does that, and he has
James
me
Myrtle,
blocked.
that's
Funny enough.
I love it so much.
The other JM.
They all Toronto media. How about that? Let's just call it that.
How
I love
about
the cherry
that?
pick stats too. Because in his last 17 home games where he saw his parents beforehand, he scored 3 goals a game. It's like, shut up, please.
It's like the
I
one
say
where
he
it's
does
like-
it still, but
What's the one where it's like still the best graphic they've ever shown is like the NHL to or Pierce. What's the graphic where they just showed like years on Earth for like 6
Oh yeah,
players?
combined days on Earth. Yeah, I remember that.
I've seen that.
I don't know what the fuck they were trying to accomplish with that. It's like,
It was so fucking stupid.
it's like
Guys,
when an NFL coach gets hired and they're like, he has over 40 years of coaching experience.
My favorite one is it Joe Flacco? I don't know, but they're playing. There's like number of kids 0 and 9. It was like how is this a
Yes.
football
Yeah, so
stat?
it's Joe Burrow and Philip Rivers. That's exactly.
That, yes, thank you. It's like how is this a football stat?
I fucking love it, man.
Dude's
Or, like,
21. He's
or,
got
like
no
one of the
kids.
best out of context pictures ever is Cole Caulfield when he got drafted and they
Oh,
compared
yeah.
him to Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi. Yeah.
Yes, small man and small man. Great
I see.
comparison.
They
Absolute
put
correlation. I
thing
don't
in
know about
nets.
you.
They must be the same.
Oh man,
It's so good,
3 hours of this, by the way. We've had 3 hours.
it's the
Oh,
end
okay.
game show. We're chilling.
dude. It didn't
Trust
even
me,
feel like
trust me.
3 hours. Which is crazy.
Coming from our viewers, they love the longer shows. So
Oh man,
I'm pretty sure
it's
we
funny.
hit 3 hours at our pre-draft show, and then they treated such show. So
and then we live stream that.
yeah, and we were like so pissed off.
I think I have a video. Q sent me the video. He screen recorded our live reaction to the Nolan Allen
Yeah,
pick,
that's
and it's
right.
so bad. Like we're
Oh,
all
man.
just like.
We're
Like,
already
I think Pierce took it the worst because he did so much work on the draft going into that year. He
Yeah,
was,
and I'm just like,
all
this
his
is the
work
guy
on
they
his
choose. Yeah.
prospects, He was like, oh yeah, I know who we're gonna pick at 13. I know who we're gonna pick here. Blah blah blah. They make all these fucking trades, and Pierce is just like, I just did all this work for fucking nothing.
Yeah,
He drafted
that's
him.
what I felt like. I'm like, they're gonna pay. I heard WH. I'm like, it's gonna be Logan Stankoven. I'm like, I'm like, literally like, who? I've never heard of this guy.
He got
like,
so excited. Like, I felt bad.
Oh my
I was
God.
just like, fuck. Jimmy and I were just like,
So,
let that.
Pierce, I know your pain because 8th overall the year before, they were like, the Buffalo Sabres are proud to select from the Ottawa 67. I was like, Marco Rossi! And they're like, Jack Quinn. And I was like,
oh my god, I forgot Quinn went before Rossi. Holy shit.
dude, I fucking screamed. I was like, Marco Rossi! And I'm looking at my friends and they're like, it's Jack Quinn. And I was like, what?
Oh, no, it could be worse. It could be worse.
Hey, listen, he's like, if you played the whole year in the AHL, he was on pace for like 100 points. So I'm not going to
That's not
complain. He's
bad.
been much
Yeah.
better than I thought. But like, Cole Perfetti.
Dude, Marco
was right
Rossi
there.
he's gonna be.
Anton Lindell was right there.
Rossi,
Yeah.
Perfetti, Lundell. It's, Could have
I
been worse.
remember at that time, I was like, yo, if Lundell can just creep like 7 more spots, like, that would be great.
I love that. I love watching because like Buffalo always has like the first or second pick in the second round, so it'd be like the 25th pick, and I'm like, just drop a couple more, and
Dude,
then he drops, and I'm like Buffalo pick him. And they're like, this defenseman from the NC. I'm like, God damn,
Ryan Johnson, damn it!
God, that was my exact reaction. Why? We just drafted Darlene.
Bro, I remember I was at a fucking concert in the 2018 draft, and I'm like watching. I'm not watching it obviously, so I'm like checking Twitter, and I just see Quinn Hughes and Philip Zadina dropping, and I'm just like, dude, if the Hawks draft a Duncan Keith replacement with the 8th overall pick, I'm gonna shit myself. And Quinn Hughes goes, Zadina goes 6th, Hughes goes 7th, and I'm just like, I hate it here.
Who did you take A's? Was that
Boyce, who's gone.
Oh my god.
They could have had. I remember I was a big Wallstrom guy at the time. I really wanted Wallstrom, but
God,
I'm pretty sure I wanted Dobson. I think.
Oh no!
Dobson's
I remember
really
I was a
good.
Bouchard guy. I was a big Bouchard trooper.
Okay, you know
like,
what? In fairness, they've both been pretty good, so that's not bad.
Yeah.
Bouchard's development's been very good. Like that's how you should develop a defenseman. Bouchard had a year in.
It's crazy though because they learned that development and then they completely fucked up the Ethan Bear one.
Oh yeah,
come on.
And they're gonna fuck up Broberg too. Don't worry, it's coming.
God,
it's coming.
I need Broberg and Bouchard to work out and play one shift together because you need the double Bs. That's so cool.
The BB gun.
It won't beat the Dylan Schmidt pairing in Winnipeg.
That's so good.
When that happened, I was laughing Pierce literally immediately sent me a text and he's like, Dylan Schmidt on the back end, let's go. I'm just like, Jesus.
Oh, that's amazing.
Hey, leading plus
minus. And it wasn't even like Schmidt Dylan. Like it was Dylan Schmidt. It was in the perfect order. I'm like,
that's amazing.
Jets blue line.
That's so good.
But yeah, not as good as that pairing. It won't beat Zadorov Gabranson as in terms of the memeiest pairing of all time.
That's gotta be. It's the
and it works.
Pairing. Oh, so we might have a contender though, because you have Gabranson and you might have Sherratt and Gudis. Which one's more meaty? Oh, dude, I need to see 2 fist fights at the same time. I need to see Nux thrown.
I need the Gaudreau line and the Huberdeau line on the ice with those pairings on the back end.
There's so many good parallels because you have a good goalie in Markstrom, you have completely shitty defensemen that are somehow working out, and you have 2 left wingers that are playing heart level. And then Matt
Tkachuk's not getting nearly enough credit for what he's doing right now. And
that's fair.
Dude, the whole freaking line should just get the Selke.
Bro, they're all plus 40.
Actually, no,
that's goofy as fuck.
Have you seen Bergeron? His shot shares were almost 70%. It's ridiculous when he's on the ice.
It's crazy.
He can't keep getting away with this.
It was the Pete Blackburn tweet where it's Bergeron's gonna make the next 2 games with an arm infection. He's like, the only thing he can't defend is this.
Yeah, it's back.
He's honestly I know some fans overrate him and they call him he might be one of the most underrated because he's just that good and people are still he's
Bro, he's 36 and still a point a game. Come on.
I don't know how he's a point a game and he's so good. He's so fucking. I don't get it, dude. Him and Pavelski drank from the same fountain. That's all I can say.
The fountain of youth.
And he's literally the nicest person on the face of the earth.
I
holy
know.
Shit. How can you hate
before Char left, he was the best player in the league that wasn't a captain.
Yeah,
the best non-captain, I guess.
Bro, you don't win how many Selkies does he win? 5? I want to say 5 because he's won so many.
Yeah, he's definitely been nominated.
I know has one. I know Barkov, I think, snuck one in there at some point. But
it's funny because Barkov. Okay, so you got Barkov, Couturier, O'Reilly, Kopitar, Bergeron, Taves, Bergeron.
So he's got 4. Sorry, my bad.
4 in 6 years.
Just 4.
Yeah, I think people forget how cracked those 3 centers were.
And then it was Kessler, Datsuk 3 times, and Rod the Bod twice.
That's not a bad list.
That's a damn good list.
Yeah.
That's a.
It went from Datsuk and Kessel to Bergeron, Kopitar, and Taves. What a transition!
Crazy.
Yeah.
Holy shit! And now it's
I don't know. I don't know if there's a de facto number 1 though, because you had Bergeron and Kopitar win 6 or 7, and then it went O'Reilly, Couturier, Barkov, and I don't think any of them are.
O'Reilly's a good one too. Yeah,
he is, but I don't know if he's gonna be up there all the time. And,
I think Barkov's the only one that might be up there consistently.
Yeah, like
If
Barkov
Jordan's healthy, maybe, but
maybe Barkov and Stone are funny cases because like they should both have won one before.
Oh, definitely Stone should have won one.
Stone should win one.
But they got robbed because they didn't get the points with it, and now their defense has declined, and Barkov just won one when his defense wasn't actually that good.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, it's like a ton of reputation.
And yeah, NHL awards always suck because the fucking Norris is like that too. Where like this dude missed out.
I think last year for the most
make
part
the Bobby
they got
Orr
it
award.
right.
Just
Yeah.
make the offensive defenseman award. That's all you got to do.
Yes, that would be perfect.
Like that's all you got to do. It fixes the problem so fast.
And then Cale
Brent Burns
McCarr is
doesn't
going
have
to
a
win it
fraudulent
7,000
Norris trophy.
times. Brent Burns has a Norris trophy. Oh my god.
Fraudulent ass Norris.
I forgot about that.
Oh,
Fraudulent
my
ass
God.
Norris trophy.
There's no fucking way.
Erik Karlsson's got a Norris, but like his offense made up for his defense. I don't know, man. The Norris Trophy winner just boggles my mind sometimes.
Honestly, that Carlson one might have been the first one where I was like, "That's kind of fair," because like he was so fucking good offense. I think he had 82 and 82.
He was the light years better than any player on Ottawa. Like that's the difference.
He was doing what Cale McCarr is doing now.
Yeah, he did that
but, like,
on and
before
Ottawa.
it was cool. Yeah.
Before he was on the
But
super
then-
team, like Cale McCarr.
So like there was Carlson, Subban got one, and he was kind of like the second offensive one. Keith got one in 2014.
He's got two.
Yeah, he's got.
Well, he had
one
one in
in
2010,
2010,
but like he was actually good. Carlson got another
2014,
one.
he had as many He had as many assists as Shea Weber had point.
Doughty won one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like that's got to be.
That was
won
like his
career,
revenue.
too.
That's
That was
like
his
yeah,
revenant.
God. And then Burns won his. Hedman.
Fraudulent.
Dude, I forget like 48-year-old Giordano won one. Oh my god.
Gio did deserve it that year, though. He was.
I
a
mean,
beast.
Absolutely. But that's crazy. And then Adam Fox just won, which I mean that was
Adam Fox and Cale
That
McCarr
was
is
a
going
good
to be
one,
trading
yeah.
that trophy for the next.
yeah.
decade. Like, there's no one that's like. I guess Yossi, if he's still cracked out of his mind.
I think Hedman might have a good chance of winning one because like his analytics are so fucking good, dude.
Victor fucking Hedman is the man, and I always forget him. Like, he is still the best defenseman in the NHL when he's healthy.
Yeah, I
he
think
just
for the next
he fucked up the Kraken single-handedly last night. Like,
yeah for the next 5 years, I think all of them could easily win one between McCarr, Fox, Yossi, and Hedman. They're just all they're
I
so
want to see
they're a step
McAvoy in there. Man.
yes, I was literally just
Yeah.
gonna say McAvoy and
He
guys like McAvoy and Haskin are never gonna win Norris because of this though, and it
No.
sucks.
They don't get enough points because they don't play
Yeah.
no power play. At least McAvoy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
McAvoy doesn't get the points. He gets 35 a year, but he's literally a lockdown defenseman every
Yeah.
single
Yeah.
time.
and that's why they should have like because you could give
Literally
McCarr
nothing
the
happens
Bobby
when
Orr
you're
one,
in
and then you
the
could
zone
give him the
against McAvoy.
shutdown one. It just would
Okay,
make
like
so
Adam
much.
Pollock's got one who was amazing last year. Like, there's so many
Adam-
guys like that who just won't get their credit.
I feel so bad for the Islanders because like Adam Pellick and Ryan Pulock are so good. I don't know how that team sucks, man.
Adam
I know they had-
Pellick is
and
Chalmerson 2.0.
God, dude, they're so good.
I mean, it doesn't help that Kyle Palmieri had like 2 goals in the first 40 games of the season, but like,
Yeah, Kyle Palmieri is doing the opposite in G League, where I think he's got 33, and
fuck
it's just
off. Like,
dude, I just this
the
the
sim,
goal,
the sim is so stupid.
dude, the goal scoring is nuts, and like
Unless you're Austin Matthews, you don't score goals. That's what I've learned.
so I think it was Colorado has like 8 20 goal scorers and 6 30 goal scorers.
Wow.
And they're second in goals for with 220, which is impressive. And then you see first is 295.
Impressive.
I mean, Tyler Toffoli's got 50 fucking goals on Winnipeg. So, and I imagine he's not on the top line. Like,
But no, he is now. It's Ehlers.
Okay.
Like the
Ehlers,
80s
Dumont,
Oilers.
Toffoli. Dude, it's you know what's funny though? So like you would expect the team's save percentage to be bad, and then you see Connor Hellebuck has 11 shutouts. He has 11 shutouts and 8 assists.
that's awesome.
8 assists.
That's awesome.
Last
It's
year,
the stretch pass.
last year he had 9 and 9, and this year he looks like he's gonna crash, like just break both.
That's
It's amazing.
awesome.
I love it.
Connor Hellebuck's great because he's having it down here this year, and everyone's like,
I And
he's
everyone's he's gonna come back next year. Everyone's gonna be like, "Who the hell's this guy?" They're gonna just forget.
like, I think people forget Connor Hellebuck like broke the wins record for Winnipeg. I think like a couple years ago, like he won like
he's pretty
45
He should have
games.
been a
I
hard
think.
candidate that year, man. Like he was
He was a
ridiculous.
beast. He was a little bit of a beast. Let's just put it that way.
Uh,
Starting goaltender for the U.S. if he would have went to the Olympics. So.
absolutely, it's not Jack Campbell anymore.
Nope, it wouldn't have been Jack Campbell to begin with. I think Gibson.
That did not age well at all.
Remember all the Leaf fans saying that though? Like,
Yeah.
Campbell should make it over Demko. Campbell should be the
Demko
starter.
would have been there, like 100%. Demko's
Yeah.
gonna freak. Ottinger's gonna be there in the future though.
Absolutely.
He's been stellar this year.
Spencer Knight, man.
I always forget it's men tonight, man, because it's in the AHL. Or I guess it's back up now.
It's night for him.
Night.
Nah.
Listen, they might beat Tampa if they start him games 1 through 4. Just saying.
They might.
They might not win, but they might win more than 2 games. Just saying. Mm-hmm.
We've gone 3 hours and 12 minutes, I think. This has got to be the longest podcast because I remember before the draft we did like a little over 3 hours, but I'm pretty sure this is way longer than this. I've just completely lost track of time.
Good hockey talk, bro.
Yeah, it was
such
good
a
hockey
fucking
talk.
fun time.
Plus,
And
also
we're-
like 15 trades, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was hoping that a trade might break. I can't wait for the moment I stop this and a trade.
it's
breaks.
you're gonna click it and then re-click it to just.
I promise you,
Trade
Deshaun Watson's getting traded as soon as you turn this off. It's not even gonna be hockey. It's gonna be
turn off right now.
Turn off right now. I need to see when he goes to Atlanta. And it's funny too. My buddy, shout out. You know what? I'm gonna do it right now because if it's right, he's gonna look like a genius. Shout out to Hakeem, my friend. He sent me a text like 2 days ago saying Deshaun Watson's gonna go to Atlanta because Deshaun's whole family lives in Greenville and his family lives in Greenville. So he heard through the grapevine that trade's on.
Heard through the grapevine.
And they just moved Matt Ryan's salary back, or his bonus back, so where they can trade him. They just cut a bunch of salary. I think Deshaun Watson's going to be a Falcon next show. When we're back on Monday, I think that's.
We're doing one on Sunday. We're recording.
We're recording Sunday.
One last episode before
Sunday.
Monday.
Deshaun Watson will be a Falcon, and if it is, Hakeem was right. He said it first.
Nice.
So go shout
Sim
out.
10?
Fucking, yeah, go tweet at validate me on Twitter that he's right.
All right, so
All right, awesome.
this is that's gonna be the three of us as well as Jimmy on the Monday stream. We're gonna do another show on Sunday, and yeah, that was quite the long show, 3 hours and 14 minutes. Yeah, so
Great.
thank you everyone for tuning in, and I can't wait to see what trade happens after we end this. That immediately makes us out of date.
Love it.
Woo!